We live, we in the building. We in the building once again. Love to the game boxing and a co-host, OTB Boxing Talk, boxing class. My bad, where we turn casual fans into hardcore boxing fans. What's popping with your family? Where you at, OTB?
Hold on, bro.
Oh, we live, brother. Well, what's popping, man?
You
We
got
gonna
me
get it
now?
started. Yeah, we got you. We got you. You good now? We got you. What's popping with your family? I think you muted. Needy G in the building. Salute to you, family. Always showing love and support. We definitely appreciate you, fam. We gonna we gonna cook. I've been gone for a minute, but we back like we never left, man. We gonna cook, man, today. Because yeah, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff going on, man. Uh, you know, Bo Mac made some comments today that was reported that was real shocking to me. And I think we kind of we had a crossroads. Salute to you, Lenore. What's poppin' with your family?
Appreciate you stepping
Uh
off the
oh.
porch, family.
Yeah, salute to you. Somebody said bull crap. That must be somebody from Omaha or with the last name Crawford. But here we go. Like I said, we gonna cook
Boy,
y'all,
y'all
man.
ain't take no time on starting, huh? Appreciate you taking some time for us, family.
Yeah, if yeah, whoever said bull crap, y'all need to do some. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Somebody writing a paragraph now. Let's see. Let's read this long ass paragraph. Terrence, when you keep bidding yourself out of fight, you can't blame anyone but yourself. If the fight don't happen, it's simple. There are four titles: WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, every weight class. And Earl Spence has three those four titles. In the welterweight division, you have won. There's no freaking way that you're going to get a 50-50 split. Earl and his people would be stupid to agree to that nonsense. Just like Bob Arum, your promoter, manager, would be stupid if the situation were reversed. I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that, man. I mean, there's just been so much contradiction going on with Team Crawford, man. It just
The
needs to
fact
be
that you
addressed.
had the time to write all of that is the
Yeah, that
problem,
was
bro.
pretty
We was
quick.
gonna put a link.
That was pretty quick. Whoever that was pretty quick. We had just got started. Somebody had that on their heart.
Yeah, you did. That's what's up, bro. Get
They
it
had that on
out.
their
Get it
heart.
out.
Yeah, get it out, man. But hey,
However,
look, man.
we have an investment at hand too, and we got to make sure that our investors that we have get a return on their product.
Okay, elaborate on that, OTB. What you talking about?
I'm saying if he come into the negotiations with his own investors, then that changed the landscape of the negotiations because now it's not like I need y'all to put up all the money if I come in putting up my own behalf. You feel me?
Yep. I'm with my man's and them DDG. I need Team Crawford to keep the same gangster energy they have for the last 4.5 years. Cause the last 4.5 years, we had Terrence Crawford on record saying, part of why Earl Spence didn't want to fight him is because it was a big risk, and the whole thing with the money. He thinks he wants to make sure he gets a big payday just in case he lose and this and that. And now we seeing the same thing going on right now from his side. There's a lot of contradictory stuff, man. I mean, like they gotta keep the same energy, man, because this shit look to me. I'll be honest with you, it looked real weak. This looks really weak when you got your manager and trainer coming out stating Earl Spence, we have something Earl Spence wants, so he got to do 50-50, which is one belt. So basically, what you're saying is that Earl Spence doesn't have something that Terrence Crawford wants, which is three belts. I mean, aren't they both fighting for undisputed? I mean, wouldn't the same logic apply to them if
You could
Earl
turn it
Spence?
up some, bud.
You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't the same logic apply if Earl Spence said, "Hey, you know what? I got 3 belts." You know, if Earl Spence would have turned around and said, "I got 3 belts. I got what you want with these 3 belts." So it's 70-30 or 80-20. The Bud Protection Committee would have been all over that talking about he's ducking. What I don't here's what I'm saying. What I don't understand is that how before Terrence Crawford, the guy, the best fighter with the worst pay-per-view numbers, how does this guy feel that he can sit up and dictate what he's supposed to get in a pay-per-view when this man has never cleared 200,000 pay-per-views in his career? This man has never even cleared 175,000 pay-per-views in his career. And to top it off, his last fight that was a pay-per-view fight, he fought a similar opponent in Sean Porter and did less than half of what Earl Spence did with Sean Porter. And he fought in Vegas, and Porter and Spence fought in a Staples Center. Bigger crowd, bigger pay-per-view numbers. So I'm a little I'm a little puzzled on, why or how uh that how they could how they I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. Let me see if I could play some of this audio for you. I had I had caught this on Blue Bloods channel. He did a video on it, and I thought it was pretty. I mean, I can't lie, I was very shocked about this, man. Let me see if I could pull this up real quick. Let's see if I get the audio here.
Salute to the homie Blue too, signing Brian Norman Jr. That's it.
Who signed
That's
him?
dope, man. Yeah, Blue did. Yeah, he signed with Blue.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's what I said, man. So we gotta make sure we show them the utmost support, man, and make sure that's a successful venture for the homie.
Let me see if you guys could I'm gonna go ahead and rewind this real quick and see if you guys can hear this. But here we go. Let me see. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Hold on 1 second. I didn't believe this shit was real.
He need that 50-50, man, because for the simple fact, in order for Harold to want to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that belt Terrence got. So you hear?
Did you guys hear that? Were you able to hear that, OTB?
Yeah.
But I'm a little confused about that. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm confused about that, because this man is saying if Earl wants to accomplish what he wants to accomplish, he needs Terrence. But the question is, both of these guys are fighting. So what is it? Terrence doesn't want to accomplish anything. It's just about what Earl wants to accomplish. I mean, isn't it a bigger win? I would think it would be a bigger win for Terrence Crawford.
First of all, who voiced?
Huh?
Who is that?
That's
That
Bomac.
was saying that?
That's Bomac. That's Bomac. Let's run the tape back. Let's run the tape back.
He need that 50-50, man, because for the simple fact, in order for Harold
Let's rewind the tape. Hold on.
to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that 50-50, man, because for the simple fact, in order for Harold to want to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that belt Terrence got. So
I wouldn't let a man who said that, I wouldn't let him represent my cat. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm lost here, bro. I'm lost. Now, this is a huge fight. This is a huge fight, without a doubt, OTB. But if I was to be if I was to be honest, I would have to say the win if Terrence Crawford beats Earl Spence, that would be a bigger win for Terrence Crawford than Earl Spence. It's a huge win for both, but I say it's a bigger win for Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford would not only be undisputed at 147, he'd have been undisputed at 140, and he'd have done that in two weight classes. So him moving up and beating a welt and then taking three belts and him only having one belt, to me, I think that would be a bigger win for his career than it would be for Errol Spence's career. That's
Well,
just my opinion.
I definitely agree with you there. As far as legacy goes and legacy within the sport, hell yeah, he would be the first male to do so in in a four belt era. So yeah, I mean, he
Exactly.
would be making history at that point. So
So,
I'm definitely inclined to agree there. But as far as this fight go, and as far
mhm.
as I don't really agree with Bomac in the essence that yeah, I mean, but when you in negotiations, then I gotta see how bad you want it before I sell you my business. You feel me? Like I gotta push the dollar amount as far as it's gonna go down to the penny. Anything
Listen,
less, I'm doing a disservice to my fighter.
listen. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and there's and that's why I titled this live stream what I titled it. There's good business, but then there's also ducking. And here's the thing. We have Bud fans, Terrence Crawford's team say for the last 4 years, Errol Spence is ducking. We need to make the fight. And, they was calling people accountants when, we went through the era of talking about 60-40 and 70-30 and 80-20 and all this stuff. And now we're in a place where the fight is realistic. We're in a place where negotiations is happening. We're even in a I mean, I don't understand how much better it could get for their side when they're directly negotiating with the network. They're not even negotiating with Al Heyman. You can't even put blame on Al Heyman, saying, "Oh, Al Heyman's trying to lowball or do this and that." They're negotiating directly with the network. Mind you, this is the same network that put together Wilder Fury. This is the same network that put together Manny Pacquiao and Floyd.
See, I don't
This
know
is
why I let you get me, bro. I let you get me.
what you mean.
I
Am I saying something that's not a fact? I mean, Showtime put
no
on.
go. It's not
But it's
like
true,
we at
right?
a point where this fight ain't about to happen, where we close to this fight not happening. Like we in
I'm just saying.
negotiations. That's what
I hear that.
negotiations are about, bro.
Listen, I hear that, but
But
we in a
you
place.
know what I did. But you know what I did notice. You know what I heard, bro.
What's
Regardless
that?
of what Bomac say,
What's
I
that?
heard Steven Espinoza say we're in negotiations. They stall out, but we start back up.
Uh huh.
I'm not gonna believe that they're gonna ever die out. If they die out, I'm gonna bring them back to life like CPR. When Steven
Look,
Espinoza say that, do what y'all
I
gotta do.
can't,
And you know what else
but
he
I
said?
can't.
I'm
What else he
glad
said?
negotiations aren't in the public, which tells me that somebody don't know what the fuck they time about.
Yeah, but if Steven Espinosa just said that and Bomac is talking about negotiations in the public, I mean, we got to give credit to who deserves credit. We got to give blame to who deserves the blame. And I mean,
Facts.
look, unfortunately, look, there's going to be a great fight when it happens in the ring. Whoever wins deserves all the praise and all the accolades that they could possibly get. Salute to the God, Monty Brown TV, the
Salute the
legend
big
in the
dog
building.
money, the big
You know what I'm
homie.
saying? And like I said, this is a situation where we have to, give credit to whoever wins this fight. It's a huge fight. It's a pick 'em fight. I'm not mad at anybody who says Bud's gonna win the fight. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm not mad. It's not something outlandish, because it can happen. You know, um, and vice versa. But on the flip side, we're in a place right now where the fans, and this is OTB, this is where I'm at. The fans deserve better than this. The fans have waited for years. The fans waited for Manny Pacquiao and Floyd for a long time. You know, the fans have waited for this fight for a long time, and for us to be in a situation where this fight is realistically can be made, where we're for once in this 4.5 year process of all this going on, that they're actually in negotiations because Crawford has put himself in a position where he doesn't have Aaron to be in the way, and they're actually in the negotiations. For them to be sitting up and to be asking for 50-50, knowing that Errol Spence.
We don't know that, bro.
But what do you mean? We don't know that. I just played the audio for you. What do you mean you don't know that? But
Man,
this
we
is.
don't.
But Bomac. Do I gotta play the audio? Do I gotta play the audio again? Because Bomac is not only Terrence Crawford's trainer, he's his manager, which means he deals with his business. If this man comes out and clearly said in his own voice that Terrence got what Earl Spence wants, that other belt. So basically, what he's trying to do is use the belt and say, "Hey, if you want to be undisputed, and we have the belt, then
As
we have
leverage.
to."
How bad do you want it?
But that's some bitch shit though, because let's flip it to their side. How bad do they want Earl's 3 belts? See, this is when it comes to Terrence Crawford, and people could be mad, and people could say I'm hating, but I'm gonna always say, what's on my heart and how I feel. When it comes to Terrence Crawford, he is a pound for pound talent, but he don't have a pound for pound mentality as a fighter. See, because when Floyd Mayweather
But the
wanted
person
to,
who says, "Let me get my belts over here first, and then I'm gonna come and fight
oh,
you
oh,
at the end of
and
the
Breezy
road.
said he did.
I'm
Oh,
about to stop at these 3 houses, and then I'm gonna stop at that house last."
you
He
got it.
has a
Well, I
fighter's
mean,
mentality.
you gotta let me see if I could find it real quick on YouTube, and I could just play it for you guys. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can just find it in OTB. Why don't you go ahead and cook while I try to find this, while I try to find the audio so I could just play it.
But yeah, go ahead, bro. But nah, that's all I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, I don't think that fighters in a position where they don't want this fight or where somebody's scared to take this fight. It ain't no shit like that. That's just how it works. When you buying a house, you want the house for the cheapest you can get it for. And that's PBC who owning the house. You understand? They the bankers right now. So shit, Bud and them trying to get the most they can get out of the house. They trying to get everything fixed they can get fixed. They trying to get everything that they can get out of this. Yeah, I mean, sponge. You can't knock that because they got a lot at stake too. And once you factor in the fact that hey, they coming with their own briefcase, then shit. As a banker, you gotta knock something off of that interest rate. You understand? And I think that that's the bulk of what we waiting on. I don't feel like it's none of the details. We pretty much got the date, venue, all of that's out the way. So
Okay,
if all
all right.
we got left is the dot the T's and cross the I's, then I mean cross the T's and dot the I's, then go ahead handle y'all business, man, and let's get to it.
Yeah, let me see if I could. I'm gonna see if I can play this for
But
y'all
as
right now.
far as Bomac go, shit, he couldn't even get credit to his fighter. I ain't listening to shit he's saying, man. He couldn't even goddamn it get his fighter out of the fight this weekend. Now I'm
Hold
supposed to
on,
be listening to him as a manager. No, we're not gonna do that.
hold on 1 second, OTB. Let me see if I think.
Like,
Can y'all hear that?
in order
You heard that, OTB? Did you hear any audio just now?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay, all right, we gonna play it.
for
Yeah.
Errol to want to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that belt Terrence got.
So let me go back. Let me see if I can play it again.
That he won't pick up the belt obviously because he feels like Terrence Crawford is going to be the victor in the fight, and so he says it ain't going to happen, and then we'll work on what we'll
We'll
do
slap
afterwards. So let's listen what we have to
that
say once more, so you
motherfucker.
can hear that they feel like they have the leverage because they know that Errol Spence is, pursuing undisputed. They know Errol Spence this is a goal of his, and they know they stand in the way of him and his goal. Listen.
What he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that 50-50, man, because for the simple fact, in order for Errol to want to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that belt Terrence got.
I'm sorry, O2B. I'm not sorry. I have problems with that. I really have problems with that because, like, again,
wow, that's how
Floyd
negotiations
Mayweather
work, bro.
Yeah, no, listen. It is, but it ain't, because Floyd Mayweather, when he had a fraction of the numbers that Oscar De La Hoya had, and he wanted to be great, he let that man choose the gloves, the ring, the weight class, and Earl not even doing all of that. Earl not even being a prima donna. Earl said, "Hey, I want to fight." Heyman came to him, gave him the numbers, gave him the numbers. He said, "Let's make it happen." Now, you telling me now for the first
Don't
time in the
bring up
history of the sport,
Floyd picking on old
I'm
ass
just
Oscar.
yeah, but it's not about that. It's about how the business of the sport
Come
works,
on, bro.
OTB. It's about it's about how the business of the sport works. For some reason, for Terrence Crawford, boxing has to bend and change, and the rules of the business has to change and bend for him when he doesn't even have the numbers to dictate anything when it comes to business in terms of pay-per-view.
It
When
don't
this
matter
is a
about the
guy,
numbers as long as I got the investors.
but
If I
but
got
it,
the
but it,
money that was behind me,
but if he
then
had
the
the money, they wouldn't
numbers
be.
don't mean shit
But
when
if
we
he had
sit at the table.
true, but if he had the money that's behind him, he wouldn't be begging for 50-50. So we could X that out. We wouldn't even be here
That's just
if that was.
investors getting a return on their investment. What
But
do you mean?
what's isn't the return? Wouldn't the return on your investment be after? If you're so confident that you're gonna win, wouldn't your return on the investment be coming out as the A side, the making history and being the A side going forward against whoever in a rematch against Earl Spence, against whoever he's fighting, he's the A side, because whether he gets 50-50, 45, 55, 45, 60-40, this is going to be a huge fight and it's going to do some type of numbers. And if he becomes the victor and he's the guy who comes from 140 and beats the biggest, strongest world champion welterweight for the time he got into the division, and he goes in there and beats him, possibly
That don't
stops him,
mean
whatever the
that
case may be.
I'm gonna fight in the biggest fight in my era and still lose financially.
But
Ain't nobody in
let
boxing
me
that I
ask you,
want to see do that.
but let me ask you a
Like you
question.
putting your life on the line. So
I hear that. All fighters are doing that. I didn't tell him to pick the professional
right.
box. He chose that
When it
life.
come, but I'm just saying, bro, when it come to you getting the most that you can get, hey, go ahead. I want every fighter to get the most that they can get. Get it.
I would like
Try
every
and get
fighter
it.
to get the most. I would like every fighter to get the most that they could get. However, when you have when you're the same fighter who came out and accused the other side of outpricing himself before you were even negotiating, and stating the reason why he would be doing that is because he's scared or nervous that he would lose, and he wants to make sure that he gets every penny, and then you turn around and do this. I'm just saying, bro, we gotta call it down the middle. We got, I think if you brought a person here that just understood basic
You
business
can't
and
call
basic
it down the
economics.
middle one way, bro. Call it down the middle one way because that's the same way as me saying, okay, well, you set the table. You know how you set the table because you told me when we was gonna fight. You told me when you wanted to fight me, and I ain't getting a fight until then. So
But
technically, he
who's
can say, "Well, you set the table. I've been wanted
but
to do this shit."
but us as the fans are losing from that, and we shouldn't be okay with that.
And you
especially,
made sure that
especially.
your table was gonna have the most food
Okay,
on your
okay,
plate.
okay. So OTB, let me ask you a question. If you if you let's just say for instance you was a artist, say a rap artist, right? And you go and you do shows and you get a certain number all the time. That's your base number. You have a certain big fan base. You get paid according to who you draw and you bring in. And then I'm an artist, and people might be saying that you know what Kwame he spent harder than OTB, but I'm more underground and I don't have the fan base that you have. Just once we come together and we do a showcase together, just because some people think that I may spit harder than you, don't mean that once we do business together and you bring in all your fans into play, and I don't have any track record of having your type of uh, paydays or fans, that you and I should split shit straight down the middle. And you would, and as a good business person,
Throw all that
you was,
fan shit out the matter. All of that number shit don't matter once I bring my own briefcase. When I bring
but
my
this
own
man don't.
briefcase,
But
then it don't matter what nobody made on the last pack. None of that. I'm coming.
but if you have your own briefcase, then you wouldn't be crying for half my money. So the whole
That's so that
briefcase.
why wouldn't I want my you think my investors is putting their money behind me so they don't make some money too?
Okay,
That's not
OT, oh,
economics.
I got a question for you then, OTB. I got a question for you. If Terrence Crawford somehow squanders this, right? This fight that don't happen, who's he gonna fight next?
Hold on, bro. You start going out. You got to repeat
Oh,
that.
I said if Terrence Crawford somehow squanders this fight and it don't happen,
Drop Lenora a line because he chomping at the bits too. Go ahead, drop Lenora a link, and
I'll drop
anybody
it.
else
I'll
who
drop it.
want
I'll
to.
drop.
I'm in
Yeah, I'll
red
drop it in
form.
a minute.
I'm in gladiator mode. Are you not
I
entertained?
see. I see. But I'm just saying, who is he going to fight if he squanders this opportunity and him and Spence don't fight? Who is Crawford going to fight? Because if I can remember, let's just keep it 100. If I can remember correctly, and I just want you to correct me if I'm wrong here. When the WBA was having that tournament with Ugas and Stanionis, right? And everyone was stating that, oh,
Yep.
he gonna have to fight Bud, or he gonna have to fight Boots, and the fight, and Terrence Crawford had already beaten Sean Porter like a month or two previous to that. And when the fight got made with Ugas and Spence,
Salute, Queen
Boots
Sheena.
was sitting Boots was sitting right there. Salute you, Queen Sheena and Cassandra in the building. Um, Boots was right there, and
Fact, fact.
Terrence Crawford, and Boots had no opponent. Terrence Crawford didn't even pay Boots any mind, and he hung around until Earl Spence fought Ugas, and
Why
then said
would
they was
he?
going to
Why
fight.
would he?
I'm not okay. I'm
Why
gonna leave it alone.
why
I'm gonna
would
leave it
he
alone.
pay Boots any mind?
I'm not saying that he should have. I felt like he should have, but
You
we'll
slick,
skip over
Willie.
that. No,
You so
we skip over
slick,
that.
man.
No, we
Hey,
gonna
y'all,
skip over
Kwame
that.
slick as hell, man. That's
We gonna
Brooklyn
skip over
shit,
that.
man. Only
No.
Brooklyn.
I'm just saying we gonna skip
You
over
gotta
that
watch
because
them Brooklyn niggas,
no,
y'all.
but I'm just saying because no, I'm just saying that because the fact of the matter is, right? They could have fought. Terrence Crawford could have fought somebody, but he decided not to fight another top guy, a guy who was ranked number 2 in his own sanctioned body, to wait for this fight, to wait for Errol Spence to win, to wait for that. And I don't have a problem with it
You
because quite
realize
frankly,
at that time
because
Boots hadn't even been a main event yet.
it don't matter. It don't matter, and neither was B Machine.
Come on, man.
Neither was
He
Jose Benavidez.
didn't even fold in a main event slot, bro.
So what? Neither was B Machine or Benavidez, but he fought them. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. Like he
Jose
just
had
fight
been
niggas.
Jose had been a main event.
Listen, ain't nobody watched that shit if he was, because ain't nobody know nothing about what. Who the fuck
I
he
didn't
fought in the
say
main
that they
event? You know what
did.
I'm saying?
I just said he was
So,
a main event.
so,
He
so,
was
like
a
I'm saying,
champion.
so, like I'm saying, my point is, if he squandered his payday, right? Who he gonna fight next? Because we know, if he squandered his payday, it's not only him losing, PBC is losing too. They're gonna blackball him. They're not gonna give him all the shit he talk about getting Charlo and all that. They're not gonna give him some other fight. He's not signed to promoter. He's not signed to Al Heyman.
So,
All the welterweights are there.
what?
No one's gonna give him
We'll
a
be ready
fight.
to vacate that motherfucker and hope that your reputation can take it looking like goddamn it. Now we know what really happened, but I'm just saying, once they
Right.
mandate that fight and say that terms got to be met by, hey, you can play hardball how you want, but somebody getting stripped,
Listen.
and it ain't
First
gonna
of
be the
all,
person who petitioned it.
I got another thing I have a problem with why this is, you know what? OTB,
Because
I'm
the
tired of being
petitioning party gonna own the network and the
yeah,
purse.
OTB, I'm tired of being nice. I'm just gonna call this shit what it is. This is fucking dumb. You know, cause I just started thinking, right? I just started thinking to myself, right? How the fuck you gonna sit here and be like 50-50 because he got something I want, but when you fought Amir Khan, you allowed Amir Khan to get a higher payday than you? I'm just, I'm
Oh my
confused
gosh, you
about this.
realize when we fought Amir Khan, you realize that fight was after
What?
after
What?
after EJ got up there talking about sides of the street.
Bro, see, I'm not gonna allow you to just
That shit was
change
after he
the
got up there talking
narrative.
about
No,
sides of the
no.
street.
He
I'm
fought.
just
No,
saying,
first of
bro.
all,
Like
first of all, let's.
if I know that you telling me I can't come across the street because y'all gonna call the police, then what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna whoop somebody on this side of the street. I don't
Wait a minute.
got no damn choice.
Let's not let. First of all, let's keep it
I'm
100.
starting to think you got me
EJ,
practicing for BF, man. I
EJ,
told you I'm in rare
EJ,
form right now.
EJ, EJ. Well, don't take no L before you get to BF, because I ain't
Man,
no
you
little
know I
sparring
do
partner
boxing
here.
shit.
Okay,
No, I'm just
EJ.
saying,
Look,
bro, because I'll tell
EJ. Look, all I'm gonna say is this: EJ fought Mikey Garcia, and Terrence Crawford about a week or two later fought Amir Khan. Those guys were never lined up to fight at that same time. At that time, when these two guys fought, those were the first two pay-per-views that these guys that their promoters got their budget money from the networks. Uh, Fox gave Al Heyman and the PBC a big budget. That was their first paper. That was their first pay-per-view for EJ. So that was never possible. ESPN gave Top Rank that huge budget, and the first pay-per-view that they tried it out on was Amir Khan. So all this side of the street shit, that shit is fraudulent and fake when it comes to this situation, because both
he
sides.
said the shit. He
But
said that
but
shit.
it was never realistic for the fight to happen at that time. Let's just be 100, because it's not like how it is now. With
Come
it's
on
one
now, why
network.
wasn't it? And we watched it
I,
happen
I'm
before.
gonna
Don't
tell you
me
right
that
now.
some shit
I'm
wasn't
gonna tell.
realistic and we watched it happen before. I don't care if you
Okay.
would have put it on Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder undercard. We could have got that fight if they wanted that fight.
Okay. Question. So when
They
Tyson
knew he
Fury,
needed the pop.
when Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fought the first time, what network was that for?
Ready to
OTB. When Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fought their first fight, what network was that for?
What was it? The first one on Showtime, second one on ESPN. Then they
and Showtime.
First one on Showtime, second one on ESPN.
And
then
Showtime.
They split the third one.
It was a joint. It was a joint. The second and the third, that was joint.
Exactly.
It was promoted joint. So what I'm saying is
because the first one was mandated.
Right. Well, no, it wasn't mandated. The
first one was mandated.
No, it wasn't mandated. Tyson Fury was coming off of his drug binge. It was never mandated. Tyson Fury was a man with no land, and the PBC and Showtime picked up the fight, and they went through Frank Warren to do it, his promoter. So there was no issue with no joint promotion with no ESPN. The reason the second fight happened like that is because once it did good numbers, Bob Arum swooped in there with the ESPN money and signed Tyson
Regardless,
Fury.
bro, we seen
So-
it happen. Now,
so
don't go
for
through
you
all
to
of the
say-
don't run me down the whole damn field from the goal line to goal when we know we're touchdown at. Come on now. We not gonna do that. We ain't kicking
What you
field goals.
mean?
We want
I
seven.
mean, we have to explain it. We have to explain it to
because,
you.
bro, none of all of that's irrelevant.
Well,
We a fight
how-
with
so
those two
explain to me.
promoters coinciding.
So
on.
explain.
You're
So
not gonna
explain.
compare-
So OTB, I'm gonna give you the floor right now. I got a question for you. Explain to me how when Terrence Crawford fought Amir Khan and Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia at that time period, and Bob Arum was stating that Al Heyman was a figment of Sam Watson's
time period, it
imagination.
shouldn't have been no
Oh,
damn
let me
Mikey
finish.
Garcia fight. Why should Mikey
finish.
Garcia
Let
have
me
to
let me
come up
finish.
from-
Let me finish. Let me finish. OTB. Now, this is a time period where, because we got to remember, the fighters don't make the fights. I believe if Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence made the fight and were paying each other, the fight would just happen. But unfortunately, in boxing, we all know it don't work that way. So when you have a promoter who sued the other promoter for $100 million, and then he's calling the guy cancer of the sport. He called the man a cancer of the sport. You tell me and then these two guys are fighting for two big rival networks. Fox and ESPN are rival networks on TV. Fox has
Did it not happen for Deontay Wilder?
Fox has Undisputed, and ESPN has First Take. These are two rival networks. So these guys are always going to be in competition with each other. The only reason it happened for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is because it was a contract.
It's the only reason it can happen for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford.
No, it ain't. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because there was a contract that stipulated that there was a rematch clause after the first fight. There was a rematch for the second fight. And because there was a rematch clause for the second fight, what Bob Arum did was he signed Tyson Fury after the first fight because they were guaranteed to get a second fight. If it was the first fight, if Tyson Fury was signed to ESPN, it would not have happened. The reason it happened because there was a contract mandating it. So for you to sit up here, OTB, and state that they could afford, for you to sit up here as a boxing aficionado and state that they could afford at that time shows that you have absolutely no clue about what you're talking about. Zero clue. Because they could not have afforded that time.
We watched it happen. We watched them work together to do it once, but because you go to third, second, home plate is still home plate, bro. It happened. I'm not saying some shit that didn't happen. I'm saying shit that we actually seen. We seen Tyson Fury. We seen joint promotions. I don't care what the details is in between.
Well, you have to care.
Nobody
You can't just say that and say I don't care.
Again. We could have seen it again, bro.
But how could? Hold on a second.
Ain't no difference in that.
So what you're gonna say is the details don't matter. But the first fight, there was only one promoter, and then the second.
I'm saying that the bottom line, that the result is still the result, bro. The result don't change.
So
we seen these two promoters work together for Deontay Wilder and for Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. The question is, because he wasn't getting no fucking better in the ring.
OTB.
They knew they needed that time.
OTB. What
they needed that time.
You see where you fucked up at is what you're talking about right now is the exact situation on how the first fight between Deontay Wilder and
why else would you make the stage?
Fury?
Why wouldn't you say I'm gonna go and get that belt first?
Tyson
if
Fury
that's the belt that's
Deontay
across the street,
Wilder,
why wouldn't you go get that one first?
Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fought because there was one promoter in the first fight. That is the same situation that Terrence Crawford is in currently right now.
Did we not see it? But did we not see it for the second and the third fight? Did we not
Because
see it for
it
the
was
second
a
and the third fight?
bro. What part of their
Ain't no
what part of
because did we not see it for the second and the third fight?
there has to be
Did we
there
not?
has to be a
Did we or
because.
did we not?
Of course we saw
Okay,
it
so
because
we could have seen it for them too.
no, we couldn't have because there was a rematch clause from the first fight for it to happen. It had to happen that way. And guess what happened for the third fight? They had to go and take these guys to court for arbitration for the third fight to happen because they tried to skip out on the fight and fight Anthony Joshua.
And
so,
okay, we know that. We know the facts, bro.
Right
it don't change where home plate is. The fact is,
home plate is your man
that
they did it is doing bad business.
So you want to convince me that
they doing bad business?
Did it before, but they couldn't do it for you. Fuck out of here, bro.
They doing bad business though, bro. The details do matter. They doing bad business.
That's why they said we gonna take care of this side of the street.
Listen what y'all want to do. Y'all want boxing to
That's
all of a sudden,
bro. Did they not? But can we agree that? Go ahead.
So what you want is for boxing to make special rules for Terrence Crawford only. They've done boxing. I mean, I don't want to bust the Bud Protection Committee's bubble, but boxing is bigger than Bud Crawford. The business of boxing is bigger than someone who's never broken 150,000 pay-per-views. The business of they don't change contracts for people who don't bring in revenue.
The business of boxing that told us the business of boxing. Still got it out on me, boy. You almost made me go there. The business of boxing that made Aaron Pryor mandatory for 3 years. Come on, man.
Who a mandatory
that
for 3 years?
That business of boxing?
What you talking about?
That business of boxing?
Yeah, we talk about the business of boxing.
The business of boxing. They kept Aaron Pryor mandatory for 3 years.
We don't want to talk about no Aaron Pryor. We talking about these niggas today. The business of boxing. If you sell more, you get paid more. It's the history of the
facts. Are you talking about the business of boxing? We done seen it hurt us more than it helped us.
So you tell me, okay, OTB, you know what? I'll shut my mouth and I'll cash app you $100 right now if you can tell me what fighter who sold less pay-per-views fought another fighter who sold more pay-per-views and they split it down the middle. I'll shut up and I'll let you go ahead and tell me.
Show me a fighter that came in with his own briefcase. Show me a fighter that came in with his own briefcase.
If you got your own briefcase, you're not going to be begging for 50-50.
Come in with their own investors and they own with no promoter.
If you got your own investors, listen. If you rolling in all of that dough with your own investors, then you ain't going to be sitting up begging for 50-50.
Then I'm supposed to take less.
See the problem. I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. I'm gonna tell you what the problem is with Terrence Crawford team. They got a welfare mentality. They want shit that they didn't earn for free. That's what they want. They want Earl Spence to come out of his pocket and take less money for what he's done and what he's accomplished and give some of that money so they can make the fight
briefcase, bro.
That's called welfare.
Who else y'all thought that brought their own briefcase in the room?
Well, that's called welfare. They don't need no
there ain't no damn welfare. They coming in with
listen. Okay, hold on. First off, I'm a body you with your own bullshit that you're saying right now. You talking about investors and briefcase. This fight is not going to be bigger than Manny Pacquiao. This fight is not going to be bigger than Manny Pacquiao and Floyd. And we all can sit here and we all fucking know that this fight ain't going to go in 4.5 million homes. We know that. And Showtime by themselves, it was Showtime and Top Rank, but Showtime had already paid for it $250 million, guaranteed plus pay-per-view leading up to that. So you tell me what other investor Showtime needs. For what investor is Terrence Crawford bringing in? Because Daniel Kinahan is they can't do business with him. So you tell me what investor Terrence Crawford is bringing to the table that you keep talking about with all this motherfucking money.
Tyson.
Mike Tyson ain't Mike. So you telling me Mike Tyson? So what you telling me is Mike Tyson got more money. Mike Tyson has more money than Showtime. Is that what you're telling me?
I ain't saying that. We don't need him to have more. We just need him to have our half, bro. I just need to have what I'm coming to pay for. I don't need you to
Look.
throw me nothing, none of that. I just need what I'm
Look,
coming to pay for.
see, when you come with your
And
own
I need to
bread,
make sure I can double up on that.
when you come with your own, listen, when you come with your own bread and you come with your own money, then you're not worried about no split. See, that's the. I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. They got that nigga mentality that
What
they
do you
worried about
mean
what
when you
Earl
come
spent.
with your
I'm
own
I'm
money, you
telling
ain't
you,
worried
'cause I'm
about a
telling you,
split? Do
they
y'all
got
hear
a
this
well,
shit?
they
Man,
got a
come
welfare.
on.
Them niggas got a welfare. Them niggas got a
Did I
welfare
just hear
Section
this
8.
shit?
Yep, them niggas got a welfare Section
Yeah,
8 nigga
I'm ready.
mentality
Yeah,
where
I'm
they
ready,
are
Drake.
worried. They are worried about what Earl Spence is getting more than what they're worried about
Hey,
what they're
Leon,
gonna
tell your
make.
boss we can do this a day early.
And that's why the fight ain't happening, because they're more worried about what Earl Spence is getting. They want to make sure they get what Earl Spence get instead of being worried about what they gonna make. That's what's holding up the fight. And for all y'all Bud Crawford fans that's sitting up for the last 4 years, y'all niggas been talking about, oh, y'all niggas is accountants. Oh, y'all counting money and it's about business. Then we just want to fight. We just want to fight. Now all of a sudden this shit is real.
Drake.
Bomac done changed his tune. Bomac done changed his tune. Now y'all gonna change y'all tune with him. But y'all the same dudes that say, hey, we just want to fight
on that bitch.
Yup. Y'all the same dudes. Goon, you late. You late. We already played what Bomac said.
Hey, Goon, he got
I don't need to be
on that
but let me play it back for Goon, since I'm gonna play it back for Goon since I'm in the meeting. Why don't we play it back for him?
On that bitch.
Earl Spence this is a goal of his,
we'll play it back
and they
for
know
Goon.
they stand in the way of him and his goal. Listen.
What he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that 50-50, man, because for the simple fact, in order for Errol to want to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that belt Terrence got.
Oh, guess I don't have to be in the meetings because this fool right here just told y'all how they ducking, because this man got one belt that Errol Spence. First of all, that's some straight loser talk right there. That is loser talk. You gonna come out here and say to the public that the reason why we want 50-50 is because what Earl Spence wants to accomplish. Listen to the words he chose. What Earl Spence wants to accomplish, we have that one belt. What about what they want to accomplish? What about what they want to accomplish? See, that's why he will never be as great as no Floyd Mayweather. Because see, Floyd Mayweather was worried about what he wanted to accomplish.
Because he put himself in a position to accomplish that without one weight class.
When Floyd Mayweather, when he looked at Oscar De La Hoya, he wasn't worried about what Oscar was getting. He was worried about him being the best and what he wanted to accomplish. He knew that Oscar had the prestige that he wanted. He knew Oscar had the paydays that he wanted.
He knew Oscar was old. Call it what it is. Don't sugarcoat that bullshit. He knew Oscar was old. He knew Sugar Shane was old.
Y'all niggas didn't say all of that shit. Y'all wasn't saying all of that shit when Manny Pacquiao beat the shit out of Oscar De La Hoya. Oh, people was running around saying, "Oh, he did it better than Floyd. He made him retire," but he was old. And when Floyd was calling out Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley, he was at 135, and Larry Merchant asked him, and Larry Merchant asked him about Larry Merchant asked Shane Mosley, did he want to fight?
Corrales,
yeah, did he want to? When he asked him, did he want to fight Floyd? What did he say? Oh, my tooth is loosened. I want to go on vacation. So if he fought Floyd when he was old, that's his fucking fault. Because Floyd called him out and he didn't want to fight. He was talking about his tooth being loose after beating a bum. So and then Cotto again was younger than Floyd. Pacquiao was younger than Floyd. So don't come with the bull.
Going into that fight, how many losses did Cotto have? How many miles on it?
What you mean? How many losses he had? He had two. He only had two.
Come on, man. How many losses did Cotto have?
Two.
My point exactly. It was a blueprint to beating him. It was a blueprint to beating him.
Okay,
come on, man.
Okay.
That wasn't Cotto.
So what? How many losses Amir Khan had? But how many losses Amir Khan had when he fought Bud? Let's not talk about losses. This nigga was sparked. By Canelo Alvarez 3 fights prior. The nigga went life and death with fucking Samuel Vargas the fight before. But y'all sitting up screaming. This nigga Praise is talking about, oh, he did this and he outboxed this man, and this nigga was on the floor against Samuel Vargas the previous fight.
Bro, you ain't never heard me bring up the Amir Khan fight as a credible
Well,
fight.
when y'all be talking about, oh, he knocked everybody out.
Y'all, you gotta say me, bro.
Oh,
you gotta
okay.
say me, bro. When it comes to me,
so first, and you see that? You see that? Here we go.
You won't hear me bring up that fight with no credibility.
I'm gonna put my big bro on blast. Mr. Bibbs.
What credibility does Amir Khan hold? I'm
gonna put my big bro on blast, Mr. Bibbs. This is prime example of Bud Protection Committee
on anybody resume.
When we said when I said they want 50-50, he asked me was I in the meetings, right? Then when I have Bomac say it, they can't ever say, oh, you right. They say, oh, so why am I so mad now all of a sudden? You know why I'm mad? I'm going to tell you why I'm mad. The reason why I'm mad is because the fight can happen and Bomac is holding the fucking fight up. And y'all supposed to be real boxing fans and y'all won't call it out because y'all so busy picking one side that y'all left boxing out the equation and y'all love for the sport out the equation. Most of y'all dudes said if the fight went past
now we took our love for the sport out the equation.
You know, exactly, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because Bibbs, hold on, Bibbs, the main one, Bibbs, my bro, is the main one who said this. If the fight don't happen, hold on. He said if the fight don't happen this year, he over it. But he's hearing Bomac state that he's holding up the fight for a business reason that they don't even deserve to have, but he don't have a problem with he got a problem with calling Bomac out. But if Bomac keeps still doing this bullshit that he's doing, we ain't gonna see the fight this year.
What did I start off by saying, bro? What did I start off by saying?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
know Ohio runs boxing.
Steven Espinoza. What did I start?
Oh, Ohio runs boxing. I know that you late.
It's not a secret, bro. Everybody know that. Salute to the Brody in the building. Y'all go follow Ohio Runs Boxing on IG, man.
I'm gonna play. I know it's gonna break. I know it's gonna break your heart, Marcus.
In the game,
I'm gonna play it especially for you.
So let's listen. We had to say once more, so you can hear that.
Bro, play the clip where Steven Espinoza.
Hold on. Let Ohio Runs Boxing hit a clip.
Pursuing undisputed. They know Errol Spence this is a goal of his, and they know they stand in the way of him and his goal. Listen.
What he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that 50-50, man, because for the simple fact, in order for Errol to want to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, he need Terrence. He need that belt Terrence got.
So who? Listen, that is such loser. Listen, hold on.
Errol Spence told y'all that 3 years ago.
Listen,
when he said,
This is such.
Now it's a problem that when you got to hear from somebody else.
This is such. Such loser talk. I have not. Listen, this could be the most loser talk I've ever heard from any manager. This is loser talk. For you to sit up here and claim that you have the best fighter on the planet, on the face of the planet Earth, and say for the other fighter to accomplish what they want to accomplish.
So first we heard he has no promotion. He has no promotion. He has no right.
My fighter wants to accomplish this.
He come in with his own briefcase, and now it's another problem.
Like, come on, man. It don't look like
we tripping. I just want y'all to know.
Bomac got his business degree from Woolworth. Bomac got his business degree from Wawa, because this is some bullshit business. It don't look like we tripping. This is bullshit right here.
It don't look like we tripping.
Listen,
first
all
I'm
gonna say,
now we come in with OTB. Now we pull out the space.
If you go into you should be glad I'm not like the super argumentative yelling type like BFTB, because if you go on BFTB with this weak ass argument, you're gonna get ran out of the fucking debate. You're gonna get ran out of the debate.
The facts.
The facts is this nigga just said this.
EJ told us first, I'm gonna get these straps first, then I'll be over there. Now when Bomac tell you that you made us the last piece of the pie, so don't be mad because we gonna charge more for it. Now it's a problem. Fuck out of here,
bro,
man.
are you really did you really just say that? Did you really just say that? After
You
Terrence
made the
Crawford,
table.
after
You
Terrence
made the
Crawford just
table.
came out and did an interview and said this is the best possible time for us to make this fight. Now you want to come with this bullshit about you made us the last person? This nigga fought two
Did you
times
not?
in the last 2 years.
Did
EJ
you
had a
not?
17-month layoff and a 14-month layoff, and they fought the same amount of times.
So now you're gonna justify his inconsistencies within the sport. But we gonna talk
You
about
gotta
disrespect
elaborate.
in the sport.
You gotta elaborate on that.
So now you gonna justify him being undedicated to the sport.
I'm not justifying that.
And we can justify that.
I'm not justifying that. He was undedicated. I was
That's what it sounds like when you say he could have a 17-month layoff and a 14-month
his 17-month layoff didn't come from that. It came from a car accident and a detached retina. That's where that came from.
Come on, man. We not gonna deny the fact that he done told you out his mouth. But this the second time I done had to quote EJ.
But that has nothing to do with his layoff. When EJ was undedicated to the sport, when EJ was undedicated to the sport, when EJ was undedicated to the sport, he fought Mikey Garcia and Sean Porter. He didn't have any layoffs. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. I know you in the hot seat and you need to find some random shit to talk about that got nothing to do with the topic. But we're gonna reel you back. We're gonna reel you back into reality.
Bro, the facts is the facts. These is what he said. I ain't giving you nothing that I made up. I'm
what you're doing is you manipulating
making shit up.
But what you're doing is you manipulating
I ain't manipulating nothing. I'm calling it what it is, bro.
You manipulate the timeline.
Then he can admit this shit, but you can.
Bro,
he can say I was undedicated, but you can't say that.
I've also said that. I don't know what, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Drico, listen. As much as me and Bibbs go back and forth, as much as me and Drico go back and forth, they'd be the first people to tell you that after Earl Spence fought Sean Porter, I said all bets that I have with Earl Spence is off because he's not dedicated to the sport. So you can't say that to me. You can run that shit to somebody else, and that was a public post on my group that had over 16,000. No, I didn't. No, that's what you said. What I said was that when he was undedicated, I said he had 2 layoffs, and you try to bring that to him not being dedicated to the sport. The layoffs came from him having a car accident.
You can justify him being undedicated to the sport.
The justification to him being undedicated to the sport.
He can have 2 layoffs, like it's okay.
Uh-huh. Well,
like the layoff went from him being undedicated.
But when you're launched from a car,
of the story,
when you're launched from a car, you have to take time off. If you're launched 30 feet in the air from a car, and we've seen the pictures of this man in ICU, then you have to take a layoff, bro. You don't just hop back in the ring. And not only did he just hop back in the ring, he didn't take no tune-up. He fought the guy that was mandated to fight him for the WBC. Okay? And not only after the torn retina and he missed out on the Manny Pacquiao, he went and fought Ugas, the guy that went and retired Pacquiao, and the guy who arguably most people believe beat Sean Porter.
Don't worry.
Most people believe that Ugas beat Sean Porter. Most people, you a person who watched film. Let me ask you a question. Would you say that Ugas beat Sean Porter? I'm not asking. I'm talking about from you being OTB boxing class 101 who break down film. Did Sean Porter, in your boxing opinion, did Sean Porter beat Ugas? See, this is you see this? You see,
I had Porter winning that fight. Okay.
Look, I ain't gonna argue with you if you say you had him winning.
I had
the
Porter
vast
winning
majority.
That fight. Yeah, I had Porter winning that fight. But mind you,
here you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. We got to get an intervention with you, Bibbs. But if Buzz said that, see, this is how you don't take accountability. You what you do is you go ahead and you deflect it to something else, bro. You got to take accountability. It's not about if this guy said this and this guy said that. The truth of the matter is, Bomac and Bud have stuck their foot in their mouth time and time again ever since the negotiations is real. And the Bud Protection Committee, y'all guys are fucking out here scrambling, looking fucking crazy, and it's all unraveling, and it's gonna unravel even worse once he get his eye sockets fucking banged in. it's gonna unravel even worse when he's seeing 3 Earl Spencers in the ring because Bud Oz looking like fucking Tevin Farmer and Debo's in the middle of rounds.
Are you not entertained? Entertained? Are you not entertained? Hey, knock on in foreign, baby.
Man, this work is too easy, man. Let me go put a link out here, man. This work too easy. OTB, you better not. I'm telling you right now, OTB, you better not get on BF. You better not get on BF shit like this. Baby. It's gonna be a fucking massacre.
I'm informed, baby.
Yeah, you informed to get lit up if you go on BF shit like this.
And I've been off with his head, man. I'm having fun in the graveyard, Kwame. You can't tell, Brody.
I see. You gonna be like a fucking punching bag in the graveyard. Hold on 1 second. Let me
crazy.
Let me go ahead,
man.
Let me go ahead and
y'all know OTB been stepping in, goddamn sparring with the big dogs. Why wouldn't he want to fight? Why wouldn't he want to step in the main event slot?
I don't know. I know one thing. But about
wait till you see the delivery. See, I even had to hold some shit back from you. Yeah.
There you go. There it is. So now it's
because I feel like y'all feel like BF in the comments. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's scouting for real. Hey, I feel like y'all scouting for real, man.
BF,
I see Leon. I see Nitty.
If you come with this weekend shit, if you come with this weekend shit with BF, he going to do you dirty.
We got a whole nother. Hey, that's the thing about boxing, man. Hey, that's what's so beautiful about it, man. You got 2 hands in this shit, y'all. You got to use both your hands. You got to learn how to watch a shoulder. Get your head off the line. You feel me?
Salute to my brothers. Let me go ahead and hold on 1 second.
Get him the fuck out of here.
Let me go ahead and take this banner down real quick. There we go. Salute to my brothers, YSM and Ohio Runs Boxing. Salute
What's
to you
good?
guys.
What's good, man?
What's good?
Salute my bro.
I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry I had to cook up your boy from Cincy over here, man. But
what's poppin', Philly?
Listen, it's all fair game, man.
What's good?
It's all fair game, so I ain't even tripping on it. But I had a couple Ohioans inbox me on it. I didn't even see it, to be honest. They wanted me to come at you and all this. I said, man, that's his platform. Let him cook. I got my stuff.
Hey, and for the other Ohioans that man, y'all well represented. Don't even worry about it, man. We here.
Hey, yo. Oh, like what's funny is that I see the same arguments back and forth, right? I'm predicting that they should come to a deal soon. I know they already started matching or trying to match the undercards. But, like, I don't know when an announcement's going to be made, but everybody keep having the same, 50-50, 70-30 splits. I mean, once they in the room, we got to let them be in the room and get whatever they got to get done.
Facts.
But I know for 1,000%, they've already started trying to match the undercard.
Okay. One thing I know is that if there's anyone who could make a difficult fight, or the most difficult fights in the sport, is going to be PBC and Showtime. They have a proven track record of getting difficult fights done. It may take some time, but we will get the fight. So all I'm saying is, Jamil, is that with what Bomac said, see, I don't know about what's going on in the negotiation room, but if Bomac says stuff to the public, then we can have an opinion on it. And if this man comes and uses, I think the verbiage he used was horrible. For him to say that that Bud has something that Earl Spence wants. If I had the top pound for pound fighter in the world, and another fighter in his division has 3 belts and I have 1, I wouldn't be talking about what the other guy wants. I would be talking about what we want.
Kwame, let's keep it a being, right? Fans, especially Terrence Crawford fans, but fans in general want to project certain ideologies on fighters that aren't theirs, right? So in Terrence Crawford's fans' eyes, he's like this knight of the old code, and he only cares about the smoke and legacy. When at every point, Terrence Crawford has told you It's about his fucking chicken. He told you that during the pandemic, I'm not taking no shorts. He told you when it comes to Earl Spence, 50-50 or nothing. But somehow fans have built it up in his mind that he just want the smoke. When Bomac just told you, no, my first concern is this money. If he's consistently saying in that little clip that you put with Earl Spence, oh well, if Earl Spence wants, yeah, that's basically saying, no, my goal is 50-50. If Earl Spence wants the legacy, he got to give me what I'm looking for. Not that if I want the legacy, I'm going to have to make sacrifices. If Earl Spence wants the legacy, he has to make sacrifices. So that goes to show you where his mentality's at. There's nothing wrong with being about your bread. But what people got to stop doing is stop acting like that's not what the fuck he's saying, when that's exactly what he's saying.
Facts.
He's just being obnoxious, man. Honestly, it's like I said this, like Loyal brought up in the chat, man. It's like he's almost acting like a bitter baby mama who's holding the kids from the baby daddy just cause. It's almost like it reminds me it's almost of that, like that prima donna shit. Like he said, it's the exact. I mean, that's weak. Okay, that's weak.
It is
If you
weak.
know, if you know somebody is better at you at a particular area, just numbers. We're not talking about a pound for pound. Just talking about numbers. Then you say, you know what? Let me humble myself and let me humble myself and give him the bigger split. I mean, come on. I mean, let's be real. That's all we're saying. It's not. I mean, and why I say, if he's about his chicken, then worry about what you're getting. If you're about your chicken, if you get the biggest guarantee, or you get the biggest number, or you're gonna get the biggest money you've ever gotten for this fight,
hey, Leonard,
get paid well.
All of that
that's
change when I
weird.
bring.
Huh?
That's one-sided, Leonard, because at the same time, I could pose that same question to you. Is that Earl and PBC made the same move, and they made all in-house fights to use their leverage of having 3 belts against Terrence Crawford. You can't get mad at him for trying to use his last belt against you when you used the 3 belts.
No, I understand. No.
So you
I understand.
That's why I use the slice of cake analogy.
No. I understand what he's doing.
both
He just
sides.
you
You can't
just
get
use it
mad
like
at one,
leverage.
you can't get mad at the
And
other,
like
bro.
I'm not. No. I'm
You
saying I understand
decided
why
to make
he's
me the last slice of
Yeah.
cake. We could have been got this shit out the way.
I understand why he's doing it, using it as leverage. Okay, fine, but I'm not gonna sit here and forgive that shit. Like, oh, like I think that's not a duck move, because I almost sounds like
But
a quack
you
move.
sit there and forgive Earl for
Oh,
doing it to
true.
him. It
Do
works
it
both
for
ways.
in what particular way did he do it?
Bro, if you telling me, oh, I'm gonna clean up my side of the street, and you know why he did it. He used it for leverage. So you getting mad at another side trying to use the leverage that they got? That's
But
picking
didn't
the
Terrence
choosing.
Crawford already come out
That's
and
picking
say?
the choosing, bro.
Hold on.
I don't.
This
I
is
don't
Terrence
think
Crawford
that.
himself. Why is him? This is Terrence Crawford himself saying in an
Leonard,
interview. Hold on,
He
Wise. Hold
Leonard.
on. I'm gonna
just
give you the
said
floor.
that literally.
This is what Terrence Crawford himself said. If you talk, he said, "I don't care." This is back when it was Boogeyman Bud and all this BS. He said, "Listen." It is out of his own mouth. You can look this up. I'm sure you've seen the interview. He said, "I don't care about about the money. I don't care
Leonard.
about the B-side
Anything,
split." He said
anything
that.
you're,
He said
anything you're
that.
saying to me, anything right now you're saying to me is irrelevant because I already acknowledge the fact that Bud is about bread. But
Yes.
what you saying is you mad at Bud for being about bread when Spence is about bread
I'm
too. And
not mad
Spence is
at
about bread.
I'm not
You
mad
can't
about
criticize
Bud being about bread.
Leonard,
I'm mad
listen to
about
me.
Bud holding up the
You
fight.
can't
That's what
criticize
I'm
one and not criticize the other though.
I'm
They
not
both
mad at Bud
Well,
for Bud. I'm mad
first
at
off,
Bud for holding up the
It's
fight.
a two-way
first,
street.
yeah, first off, I gotta agree. I can see points on both sides, but I gotta agree with Lennar. It's not about Bud wanting the money; it's about the fight being held up at this point. That I mean,
Me,
that's what it's about. For me, anyway, it's about the fight being held up, and then also YSM.
hey,
You have said
Bro,
numerous
we can't
times,
say that.
which is your opinion, that you said Earl Spence is a hypocrite based on what he did to Keith Thurman.
yeah,
Uh, right? And then on the flip side, you have to say also Terrence Crawford is a
he is.
hypocrite as well.
He is.
Because
okay.
okay,
And why Sam? Let me
I
put it
don't
to you
got
like
it.
this.
Man,
Let me put it to you.
Wait. I'm
Let
talking
me
to
put it to you
hold
like
on.
why Sam? Why Sam? Why Sam?
that
Tommy just
shit,
said
bro.
something.
Why Sam?
I don't
Let me
got
put
no
it to you
pick.
like this. This
I
is
don't
the
care.
point
I
that
don't
we're
care
at right
nothing
now.
about
Why
either
Sam?
one of these dudes.
Hey,
So
no one at a time,
why
fellas. One
Sam?
at a
This
time.
is the
One at
point
a
we're
time.
at right now. just imagine, right? The history is the history. Where it's the past, it's the past. We're here now, right? We're in negotiations. We can actually get this fight made right now. So let's humble ourselves. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. We gave each other black eyes. We got in the fight. We disrespected each other. Okay, fine. But we're sitting down. We're
Hey,
talking as grown
Leonard.
men.
Hey,
We're
hey,
being
Leonard.
factual. Do
Hey,
you want
Leonard.
this
So
fight? Yes
basically,
or no?
Leonard. So basically, what you're telling me is it's cool for the guy that you like to use his leverage, but it's not cool for anybody else to.
No,
That's
I'm not.
essentially
No,
what
I'm
you're
not.
not.
saying.
I'm not. I'm
I'm not
not. But
saying
why
that.
is Sam? Why Sam?
But
But
That's the
let's
No,
go
no,
point
no.
point though.
with
Why?
the
Why
That's
last
Sam?
piece
essentially
of
what you're
cake.
I'm
saying.
saying. But why Sam?
You set
We're
the
here
cake,
now.
you set
Why?
the table,
Why
you
Sam?
pick the dessert,
What's the difference? Why
I'm
Sam?
not
and
telling
may
What's
it
the
be
you.
the
difference
last
about
Hey,
piece
what
of
Quan.
cake.
happened if
Hey,
we're
Quan.
actually in
That's what
I'm
charge
negotiations?
not
it for.
saying, Quan.
Fuck out of
I'm
here.
calling Bud out on his shit, right?
I
I'm
hear you.
calling him out on. He's on turkey time as far as this particular thing. But you got to understand that y'all did, or as far as the naming side, leveraged. You use their leverage of having most of the belts on their side. So when they came into negotiations, they would get the lion's share of the revenue.
Hmm.
Okay, so they use the tool at their disposal. Now
Right.
Terrence
Eat the
Crawford is
cake,
using the tool
anime.
at his disposal, right? So this is what, hey Kwame, you're in business. You
Uh huh.
expect this, right?
Uh
Now,
huh.
if the fight doesn't
Eat
happen,
the cake, anime.
if the fight doesn't happen, now we got to look at Terrence Crawford. But Leonard, you cannot get mad at everybody trying to do their best to secure the best deal,
No,
especially when the side that you like did it first.
Okay,
listen.
but hold on. Okay, and
You
let me
you
say this,
wait,
Fact.
real
wait,
Kwame, Kwame,
let me
Kwame.
respond to him
Can I
real quick,
respond,
Lamar.
Kwame?
Eat the
Let me
cake,
respond to this. I'll give you
anime.
back the floor if that's
Here
okay.
we drink.
Hold on, OTB. Let me respond with this, and I'll give you the floor, Kwame. Just give me 1 second. So, YSM. So, I see your point. I'm not upset with people. Like, for example, when you say Earl Spence hold up the fight, taking quote unquote the easy route or just taking another alternative to gain leverage. I'm not upset about that. If somebody says, you know what, I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that Earl fought these guys instead of Terrence first. I'm okay with that perspective. I understand what Earl was doing, so that's why I never called it a duck move. I understand what he was doing, so I understand. I can see the other side of somebody's upset with that as a boxing fan. Fine. But at the end of the day, YSM, we're here now. We're in the room. What has happened has happened in the past. Terrence Crawford did stuff as well that you may or may not consider appropriate. So if we're here now and we can actually get this fight made, let's sit down as grown men and say,
Listen to
okay,
how
let's
you
be
sound. So
factual.
I'm not supposed to
Huh?
use my leverage now that I'm in the room.
What?
Listen to how you sound, though. I'm not supposed to
Yeah.
use my leverage while I'm in the room. So I'm just
I'm
supposed
not.
to
It's a
sit
No,
back.
classic
you
show.
can
I'm
listen.
glad.
Buck can use his leverage, but you gonna
He's
forgive him because
using
of
it
that
right
when we're
now.
actually in the room to make
He's,
the fight.
he's trying to
Because
use his leverage to get a better deal.
according to Terrence Bud
What
Crawford,
is
again,
wrong
like
with
I
that?
said, Crawford did
You
not mind being the
you
B
was just
side. He was
call.
on
I said,
interview.
bro, you was just
So
calling him
how do
names.
you
I said
respond
you
to
was
that,
just saying,
YSM?
you was just calling them names. I said he's a hypocrite.
I
So that's
drink
me being
me,
honest. You won't
Okay.
even be
ready.
honest about the situation.
So
That's why
is
nobody
Earl being a hypocrite, giving Terrence Crawford the game plan from the beginning?
Earl's a hypocrite for what he did to Keith Thurman.
No, we're talking about Bud and Spence. I'm gonna get you with
I
this
don't even
checkmate.
under
Is
bro. I
Earl
said
the
you're taking it,
hypocrite?
Leonard.
Is Earl the hypocrite when it comes to Terrence Bud and the Earl situation? Is
Nah.
he the hypocrite in
No,
this?
no,
Huh?
he used his leverage. One dude
Okay.
used his
Oh,
leverage. Hey, Leonard. Hey,
okay.
Uh-oh.
And
Leonard.
then
You gonna let me
we
talk?
have
Or
the
you gonna keep
fighter and
interrupting me,
Terrence
bro?
Crawford who said out of his
You won't
mouth,
even
"I
let
don't
me get my.
mind being the B side."
Hey, Hey,
Can
Leonard.
Now the
yeah,
fight,
you
You
guys,
won't
now
let
you
that
me
can,
the
you
get
can't.
fight
my.
is
Oh,
going to be
hold on, you guys got a debate, and Lenore, you got to get a man a chance to answer your
God
question,
damn.
bro.
yeah. Go
Are
ahead.
you
Go ahead.
like, bro?
Go ahead.
That's why the boxing world
Yeah,
hates y'all,
yeah,
man. That's
yeah.
why
Let
they
me
hate
sit
y'all
back.
fan base.
Let me get out of this.
Anyway, like, yo, it's easy. It's easy to be on one side. It's not easy to look at it objectively. Okay, this person's doing this person's doing that. It's like Lenore, you can't admit when the other side is wrong, or you like it. Come on, man. Both dudes are doing what they have to do. Now, if the fight don't happen, we all know the reason why the fight won't happen this year if it doesn't. But
Facts.
right now, you acting like it's 2023. Let them do what they do.
Right.
Facts.
Let them negotiate.
Facts.
I have no
Yeah.
problem. I have no problem with
If you
that.
ain't got
But
no
who's
problem with
holding
it,
up
you
the
still
fight
can
right
do
now?
it. I say that with love.
Well, he already admitted
Let
that he
me.
held up the fight. Okay, so let me because Lenore, I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say something. So
Go ahead.
so YSM, you speak about leverage and Terrence Crawford and Bud using and Bomac using the leverage that they have, and leverage is something that you can measure, right?
Yeah.
And they don't like the leverage that they have is not really is the leverage the way the leverage that they're using is like bitch leverage, to be honest.
No, it's not because
You can't say that, Kwame.
you're
It's
using
my I can say
Earl,
this is my opinion.
you're using Earl's hubris, right? Earl wants Earl wants to be undisputed. Like that shit is hanging over his head. You don't think that Earl got pride and Earl been hearing dudes like Drico saying he ducking and all that shit. You don't think that gets to him? He's a fighter. So right now, Terrence Crawford is going to use his ego to try to get a bigger split. Now, will it work? I don't know, but I understand. I understand him trying. At the end of the
And
day,
I'm
we gotta
saying
do what's
what
best for us. We
Hold
gotta
on,
do
hold
what's
on
best
one
for
second.
our
Hold on one
family,
second.
right?
Hold on one
Think
second.
like shit. If they
So
trying to get the most they can get, then you can't knock them for that.
I'm not mad at. Listen, this is what I'm saying. I'm not mad at anyone trying to get the most money they can get. But if the fight's being held up and you asking for shit that's not like reasonable, and you using like some bitch shit or like some whole ass way of using leverage to get it, then I have a problem because the fight's being held up for that. Especially when you're the side for the last 4 years that said, "Hey, you know what? The reason Earl Spence don't want to fight me, and he's bringing up all this split stuff is because
Yeah,
he's nervous that he if he doesn't win, he could just cash out. But
yeah, but
now this guy,
that makes
right?
him, but that makes him the hypocrite, Quam.
Right. That's
But
exactly, and
I'm not
you
disputing that.
admitted
I'm
to that.
just saying
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
using what he can use because he ain't got much. If we gonna keep it a
Right.
bean,
But
that's the only
but
card he got.
that
I
The
correct,
think.
card that he got
correct.
is Earl wants to be undisputed,
So why
and
wouldn't I save my spade for last?
and we painted a
so.
narrative that Earl is a coward. So even if this fight don't get made, dudes like Drico, dudes like Trevion, like that whole little Bushido group is gonna say somehow it's my fault that it didn't happen.
Right, right, right.
Listen.
And
Here's my.
so
My
Here's,
yeah,
hold on. My
exactly,
thing is
yo.
hold on, hold on,
exactly.
hold on, hold on, hold
What?
on.
Okay.
My thing is this though. Why I said why I have a problem with it as well is this is that as you had mentioned earlier before, first it was about upfront money, right? About guaranteed money up front. Now it's
Mhm.
about split. So it's like, bro, you
And,
gotta
and
pick.
and earlier was about him not having no promotion, and
I'm
now
just,
it's a split.
you
Like,
gotta,
come on,
you
man.
just,
So what?
bro.
So
We talking
yeah.
about. It's like we talking about boxing
That's a
and
two-sided
OTB. You over there
coin, man.
talking about hockey. Like this guy. Listen, they're using
What's the
money,
difference?
regardless of what the case may be. See, this is the mentality that I see. It's like two motherfuckers
Y'all
hit the
want to sit
lottery.
on them
It's like
numbers
this.
like them
Two
is
motherfuckers. Listen,
everything. Like,
two motherfuckers hit the lottery, right? And then one guy is like, you know what? And they say, all right, well, y'all have to, like, Bud is basically saying, you know what? If I don't get what this guy is getting because from him hitting the lottery, then fuck it, none of us gonna hit the lottery. That's some wild
Exactly.
shit.
But
That's some
here's
wild.
So
That's
what?
some
listen.
wild
Hold
And
on.
thinking.
yeah.
Here's my thing. Hold on. Here's my
but
thing.
it's okay. But it's okay for
Oh,
y'all to hit the
Go ahead.
lottery.
Go
hold
But
ahead.
on.
it's
Go ahead.
okay
Go
for
ahead. Go
y'all
ahead.
Let
to
Ohio
hit the
runs boxing
lottery.
because he's been
Hit the
trying to talk for like the
numbers.
last 10
No, it's
minutes.
cool.
It's
No,
okay
it's
for
because
y'all to play the lottery when you know what the numbers gonna be.
Man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. That nigga was talking all of
Go
that
ahead,
shit
bro.
before, and the lottery didn't matter to Bud. Now all of a sudden, shit is real. Now you want to talk about it?
no.
Now it's about business. Y'all the same group of fan bases that ran around for the last 4 years and was saying, "Oh, when the 60-40 stuff was," I was like, "Oh, y'all niggas is accountants now. Everyone's accounting and numbers and this and that, and we don't want that. We just want to fight. Fuck that. Fuck that."
Facts.
Now the shit done got real, and the shit is here, and now they really negotiating, and now we see who's the motherfucking accountants.
Listen.
Exactly.
Hypocritical ass fan
Exactly.
base.
And what?
Listen.
Exactly.
Listen.
And what? Go
When
ahead.
I came, what's dope about this whole thing to me is that I don't know about y'all because I'm gonna be honest. I actually put out different, you know, two different stories where I've seen from both point of view. Now I don't know about y'all. I keep it real. When going into this fight, before it even got to the negotiations, I said Earl was the A side. I think that was clear as day. And I don't know if everybody on the panel agree, but I felt like he should get the bigger split.
Mm.
Okay, so that's where I was at with it. But what made this more interesting is that the closer and closer this fight got, and now we in the negotiation table, people are starting to be more realistic because most of Spence fans was making fun of Crawford WBO belt. That's all he's bringing to the table. He has no leverage. So they was looking at Crawford as he has nothing, when in fact he really did. And it's not just the WBO belt; it's his accomplishments too. Him being undisputed, and some people, not everybody, tried to downplay that. And I think the closer we get now, people are starting to recognize and saying, "Wow, he does have something. He does." Because look, we got to look at Earl's side too. Where does Earl go if he doesn't get this fight? You have to look at it in different ways as well. Where does Earl go if he don't get the Crawford fight? Now, Crawford needs him. They need each other. But where does Earl go? Do he goes up to 160 or 160? Try to catch weight with Canelo if he beats Triple G. Where is his next big fight? Is it
He
ahead
got
of
a.
Thurman?
Okay, can I say something to that? Can
Earl's
I
already
respond?
said.
Can
Wait, hold on.
I say something to
Earl's
that?
already
Can I say
said that
something to
he's on
that?
the front line at 54.
Well, he
Oh,
can
can I
fight.
say something
Hold
to that?
on. But even at 54, he still got Jamel. He still
He,
got
but
Jamel.
Try
also
point.
Can I say something to that?
he has a big fight again. He could fight a big fight in Texas against Virgil Ortiz in Cowboy
Hey,
Stadium. Huge fight.
oh yeah, he does
It's
have
a
stuff.
huge
But
fight.
can I respond to what Ohio said real quick? He
He
does
could.
have stuff. He does have options.
Look, no, I'm
So,
actually speaking. Are you like I'm talking? You like trying to
oh,
talk over
sorry, my
me?
bad.
Right.
I didn't hear.
So
Go ahead.
he could fight Virgil Ortiz. That'd be a huge fight in Texas. Cowboy Stadium will be packed. You know,
But
huge
but
Mexican
yeah,
fan
no
base
no
will come
that's
out.
that's a, no no no
Right.
that's a good fight. But
He could also
why,
fight.
hold on,
Boots is gonna be is
he's
a
not
in
going to
title
fight
eliminator.
Boots.
He could also fight
He's not going to
Boots.
fight Boots.
But what I'm saying is that you saying where can he go, and I'm
No,
telling you where he can go.
okay, cool. Okay, hold on, cool. But my point is, let me get back to where I'm going. He wants to be undisputed, right? While we talking about where he can go, the Crawford fans and a lot of Errol Spence fans will be mad at him if the fight. That's where the pressure is coming, because if you want to be undisputed, you're going to find a way. Now, here's the thing: Bomac, when you sent that little video clip of Bomac talking about, the WBO, if they really want this, we got the last piece. Yeah, I talked about this. Being that he has something that's valuable, right? That's what they want. Now look at this. It's not the same scenario, but when fights want to get made, when guys know that these guys are in situations where they trying to hold the fight up, or they're trying to do some type of something sneaky to get out the fight, these fighters will make ways to make the fight. They will make the sacrifice. Earl will sit there and say, okay, I'm gonna come here and meet this demand. Look at Lomachenko and Lopez. Lopez didn't like the fight was supposed to be made. He didn't like what he was getting, and Lomachenko made the sacrifice. So here, I give you half of my. I give you
That's
this.
not
Hey,
true.
Ohio,
That's
that
not
wasn't true.
true.
You didn't
What?
do
That
that.
Don't
wasn't.
say that
That wasn't
because
true.
we're gonna throw
Oh,
Not true
flags
at
on
all.
the play. That ain't true. ESPN came up with the money. Lomachenko didn't give him shit.
okay. Well,
Uh,
here's another one though. If that's not true,
Regard.
which I didn't know that, because I thought that actually did happen.
No, it didn't happen.
No.
Damn.
okay. Well, let me.
Uh,
If I can say something right now, I was so how it runs boxing. So I'll say the only thing is it's like Terrence Crawford. I gotta make sure I clear things up. The only way that Terrence Crawford would get this 50-50 split is because the leverage he has, not because of his pay-per-view status, not because of his
Facts.
popularity. It has
That
nothing
ain't
to do with
happening.
that. I would just want to make that clear. So he almost to put words in your mouth. It's almost like he has an ace in his sleeve, and that is interesting when you think about it. Is just because he has that last piece of that puzzle and he's using it to try to squeeze, what I'm saying, try to so that is squeeze the juice out the lemon as much as he can. So it's very it's smart, it's cunning. So I get that. And getting on Wyatt Sam's point, going back to it, that I think that me and Kwame, correct me if I'm wrong, Kwame, but I think that me and Kwame, we understand what Terrence Bud Crawford is doing. We understand that yes, he's using it as leverage. Fine, I understand why he's doing it. But at the end of the day, if both these fighters walk away from the fight, or one of these fighters walk away from the fight, if we find out and it's confirmed that is the reason, which we have so much evidence that it is, then I'm gonna blame Crawford for that. So I think that's what I'm getting at here. I'm
I
not, I'm
think
not gonna
YSM
say
already.
That's
Yeah, I think
tough.
YSM
Yeah, I
already
already
said
said
that.
that.
Like
If
yeah,
the
the
fight
fight
don't
don't
happen,
happen, it's
we
Crawford.
know
It's all
where to look
Crawford.
at.
Right.
yeah,
And
But
yeah. But I'm
my
saying
only,
it's like we're going in circles. So I'm like, well, I
yeah,
mean, like, yeah,
my only argument about this is this is that camp is being hypocritical in crunch time because they're the
yes,
ones who stated that it wasn't about the money before, and Spence is gonna Spencer, when the fight wasn't able to be negotiated because Bob Arum was in the way, they were stating that Spence is doing X, Y, and Z because he feels that he could lose or whatever the case may be, and they built the
Kwame,
narrative. And now they doing the same thing they accused the man of doing. And that's where my
Kwame,
issue is at.
Team Crawford finessed this fan base like Triple G finessed Mexicans. It was Mexican style, Mexican style, Mexican style. Now, dude don't even speak English in his his camp. Like they told you it was about legacy, legacy, legacy. Nah, man. As soon as somebody talking that shit, I don't believe you. It's about bread. You ain't getting punched for free.
No,
so
no,
he is.
I hear that.
Hey,
So he's this
I'm
boogeyman.
with you
Like
on that one.
he isn't this so-called boogeyman.
A part of that y'all gotta understand too that he doesn't Crawford doesn't feel like comfortable negotiating with Al Heyman. Let's just call that like it is too. They already
No,
have
no,
certain
Ohio, they feel more comfortable negotiating with a cartel boss because that's great business.
I know,
Right.
and listen, that's true. And listen, I called him out on that too. I said that. That's so weird to me. It's like I called Demetrius Andretti the same way. Like, how is it that y'all okay going across here, but when the guy that has reputation with certain fighters, y'all acting weird? Like it's just you called it out. That's true. I called TC out on that. Like that's weird to me. So but talking to Bernie and hearing that. They focus on the negative about Al Heyman, which threw me off. They talking about Gary Russell, and I'm like, what in the world? Like everything this man has done, y'all talking about certain
Gary
things that
Russell.
y'all try to
Yep.
find. No, they're just trying to find loopholes of why they don't want to sign a nice a deal with PBC just to fight with PBC, not just Earl Spence in general. Just working with PBC, it showed they didn't already show they don't really want to do that. So my thing is, I think he has to be careful in this situation too, because he can be another Demetrius Andretti with a WBO belt.
True.
And let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. Al Heyman has the checkboard. He has the monopoly over there at 154 and 147. So that's just fact. So I'm definitely my fingers is crossed. I hope this thing go good because it can go
It,
bad too, man.
it's crazy, man.
It's gonna happen.
I'm looking at I'm looking at Drigo's comment. He talking about don't trust Al Heyman, but Bud is negotiating with
You trust
Showtime.
him. You
Right.
trust him, but you trust Daniel
But you,
Hey
Kinahan.
Drake,
Yeah.
yeah, you
man,
gotta trust
chill
Daniel
out,
Kennedy
man.
though.
Draco's
You gonna trust a nigga who
Hey
got a $5
Drake,
million
man,
bounty
chill
from the
out,
U.S.
He got a
man.
Treasury.
bounty.
He got a
He got a
bounty
You
from the
tripping
United
with that
States
one?
on his head for 5 million. But you want
It,
to trust him?
Man,
and
we working with
it's
Al.
like yeah,
but
it's
And
like
we
what
working with
YSM.
Steven Espinoza. That's why Steven Espinoza said contracts have stalled out, but they start back up. This is how
Facts.
negotiations work.
It works. But
But
you know,
OTB.
I'm
They
saying, but OTB man, we are at a critical point. These guys, one of these sanctioning bodies is going to order a mandatory pretty soon
yo,
here.
yo, you're right, Lennar. Like I
Critical
said,
point for
a
who?
good sign was
If we
they sent the
negotiate.
undercard out to be matched. That's a good sign
that's a
that,
great
that
that's a
leads
great
me to
sign.
Yeah,
believe
that's a great
they
sign.
are going that they believe they're going to get a deal done.
But you see what
I
I'm saying?
believe
I
they're
Why
mean,
gonna
you
I,
get a
see
deal
you
done.
see
Listen, I
Cause
believe they're
the
gonna get a
deal
deal
done,
done too.
y'all.
I
Why would
believe they're
I
gonna get a
announce
deal
a
done
deal and
too.
we talking about
I
this
think
shit
it's
every
all.
day?
Hold on. YSM. I believe they're gonna get a deal done too, but I just need my time to
Man,
be petty. I just need my time to be petty
Yeah,
As you
because
should.
but
these
I mean, I
niggas
we
think
was
it's
know
all
these
but
King
done,
niggas.
bro.
Petty,
Yo,
King
these niggas
Petty,
was
King
on
of
my
Spades.
helmet. They was on Spence helmet for 4.5 years,
me
and
too. Hold
now
on. Let me keep going.
Man,
Lenore, and
he
I was
now
on the
couldn't
right.
resist
now
this
shit
shit.
is real. Now shit is real, and now
Here
they
we
doing
go.
the same shit they was accusing everybody else of. This
Yo,
shit
Man,
is
put your
funny
I
to
got a
me.
seatbelts on,
hey Kwame,
y'all. This shit.
Kwame. I got a question for all the Spence fans though. If
What's up?
Bud can squeak out 50-50, Did he not do a remarkable
Oh
job
hell
on the
yeah,
Patriots?
Yeah, he
hell
did.
yeah, without a
Yep.
doubt, without a
Because
doubt,
if he does, bro, I gotta give him his props. Like you played just like
without a
well.
doubt. But one
Yep.
Because
thing
you
I can
don't
tell you about Earl Spence though is that he a real proud individual and he won't do it.
No,
and,
No,
and
no.
He's a real,
Let me hold
he's
on.
a
not
Let
at
me
real
say
all.
this. Let
proud
me hold on.
individual.
Let me
No, I'm
say this.
telling
Let me
you,
say.
he's even stated like, no, for real, just like even with like
No, man.
not, no, for real.
No,
Even
man. Come
no,
on.
the dude is a very proud individual. He's not gonna do it,
Man,
bro. He's not
Man,
gonna do it.
But
Crawford is
hey,
If
not
hey,
Thurman.
but
Crawford
honest,
is not
but check this
Thurman.
though, man. Like, I most of y'all already know. I had a conversation with Bud the other day. We
facts.
talked face to face, and man, after that conversation, bro, I'm like more confident than ever that the fight's gonna happen. Like real talk.
But yeah,
Tell
but
them, tell them again. I don't think they heard you in the back.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen, man. He not once. I mean, we spoke for a while, but not once did he mention like it's not gonna happen or I'm over it or, that's not something I'm looking for. Like he pretty much talked a lot about like what he gonna do during the fight and and how he gonna approach the fight and this that, and the third. So, I mean, I think it's all but done. But we're
it,
gonna see though, man.
Let
We
me
we
have a
thought that
question.
Pacquiao fight was all but done too.
Let me ask
okay,
y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question on the panel, though. Let's just be honest, because this is the negotiations is split. It's the biggest war with the fans. Like I've never seen a negotiation war like this in my life, being in boxing. So here's
I
my
wish
question
y'all
to
was on
y'all.
Sugar Ray ass like this about Aaron Pryor.
Right.
he didn't have the internet, man.
But
He
here's
didn't have
my
the internet
question.
back
Here's
in the
my
day.
question.
Man, this shit crazy.
Here's my question to y'all. Would y'all be okay with not knowing the split? I said this before.
I would.
Be
I
I'm
don't
classified
okay
care.
with that.
because so many people is so invested about what
I
these
don't,
guys are getting, and it shouldn't be like that.
I
It should
don't.
be
As
about the
long as
fight.
both sides are happy, I don't care.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm with
And
you.
you know what? If they were
I'm with
smart, because knowing this, because they listen to the fans, they should just keep the split anonymous, and nobody
you.
kind of
Yes.
truly knows what happened
I
in the
don't give a
split.
fuck about this. To be honest, I don't really give a fuck about the split. I want to see the fight. I don't. I just want to be petty as fuck
Hey
right
yo, I
now
Oh no,
know
for
this
sure.
though.
because
No,
Bro, yo,
loyal.
and this
I'm with you, man. Because I was in the trenches in this war, man, with you, man, fighting front line.
yo,
It's like
this
I took personal attacks. I took everything for
this is
this.
this is
So
the only
at
problem
the
I'm
end of the
gonna have
day,
with
man,
Aldo,
YSM,
Lamar.
YSM, this is the hill
King
I'm gonna
Petty
die on.
deserve all the
Hey,
personal
This
attacks he get,
this
man.
is the hill we're gonna die on. Is I pick Spence. I'm riding him to the end. Whatever happens, happens. But
yo, my only beef with Al Heyman would be if he makes this fight on the 19th, I'm gonna get pissed because those plane tickets anywhere close to Thanksgiving is gonna be high as shit. He better make it on the 12th, man.
Talk that
He
I
better
think
shit.
it's
make it on the
but
ain't no
12th.
YSM.
way
I
he making it
expect
on
a
no
$100
12.
pay per view. I think
Ain't no
so.
way.
I think it's gonna be
It
$100 pay
gotta
per
be
view
on
Pay
the
too.
per view.
12th.
Expect it. Expect a hundred
No,
dollar
no,
pay
Yeah,
I'm
per view.
talking about that if
Expect the
he
You
makes
seats to
it,
be
right,
a lot.
why?
if he makes the
It
fight
gotta
on the
be on the
19th,
12th.
plane tickets is gonna be crazy.
Y'all smoking it. I
They,
think
they
that's
don't
gonna be
get.
a
They don't
$100
care.
pay per view.
They don't care.
I think
They
so.
know
Man,
people. They know people are emotionally divesting in this
Yep,
fight. They're gonna
I
charge
think
him
man,
for
so.
petty. They
I
don't
Man,
think
man.
care.
so.
ain't no
I'm
way.
I'm,
there.
yo,
I said
I'm
it too.
I'm gonna send an angry letter to Ohio.
And you know what
Mr.
they're gonna
Heyman,
do? They're gonna
you
grab
fucked up
that paper and throw it in the trash.
Damn,
on
why?
the proper way.
Damn, why?
Hey, YSM, you gonna be mad, but I bet you're gonna pay for it, right?
Cool. Man,
Huh?
I love.
Man,
I'm the
hell
biggest
nah,
Al
that
Heyman
shit
fan
ain't
in the
going.
world. I ain't paying no $600 for no plane ticket. Fuck that.
Nah.
You
I know
better hop
you.
on the bus.
Like
YSM,
I
I know
said,
you too well. You gonna do it.
I get
Fuck
20% on
that.
pay per view, so it don't matter for me.
You
Shit, I
said
watch
20%.
both.
All right, I'm driving to
Yep.
Clown House then.
My cable
Man,
bill is
bull.
$90 after I choose to buy a pay per view. So hey,
Um, hey, Loyal, can we address something that
what's that?
a narrative that's popped up, and I think it's pretty clear cut. Let's step back from the fighters and let's look at the corners. Um, now I did not. I will be on record stating I was not able to watch. I watched the Virgil fight, but I wasn't able to watch the Bear Cobbs and Reese Hooker fight. I was able to watch. I
Yo,
was trying to, but it just wasn't. I didn't get to it. With that being said, I heard that Bomac's corner work was atrocious, and people are starting to say people are starting to say. I think it's becoming kind of clear now that who has the better corner in this. Does anybody would
I,
like to
um,
elaborate on that?
listen. I long since listen. This is something I said a long time ago. The
Here we
one of
go.
the biggest advantages that Errol Spence has in this fight is the corner. I
oh,
said it a
oh,
long time ago. is one of the biggest advantages that Errol Spence has in this fight is the corner. Because see, what happens a lot of time is you can become very lazy as a trainer when you have a special fighter like a Terrence Crawford, like a guy who has a very high boxing IQ, a guy who gets in there and figures shit out. Sometimes, like even for instance, and I'm not saying Roger Mayweather was a bad corner guy, but sometimes you have a fighter where all you got to do is say whoop his ass, Floyd, or do this or do that, or but when fighters are in a tight situation or a tough and uncomfortable situation, that's when you see how good the corner is. And I've
True.
seen Derek James give Jamel Charlo good advice when Jamel Charlo was losing against Harrison. The first fight I see, even against Castano fight, that was a draw. When he,
Hey,
because not all the time you have what makes boxers and trainer tandems really
Quan,
special.
I need to stop you. Did everybody see the corner? Did see him in the corner? I just need to know, did everybody see it?
See
Yes.
who?
See
Yeah, I
Bomac
seen
in the
it.
corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this and I'm gonna let Kwam go. Does anybody think he did a good job in that corner? Yes or no?
Hey, check this, y'all. Check this. Hey, when Bomac walked, when he was leaving the ring after the fight, those Mexican fans were yelling at him, "Great adjustments, bro, Mac." He walked right in front of him like, "Great adjustments."
Hey, listen. I'm gonna defend Bo Mac. I wasn't really paying too much attention to him. I was so entertained by the fight and surprised of what was going on. But who did Marcus Brown have in his corner?
He had Derek James in his corner.
Oh, I
Right?
would love to respond to
Hey,
that.
yo, Marcus, Marcus, if you weren't Marcus,
Let
listen
me
to me. If
finish.
Hold
you
on,
wasn't
hold
paying
on. Let him
He gonna bring
finish.
something up. Hold
please
on, you bringing
Let
something
him
up.
finish,
Let me
because I'm
finish. Let me
gonna
they
finish.
defend
about to
Let me
cook you.
finish.
Bomac
Let me
too.
Please don't,
finish.
please
Come
don't,
on, man.
Marcus.
Y'all taking
They gonna
long.
cook you.
Come on
Marcus,
now.
just stop. They gonna cook you. Stop it.
Hold on. Bo Mac also got Jermell Herring to come over there to his camp. Did he not?
He
Yes.
did.
Did he become a world champion?
Yes.
He did.
So I'm trying
Preach.
to understand. Y'all going off this one fight.
No, we're not going off one fight.
No.
That's not true
No, we're
because
not.
that's not true. What we need you to put, I need like Dave Dan says, I need you to breathe and just listen.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this ain't
What
the
we're
first
saying
time.
is first of all, we all know, and I love Jamel Herring as a person
Right.
before a boxer. He's a real good, cool, probably one of the most genuine boxers I ever met or spoke to.
That's my dog. That's my
Right.
guy.
However, we all know that boxing number one is about matchups for the most part, right?
Facts.
Okay. So Jamel Herring is a very hard worker in the gym, from what I heard, and everything that he has achieved in his boxing career, he deserves 1,000%. However, when a fighter, how I judge a corner is not when things are going good; it's when things aren't going good. And
Gotcha.
is the corner man? Is he calm? Is he
Mm-hmm.
not emotional and yelling at the fighter?
Articulate.
Is he able
Right.
to articulate a good strategy or plan during adversity? What from what I see from Bomac is I don't see that. I'm gonna give you a great example. See, because see what happens is when you have a special fighter, a lot of times deficiencies can be overlooked. Prime
Mm-hmm.
example.
That's
Prime
true.
example. Prime example. What did Bomac tell Terrence Crawford going into the 10th round against Sean Porter? Wait, he said you're down. You down, bud. You down. And he gave that man no instruction.
Wait,
He
wait,
gave the
wait,
man
wait,
no
wait,
instruction.
wait.
And
Kwame,
Bud went out
Kwame,
there, turned up, and got it done. And everyone goes, "Oh,
Kwame.
look at how
Can I?
Marcus,
special Bud is."
Marcus didn't watch it. So let me just give you a window into what Kwame's talking about. After he got knocked down in the first round with Blair, do you want to know what his instructions was? You gonna have to fight this dude. They're going into the second round.
When
Fight
he
this
get
dude.
close,
You
hit
gonna
him.
have to fight this dude. When you get close,
Mm,
hit him. So Marcus, you can't say
that's
Hold
horrible,
on,
man.
y'all.
I can't
Marcus,
defend
you
that.
Hold
can't
on,
say
hold on.
nothing.
I got it, big bro.
I can't
Come
All
on,
right,
defend
jump
that.
in, jump in, OTB, jump in.
now let me tell y'all this, man. Now, as a boxer and as a trainer, you understand, I think that he just lost an ability to relate. I don't know if it's okay to say that he can't teach boxing because he's people with lesser talent who have accomplished more with him than they have outside of him. Now,
Salute,
as far
coach.
as the instructions he gives, you understand? Maybe he just like I said, maybe he can't relate. Maybe right now he's motivational time of his career, a la Freddie Roach. You understand? Can't say Freddie Roach could never teach boxing. We just say that she is. Since we seen him, hell, we ain't never seen you teach a pure boxer. Now, in the comparison to him and Derek James, I can't say that I give Derek all of that much credit because I've seen Derek boxers outbox before. So let's not act like Derek don't have boxers and he ain't had performances where his boxer done got outboxed, a la a fight that his fighter won. You understand? But he was outboxed. When you knock Tony Harrison down in the second round, and by the ninth round, when you put him to bed, he's winning that fight.
True.
Your fighter was outboxed.
But that wasn't because of the coach, man.
OT, but see, this is the thing, though. It's not rather about whether the fighter is able to perform it. We're talking about coaches themselves. We're talking about, are you giving good game plans? Are you articulating good game plans? Even in the Brian Castano fight, the first fight with Jamel, Derek James was giving excellent fight advice, and you saw that going into the second fight because Jamel actually listened.
He gave him excellent fight advice when he was outboxed against Tony Harrison.
Yeah, but
that proves my point. So that's a fighter thing. That's not a corner coach thing, right?
Terrence Crawford took over that corner in that fight. We all saw it.
Yeah, he did, and this ain't the first time that we seen this happen.
Is it? Is it common for the trainer to not be with the fight?
In the corner? What'd you say?
Is it common for the trainer to not be with the fighter until like the night before the fight?
But I will say because
and I'm not
because we know how he dealt with Jamel Herring outside the ring. You feel me? Like shit, him kicking Jamel out his gym. You know what I mean? Maybe he just lost an ability to relate to these fighters.
What does that even mean?
Whoa. Let me say this real quick. I think what people sometimes don't know how to articulate this, but there's a difference between being a good teacher and a good motivator. Those are two completely different things. Now,
well, that's why I said he's just in a motivational stage.
Right now, but here's another thing. I respect everything you said, OTB. However, I'm gonna use Drico's word. That's subjective. That's your opinion. We don't know if that's what's going on, what stage or where he's at mentally in Bomac's head is at in this part of anyone's career. But what I will say is that if everything that you're saying is true, if your opinion is true, then what I'll say to that is that that's a very dangerous person to be with when you are risking your life in the ring. Because from what I've seen with all these fighters besides Terrence Bud Crawford, everyone has been getting knocked out, has been getting stopped or knocked out on Bomac's watch. Point blank, period.
Yeah, four dudes get stopped in 1 year. No cap.
In one year. And now
I'm giving facts.
And here's the thing. And now, like, to be quite honest, this Mo Hooker thing is really an embarrassment to Bomac. And I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, your fighter doesn't even make weight. He's 3 pounds off weight, right? If you're supposed to be working with this guy, these are all things that you guys should be on top of in the gym. Number two, after he don't make weight, this nigga gets trashed by Blair Cobb.
That's
man, he just
and I think that I'm starting to formulate the opinion.
Hold on. This is a former. This is Mo Hooker, Mighty Mo Hooker, a former world champion who's been in there with people who are levels above Blair Cobb, right? And now this guy has his career is basically done. His career is basically done now. Mo Hooker.
Kwame.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anywhere else, but like Blair is a turkey where I'm from, right? But at the same time, Maurice Hooker's never been good at boxing ever, and just because you win a world title does not make you good. Blair was head and shoulders better than him. And what do we always say about 140? 140 is like the college of boxing. Like, yeah, you
Mhm.
did good at 140, and then you get to 47. 9 times out of 10, them dudes ain't the same. Like, you got some special guys like Crawford been really good, but like he got cooked by Blair. Blair's
Yeah,
not bad, but Blair's not good. He got cooked.
man, you supposed to say because he's from Philly. That's what you supposed to be
But
saying.
that,
Yeah, I was
Bro,
waiting on
Blair.
that. Why?
but
Hey, I was
let's
waiting on that. Why?
of
Like,
of
man, boy, Blair
course,
from Philly.
He from
Yo,
Philly.
of
but
course,
at
of
the
course.
same time, Philly fighters, like a Philly B side or a Philly bum, can go other places and whoop somebody's ass.
Right.
Like it's a fighting city, but
Hmm.
it's still Blair though. That's why I didn't want to throw
Bro,
that Blair.
I was
Bro,
Blair
excited
Blair
for
sitting
took
Blair. I
over the
was
whole
excited
crowd,
for
bro.
him.
I was in the
Put the
arena,
food
man. Like
stamp on Blair.
when Blair was getting those knockdowns, like the whole crowd started going wild. Like it was crazy.
Yeah,
But
it was. He needed that. I think guys like, and Rolly. I can't wait to see a Rolly get a win because it's crazy, man. It's like they bring excitement, man. Shout out to Blair too, man. He left at my little Stone
For
Cold
sure.
meme I made for him, man. He was dying. He enjoyed it, but yeah, man, you guys like that, man. They
Boxing
bring
needs
in
Blair.
entertainment.
You're 100% right.
no,
Boxing needs
for
Blair to
sure,
be successful.
Facts. We
for sure,
definitely need Blair to
But
Flair and
I,
boxing.
I don't know if I think it was OT who brought this up, or was it somebody else who brought this up, bringing up Marcus Brown and Derek James. Even in
That was me.
losing, even in losing again, because again, we're not talking about what the fighters do. We're talking about what the
Biz
coaches
he
do.
posted this about 50 times. I'll go ahead and put it on the screen for you. Here you go,
But
Biz.
I was Derek James. There got okay. Let me okay.
Here you go, Biz.
Let me. I was just
I'm telling you,
talking
this
about
shit.
it too.
You know why he doing this, right? Because it's see, this is his default.
Wait,
I tried to talk him through this today. On Facebook, I tried to talk him through this. See, because we trashing Bomac, he's gonna say, but Derek James. This is what they
wait,
do. They don't say
but wait,
he can't
but
see because
Kwame,
it's gonna kill him to be like,
So
yeah,
are we,
Bomac really like fucked up. He's
but
like,
Kwame,
but what
are
about
we
when
equating losing to Artur Beterbiev to getting cooked by Blair Cobbs? Are
right?
we
Yeah.
No,
equating the two?
no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, you can't
You're right.
compare them.
You're right.
That's why
Are we
I
That's
ain't.
what
joking?
I'm.
Hey,
Are we
That's what I'm
comparing?
saying.
hey,
Hey,
that,
this is what I'm saying. But why Sam? Why Sam? This is what we're talking about.
Hey, that's
Check this
true.
out.
That's
Why?
true, man.
Listen,
That's
man.
true.
At the end of the day, Marcus Brown had a hell of a task ahead of him when it comes to orthopedic, arguably a pound for pound fighter
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
Amir Khan and Kell Brook. I mean,
He's the
they're
scare-
both were kind of shot.
He
So
might
what?
be
I
the
mean,
scariest nigga in boxing, bro.
He
But
like he
Kwame
just
said,
he
hey,
literally just said
motivator. But you got your
a
motivator,
knockout
and
win
you
Derek
know
before
what?
James,
the
over
fight.
here.
And check
You got a
this out.
motivator,
And check
man.
this
Come
check
on.
this out. Even in Marcus Brown losing, Derek James was still giving good advice.
Yo, I'm 100%
man,
sure
better be
that
was
Archer
beating
better
his
be killing
ass.
some niggas in Russia, bro. I'm
Huh?
willing to bet. I said I'm 100% sure Archer better be than kill some niggas in Russia. Like he gives you Russian hitman vibes. Blair
Yeah,
Cobb, come on, y'all.
That's what
Shit.
I'm
yeah.
saying. And
Yeah, I
look at
can't compare them two.
hey,
I can't.
listen.
If
Marcus Brown made a farther at Betcha BF than Joe Smith Jr. did. Come on.
Yeah, he
Man,
did.
I
He
bring
did.
up both of Jermell Charlo's arguable losses. You understand? Both of them before I bring up Marcus Brown.
Right,
But that
right.
was more so on
Just
Jamel though,
because
man.
of the
Jamel was
credibility.
getting great instructions. He just wasn't listening at all.
Exactly.
Ain't
Hey, listen.
nobody
right,
think Marcus Brown was gonna win that fight.
But in the
You could
second
have
fight, he
Jesus in the
just
corner.
got his ass whooped. In the second
Yeah,
fight, Tony Harrison outboxed him on the outside and the
how he
inside.
get his
The second
how he
fight,
get
First
his
one in the
Harrison
ass?
got
first
First of
round.
all,
stopped.
how he get his
Yeah.
ass when he dropped the nigga in the second round and gave that nigga a 50 piece with no biscuit in the fucking eighth round and put him to sleep? Come on now. You talking about he
Man, I
got his
don't know.
ass whooped?
So man,
Man,
I
that
think
was
we
a
beat
that
Shit,
was
I,
a trilogy.
go and look at
People
it.
wanted to
Go
see
and look at
people
it
man,
and
wanted
tell
to
me
see
Tony Harrison wasn't whooping his ass.
yes.
No,
Tell me
People wanted
Tony
to see
getting
Harrison
out
didn't fight
boxing.
his way all the
Listen,
way back into that
listen,
fight
y'all
to
be
be
a
winning
little
that
bit too
fight.
dramatic. Y'all be a little too dramatic. If like getting your ass, getting outboxed and getting your ass whipped is two different things. Tony Harrison was outboxing Jamel Charlo, but he was not whooping his ass.
Okay, I'm glad you
Let's
said that.
yeah,
get that.
that,
I'm glad. Listen, hold on. I'm glad you said that because you're the same person who said the shot with Sean Porter and Ugas was a knockdown when you know that wasn't no damn
That was a
knockdown.
goddamn knockdown. Do you want me to play that shit
I
right
mean,
now?
yes, we can play
And
it,
put
man,
up
but
a
that wasn't
full,
no
Man,
knockdown.
Kwame,
you
yeah,
know,
go. Man.
this shit
so,
right here. You can't say shit about nobody from motherfucking Ohio with this
I
dude
call
around,
him out.
boy.
I don't know why why you say that. I call my
Man,
guys
no,
out,
bro,
but
we
that wasn't no
coming.
knockdown. That
Hey,
wasn't
hey,
no
yo,
So
knockdown.
I listen.
yo.
So I think we can lay this to rest. Derrick James over Bomac, man,
Wait,
all
stop,
day.
stop, stop. Lennar.
Yeah.
Let's not lay it to rest. That nigga got cooked by Blair, bro. That needs to stay. That needs to stay for the
You,
forefront for
you
another
gonna
10 to 15
you gonna
minutes.
have to fight this motherfucker.
He said it
I
was the
enjoy, hey,
it
I
was
I
the
think
end
enjoyed
of the
it. I
first
I
don't
think
know.
he
round.
was.
Hey,
I,
listen, I don't care. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that fight, man. I enjoyed it. I was like, whoa. And I didn't have Blair winning that fight. I had
I
him
thought
I
lose
mean,
I knew
handily.
but
Blair was going. I knew Blair.
Man,
I
I
thought Blair
was
was going to stop
pissed,
him.
bro.
but I'm trying to tell
Man,
y'all,
I
bro.
kept
I'm trying to tell y'all
Maurice
what
Hooker
y'all
I
got
said
saying.
it from the
80-inch
beginning.
fucking
What
reach and don't
what
use none of it.
Bro,
None of it.
ask
We'll
Chris
see.
is on here right now. Ask Chris. I said that Blair was going to stop him.
Facts.
We'll see. And you know what? And let me say this real quick too. I think in my mind, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think when it comes to the combination of Bud and Bomac, I think it's a case of the fighter being more special than
Yep.
just having a good. Now with
It's
Derek James and EJ,
I can't
hold
blame
on. Let
that
me say this.
on
Hold on. OTB, hold
not
on.
Maurice
And I,
Hooker
and I
though,
think
yeah.
I think with DJ and EJ, I think with Derek and Earl, we'll see because the career is still playing out. But I think when it comes to Terrence and Bomac, I think it's Bud for sure, who's just a good talent. And
Derek's a
Man,
good
I
trainer
can't
with
say
his
not
style.
with Maurice Hooker because he got an 80-inch reach and he don't fight with it. Now,
so
I
whose
don't care
fault is
what
that?
trainer you like, man.
Either that,
Shit, you don't think
Whose
they
fault
tried
is
to
that?
get him to? He want to
it's
go
Robert Easter Jr.
in
I
there.
mean,
Yeah,
some
you
But
fighters
can't
just
make
don't
a
use it.
you
I
can't
mean,
make a fighter train. You can't make a
yeah.
fighter train though, yeah.
True,
And,
true.
Like you
and,
can't
and,
make him
and
go to the gym and get in shape. You can't make him love this shit. So
Nah, Goon, we not using Hooker as a measuring stick. We using let's articulate this again. When Jamel Herring was fighting Shakur Stevenson, no good advice.
whew,
When
man.
when Hooker was fighting Virgil Ortiz, he's yelling at this man in the corner, no good advice.
Amir Khan got stopped.
Amir Khan, the same shit, no good advice. Just listen.
Yeah.
I understand.
Rob
Look.
Rob
I
Brandt got
understand
stopped
if
by Marauder. Y'all forgot about that one?
Yep. So I
Damn,
all
man.
I'm all I
Shut
yeah,
up,
we ain't
all
forget
I
Rob.
about
all,
Rob
all,
Brandt. We ain't
all I'm
forget about
all I'm
Rob Brandt. He ain't have shit to tell Rob Brandt either.
all I'm saying is we just have to call a spade a spade. Look, we not look. Bomac is a Hall of Fame. He's gonna go down in the Hall of Fame as a great trainer and deservedly so. But we could all sit up here and criticize the dude, but he's in the top 1% of what he does. So I,
Facts.
True.
I could call shit down the middle. Even if if I'm not too crazy about someone, I could get in their credit where it's due, where where it's due at. You know.
And I,
However,
mhm.
however, what I will say is
What you
this
say?
here.
Can you say that
Most
again,
people,
Kwame? I couldn't hear you. My
most
speaker went out.
people is this. Yeah, most people. What I'm gonna say is this: most people, most people, and Martin Luther King said this as well. Is that you see
Oh
the
shit.
measure of a man? You see the measure of a man's character when things are bad, not when they're good. Not
Right.
when they're good. When things are difficult, that's when you see. And when things get difficult for Bomac, he gets he gets emotional in the. I mean, the film is there. It's not
Did you just
me.
quote Martin
Hey,
Luther King?
I sure
But
did. He gets
lawyer,
emotional. He gets emotional in the corner. He start cussing people out. Yeah, Bibbs. Yes, he is. Yeah, he is a great trainer. And the reason why I'm gonna tell you why he's a great trainer, right? Because he has Terrence Crawford.
yes.
Because he's known for Terrence Crawford.
Hey
Because
yo,
It's the
wait.
Reynoso Canelo effect.
if
What
we
So,
judged him,
so
hold on a
I just
second. If we
reminded
judged
Hold
everybody
on,
him,
that
hold
he
on.
made
hold on a
Stephen L.
second. If
OT,
we
OT, hold
judge,
on.
hold on. If we judge, now let's because there are facts we can have here. If we judged him off of his other fighters besides Terrence Crawford, would he be a Hall of Fame trainer?
yo,
Absolutely not.
stop saying great, right? He's good, but great fucking Nacho Beristain is great.
That's
Uh
true. I'll give you
fucking Emmanuel Stewart is great.
great. Don't see. You're right. You're right.
Georgie Benton is great.
Customato.
Custamato is
Got it.
great. Like
Correct. Correct.
Emmanuel
Correct.
Angelo
Stewart.
Correct.
Dundee is great. Like he's
Correct.
good.
Well, I can
Right.
tell y'all this. I tell y'all this. If after this Earl fight and he knocked
Celine
Earl's
Richardson.
mouthpiece out about 6 times, He gonna be probably go down as one of the best trainers of all time.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Talk that shit. Tell him again, bro. Say that shit again. Hold on, Kwame.
After Bud
Hold on, bro.
see
I couldn't
three
hear
Earls
what he
to ring
said.
because he looking like Debo and Kevin Farmer. After he crack his shit up like that, his eye sockets is rearranged. Then we'll call Derrick James a great.
They said
because
Derrick James
check this out.
Man.
Check this out.
Derrick was
People
coming to the ring with
people
shit.
You
love
better
to
hope
say,
them dentures don't come
Terrence,
out. That's what you better hope.
people, hey, OT, people love to say, "Oh, Terrence got the higher brain IQ," which we don't even know if that's
Stop,
true.
I
But let's
dropped
say he does.
$100.
Let's say he does. At the end of the day, I'm not even worried when Earl Spence got Derrick James in the corner. I'm not worried. Listen. I've seen Derrick James show up in big moments all the time. I've always seen him. He's like Tom Brady.
Man,
he shows
y'all
up.
keep on,
He
man.
shows
Stop
up.
with this shit.
He's like Tom
the same
Brady.
problem,
In
and
the clutch-
Jamel
in
done
the
had the
clutch
same problem,
Okay,
and they
okay,
neither one
fine.
of them
OT.
fixed.
Name a
Hey.
time Derrick
He
James didn't
fixed
show up
their
in the clutch.
problem with pressure.
And both of
OT,
them,
Come on, man.
OT,
That's
name
what
a
y'all took.
time.
Wait. But you say EJ
man,
and Jamel don't have the same problem, but yet between 47 and 54, they got 7 of the 8 belts.
Exactly.
I'm
And
not
hold on.
I'm not taking nothing from them. I'm saying
No,
that
he's
they
talking.
have the
He's
same
talking about
problem.
the same
So
flaw in the style.
as a trainer, bro, as a trainer, they've had this problem throughout their career. It's yet to be fixed. What did you do to fix it? Hold on. What did you do to fix it?
No,
You
what's
had
the
them
problem?
increase their pressure. They don't get their fucking head off the line.
Because
problem? I want to know what the problem
They
is.
on the
he
line
only
too
can
long.
teach
Both
one
of them.
style, though. That's his style. That's the style that he's good at. He's not like a trainer that's
I get that. I
water.
give the credit where it's due.
Yeah.
But
No, well,
that's not great.
I understand what you're
training
saying.
either.
I'm saying he can't make alterations because that's the style that works for him. Like
Right.
he's not a trainer
And
that,
as much
that can teach multiple styles. He's not that kind of trainer.
But listen,
I got you, Wazzer. I got you, bro. Like, and I respect. Don't ever think I'm taking nothing from Derrick James. When
No,
I say
I'm
that,
telling
I'm
you,
just
I see
putting this
the same
in the
flaw in the
context.
style. That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
see the same flaw in the style, but it's not going to change because that's the style that he teaches.
Well,
And that's the one that works.
One thing I don't want them to do in this fight, Derrick James should not be allowed to have 6 or 7 mouthpieces because I know they're gonna try to throw it to the referee. As soon as he get hit, he gonna toss one to the referee and try to. No, we ain't doing that, bro. He need one mouthpiece.
What are you
talking
about?
You know that rep, the rep that
Now we want that shit in the contract.
I'm clowning, man.
I know
He's just fucking with y'all, man.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm saying, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
No, I'm just talking, man. I can't wait for this fight, man. We need it as fans, to be honest. And then it's gonna still be a war after it, man. It ain't gonna be dead. People think the war gonna be over. It's not. It's really.
Oh, it's gonna be over because I'm gonna tell you it's gonna be over because after Earl Spence beat Terrence Crawford, he gonna retire. He gonna change Terrence Crawford.
Oh, that's another thing. I already said that. Loyal.
Shit like
that's
what
another
you gonna
thing.
do when I beat your ass and it ain't nothing you can do about it.
So what?
Sounds good.
At the end of the day, I tell you this: if Earl Spence beats Terrence Crawford, if it's convincing, I think Bud's gonna retire.
He's gonna retire.
I think now if Bud
not when 3 division is right there. It's right there in one person's hands, y'all.
Wait a minute. So
y'all
what?
focusing on the wrong shit.
You
$25
ain't
to $30
keeping me
million
out of
is right there. $25 to $30 million is right there, bro. You know what your wife would do, or your girlfriend would do if she knew you passed up 25 to 30 ball?
Yeah, but he might not physically be able to do that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, crazy as hell.
Kwame, your chick gonna look you dead in the eye with the Smoky Mom voice. You better find a way. You better make it enough.
I don't know.
There'll be more money.
I just don't know if Buzz frame could hold up to that type of beating. That's just me. He's a naturally smaller dude. You see Ugas, I think like a month ago, Ugas, they said his eyes still not fully healed, and he said his body felt like he was in a car accident. So
Stick with that shit. I ain't hearing
Y'all can sit up there. Y'all just can sit up there. So
You can
y'all
sit
just can
there and
sit up.
watch
Y'all just
their
can sit up
goddamn
there.
right hand EJ
Y'all
hitting
just can
with.
sit up there and say what y'all want,
He
but y'all
watched
wouldn't in the
all
ring
them
taking that type
motherfuckers.
of beating.
Hey,
It's
yo,
gonna be a rematch, man. Bud gonna give him a rematch. You know,
Kwame,
that's what it's gonna be, man. So
you a
gonna
fan?
watch
Yeah,
the
we
fight.
gonna let him run it back once we goddamn it get them straps. We gonna let him run them back. Don't worry.
Hey, yo, you keep talking about the pressure. The goal is to not be there when the pressure comes. Like, don't be available. Ugas are standing right there.
True.
That's
Right
all
in
Is
we
front
need
of
to
the
Bud?
know.
But hold on.
motherfucker.
Does Bud not like to trade?
He does. I said
That's
that's
the
the.
problem.
I said
That's
the
the
goal
problem.
is to not.
Wait a
That's the
I
minute.
said the
Hold
problem.
goal
on. Wait a
Hey,
minute.
gotta
That's
but
the
not be
problem
Lenore,
right
available.
there.
Wait
That's
a
the
minute.
problem.
He didn't do.
but
He didn't. Bud
Lenore,
said he likes to trade,
Bud
but
done
he
stopped
showed
his
discipline
last
in that
10
Sean
people
Porter.
he traded with.
Man, man,
He
you
showed.
know something? I love these comments right here because it
He
shows me how
showed.
delusional Terrence Crawford fans are. If y'all gonna judge, I really swear and pray to God that Terrence Crawford is as loony as y'all niggas is, and is gonna prepare for Errol Spence the way that they, based off of what he saw Mikey and
Ain't
how he fought
nobody hearing
Danny
that
when he came
shit.
off
You
a,
better tell him to
when
talk
he
your head
came off
off the line.
a accident that almost took his life. You gonna judge him off of that fight? I hope so.
Honestly,
I hope
honestly,
so.
if Bud is smart, right, he's going to use a lot of movement and
He
go
has
to
Nah, cause
Earl's
just the first
body.
4 rounds when
You have
Ugas
to,
was catching
you
his
have
ass.
to go to his body. You have to slow him down. If you don't slow him down, you're as good as dead.
But here's my thing too. You can play the mind role too, mind trick, thinking you about to move. See, Earl might anticipate to think that Crawford is going to move. He's not going to fight. You know, he wants that. That's what he's telling people. Marvin Hagler and Hearn fight. He wants that fight. So you can give it to him and then mix it up. I go to him first. I wouldn't even box first. I would go right to him
You think
and
you gonna
surprise him.
step to him in a well, yeah, you can gain his respect early. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Absolutely,
Stepping to him in the
absolutely.
first
Yeah,
round.
but he don't have that. But let's be honest. Every time Terrence Crawford is fought a guy who's been his size or has reach like his, that's not how he fights. He fights. When he fought Victor Postal, he ain't fight him like that. When he fought Jose Benavidez, he didn't fight him like that.
Like
And
I
there's a
what?
go
reason. And
Victor had a jab though. You
there's
have
a
to
reason.
watch the
So you think Victor Postal jab is better than Earl's? There's
no
a
Vic,
reason why he don't fight guys. I'm gonna tell you why he don't fight guys
Well,
like that
Victor Postal
aggressively.
was putting shit to bed too.
Because
Let's remember
the reason
Victor
the reason
Postal ran Danny Garcia ass up out of 140.
the reason why I'm gonna just say this, the
Vic,
reason he don't fight guys aggressively like that is because he know about his own chin. He's not trying to get into a firefight.
and
If you guys really watch Terrence Crawford, no,
you
I'm
think
just
that
being
and
honest.
he done
If you
stopped his
guys
last 10
really,
people?
if you guys really
He's
watch
better
Terrence
off when
Crawford's
they get in
style,
them fights.
if if you guys really watch Terrence Crawford's style, for the most part, what he tries to do is he tries to get that distance and that range with that long ass reach he has first, and he tries to get you to run into stuff when you come forward. One of his favorite punches is out of that southpaw stance is that check right hook while you coming forward and he's backing up.
yeah, it's
But
a
but
hybrid hook, like a hook
right.
slash uppercut.
Yeah.
Yep. When Terrence Crawford, see, it, my
So you
point
just
exactly
said he like to run you in and
when
shit,
he
and then we
when he
know that
fought
EJ got a pressure.
when he listen
Man, make this shit make sense.
when he fought Sean Porter, there was a reason that man only threw 20. He only landed 20 punches in 5 rounds, according to CompuBox. Because if you keep an active jab, if you keep an active jab on him, he does he does not. He's very economical with his punches. Anytime you get up close to that man, he's gonna try to grapple you. He's gonna try to hold you, and he's not gonna
Exactly.
try to fight you. So all I'm saying is, if Terrence Crawford stepped to EJ, that's the shit. That's the shit EJ like. He wants to be in a fight, and I'm gonna tell you this other thing too. Salute to Miss Coach too. I see you in the building. Um, I'm gonna tell you another thing too. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence don't have the same type of durability either. And
Yep.
I'm trying to tell you guys this, that fight is gonna come down to durability, because both of these guys, like, these are two guys who came out the womb who are naturally good at
Salute,
fighting,
Queen.
and they like to fight. They love to fight. And we all know that no matter what you say with the discipline, Terrence Crawford could be the best at switching. He can be the best at all of this and that. But there's one thing we know about Terrence Crawford. If you hit Terrence Crawford, he's gonna fight you.
You're
And
right.
the type of style that Errol Spence has, you can say what you want to say. You can say what you want. Errol Spence is never in a boring fight because he's going to be a very active fighter. He's going to be active, which is going to force Terrence Crawford to have to open up the
So you
fight.
think he gonna
And
have
they're
the
gonna
same
fight.
pressure with Bud that he have in the rest
He's
of
gonna
his
have
fights?
well.
You think he
This
gonna
what
have
I'm
the same pressure
yeah,
that
yeah.
he used to have?
This what I'm gonna say to you to
Man,
answer your
come
own.
on.
This what no. This is what I'm gonna say to you to answer your own question for you. Aren't you the same guys who say that Errol Spence is one dimensional, only fights one way? So what makes you think it's gonna be any different this time against Bud?
Hey, Kwame,
Exactly.
I need to ask
He's
you,
gonna
what
change.
about
He's
the
gonna give him
mental
different look.
lapses, though, Kwame?
What's that?
What
I'm
about the
telling you
mental lapses?
now, he is not
Oh, he
about to
got him.
go in there with the same level of pressure that you fight in every other
No.
fight. No, you have to
No.
respect the
Hey,
fighter
Kwame,
across.
How do you know that? How do you
No,
know
you're
that,
not.
OGB?
Kwame,
No, you're
I
not.
need you to answer that. What about the
what
mental?
about
It'll be a quick night. It'll be a quick $100. Y'all
And
remember
you know what
paying
I'm
for them
talking
Tyson
about.
knockouts?
no?
Man,
You
that
know
shit
what I'm
be
talking
over with
about.
in the second round.
When it
Man, that
comes to his
shit.
mouth, when it comes to his mouth, he drops the mouthpiece and he looks for it. It wasn't just in the Ugas; it was in the
Yeah, it was
Danny
in the
Garcia
Danny
fight.
fight too.
Danny fight too.
I,
And I'm talking about what
It's
about that
because he
mental
got them
lapse?
dentures.
yep, I believe that's why. It's exactly why. I think it's because of the dentures too.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
but
it's
what I'm
them
saying
dentures.
is
That
he
shit
goes
mental.
down and he looks for it. What happens if he does that in this fight?
well, he gonna
and
have
can
a
I
big
say
fucking
something?
problem. He gonna have
It's
a
gonna be
big
a
ass
big
problem.
problem.
But I also believe that Errol Spence is one thing that a lot of people don't give him credit for. He's also a very intelligent fighter, and it's been brought to this is something that has been also brought to his attention. So I think I would hope, unless he's just a stark raving dummy, that he's gonna,
YMS.
if it happens, he said first of all he's gonna fix his mouthpiece because it's not even molded to his mouth, and secondly, I believe if it happens, I think he's gonna know better because when the guy called him out on that in a post conference, he said, "Yeah, you're right," and he laughed about it. Yeah, you're right. It is true. He
Here's
can't
my
do that
And
against
let me
Bud.
and let me and let me and let me say this: like once and twice, that could be a coincidence. So I'm not gonna go into this fight thinking that it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna
It's
bet.
no.
two
Oh,
My
back-to-back fights since the accident.
Once
And
or
yeah.
twice
I
ain't
ain't
something
that.
that you
and no,
should
I said
worry
I know.
about.
I said hold on. I said twice could be a coincidence. I'm saying I'm not gonna go into this fight expecting the mouthpiece to come out of Earl looking for it. I'm not gonna bet on that.
Yeah.
That's
look
not
up.
what I'll bet on.
Here's my thing
Man,
about it,
Bruh.
I'm
man.
betting on that shit in the
Yeah.
casino.
Okay, bet on it.
I'm
Bet
betting
on it.
on that
Hey,
shit.
Here's
yo,
my
I'm gonna
thing.
bet.
Here's my thing.
I'm
Here's my
I
thing.
don't
If
Here's my
know.
they
thing
got the
about the
teeth up
mouthpiece.
there, I'm
Hey,
betting on the
Marcus, go
teeth
ahead.
too.
Go ahead,
Here's
Marcus.
my thing about the mouthpiece, and I said this because I made a clip about the mouthpiece too a couple months back. But I really think mentally, because he had the dentures, he got his
No,
teeth.
it's a hot zombie.
I think he thought his teeth was in that fucking mouthpiece, and I'm not being funny.
Ooh, that's good.
Mentally,
That could be
guys,
that could be
told
pay
true.
y'all that.
attention. Mentally, he really thought that's the only thing that I can think of for him to take his attention off a fighter like that. Is
Bro,
thinking
he
his
stopped
teeth is
like
in
he
the
dropped
mouthpiece.
$100 in the club. We
Yeah.
know he thought his teeth was down there.
Yeah,
Like he
And
So-
literally stopped.
yeah.
that is
And oh,
really
Man told you,
that's
man.
big to not to overlook, guys. And I'm glad YSM said that, because that's very, very key in this fight. If that,
oh
because
my.
he's not getting hit. Earl can take shots. I'm just being honest. He can take shots. Those are not hard shots he's getting hit with, and the mouthpiece just flying like Lucas Matisse did Danny. Come on, man. Them shots ain't that darn hard.
No, and it wasn't even a hard shot to knock the mouthpiece out. But as
That's
Errol
what I'm
said,
saying.
as well, though, his mouthpiece, he doesn't have a mouthpiece that's molded to his teeth. He
Okay.
has a loose mouthpiece. So when
Hey.
he took that side to the shot of his mouth and it came out his mouth, it's because it wasn't like a big, like you said. I seen
Yeah.
the shot Lucas Matisse hit DSG with when that shit flew out, and the shot that
Yeah.
Ugas hit him with. It wasn't even like a super flush punch. It almost looked
It was
like
a slapping
Ugas.
punch.
Yeah, it was
Hey,
like
yo.
Ugas hit him more with his wrist on his
But
chin.
Kwame, I'm not talking about the mouthpiece coming out. I'm talking about him looking
The
back.
lapse, the
Right.
mental
The
lapse.
mental
Yeah,
lapse.
Yeah.
And Leonard loves that man so much that Leonard
Oh, here
won't
we go.
admit. Yo, you won't even say if
And
you
let
do
me
it.
Oh, here we
If
go.
you do it
No,
in
hold
two
on. Let me get
back-to-back
into it.
fights
Why I
after
said hold
the
on.
accident,
Go ahead.
that's a pattern of behavior.
And YSM, I'm not. Listen, YSM, what did I say? I'm not saying that is not something that needs to be corrected.
Everybody
All
else
I said is
saying
I'm not
that's
going to
a
bet
bad.
going into the Terrence Crawford fight, especially the biggest fight of his life, that I'm
You
going to bet
better
on that. That's all I said.
You better expect. Ugas was the biggest
Now,
fight.
I tell you this, YSM, I would bet on Terrence Crawford sitting down and fighting. What about that?
I
would bet on
both
that.
I bet on both of them.
No, I don't.
And I'll
How
say
much?
this.
Okay, YSM, how much money do you want to bet that Errol
Bro,
Spence gets his mouthpiece knocked out? He won't.
I didn't say
I bet
his
on.
mouthpiece to get knocked out. I said he looked down and have a mental lapse. That's
No,
what I said.
no.
That's what I said,
again.
Hey, Leonard, first off, my name is. You keep saying YSM. My name is Jamil, Leonard. Okay.
Okay. Well, my bad. Go ahead, Jamil.
Yeah. I'm talking about the mental lapse of him looking down. It's not about the mouthpiece coming out per se. I feel like he has mental lapses in fights. Him looking for it, he knows that's a rookie mistake. And I'm saying, what about the mental lapses? And you said I'm not gonna think just because it's been 2 fights, but I'm like, it's been back-to-back fights coming off the car crash where we know his teeth were affected. So in every fight since his teeth were affected, the mouthpieces come out and he's looked for it. So why shouldn't I think that could possibly be an issue in this fight?
I agree
okay,
with you.
in response to you, Jamil, what I said is I'm not
Don't
gonna
say my name like that.
Huh?
Don't say my name like that. You being smart. Don't say my name like
okay, that. Well, I can't even say your name anymore. I'm sorry. Okay, he who shall not be named. Listen, all I'm saying is this. I'm not gonna bet on if the mouthpiece gets knocked out and he looks down and has a mental lapse. I'm not gonna bet on that to happen. I'm not gonna bet on him having a mental lapse at all. Just because something happens twice could be a coincidence. I'm not making excuses. I'm not making excuses for him. I know it's a rookie mistake, but all I'm saying is I'm not gonna bet on that going in. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
No,
hey,
no, it doesn't.
Hey, Graylin Jones. Let's see if
so. The
Spence
coincidence. Why I said
hold
the
on
coincidence
one
happened.
We
second.
gotta be
Graylin Jones.
realistic.
Hold on, Graylin Jones. Let's see if Spence hits Bud like Gamboa. Let's see what happened then. Let's see what happened then. Let's see if the stinky leg turn, because we know your man Bud, when he get hit, you know his body do different shit than he want to do. So let's see if his knee don't buckle, if he gets some stinky leg against Spence, he don't get pummeled on.
You know what it reminded me of? No cap. Remember when
Yeah,
Zab got up? Remember when Zab got up from Costa Zoo?
Yeah, Costa Zoo.
Man, it wasn't.
It was like never play with Matthew.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that
the
bad,
only
but that's how his
problem
body moves.
with that is
That's how his body moves. Though.
You can
And I'm gonna tell you something, Jamil. There's a very telling thing about Terrence Crawford when he got hurt by Gamboa. When he was hurt and he was visibly hurt and his knee buckled, he immediately switched into southpaw. That told me a lot about him.
Oh no, he's not an orthodox fighter.
That told me a lot about him.
Tell you when he finished his ass.
Hey, I got a question for the panel.
Oh
shit!
Go ahead.
Chris.
I got a question for the panel. But this is from somebody that I debated the other day. Is Terrence Crawford win over Gamboa a bigger achievement than Earl going over
Hell no.
to England? I mean, the UK and beating Kell Brook?
Hell no. And
No.
the reason I say no. I'm gonna just give my reason for why I say no. The reason I say no is because at the time that he fought Gamboa, 50 Cent and Mayweather, that's when they first started their beef. They were supposed to. Floyd got out of jail, supposed to do the TNT thing together. It fell apart. 50 Cent did his own promotional thing, and he had Gamboa signed to him, and he couldn't find a fight for Gamboa, and they found Terrence Crawford, and Gamboa moved up in weight and sat on the shelf for like 14 or 15 months. Like 14 or 15 months. He sat, so he moved up and came off a long layoff. Now with Kell Brook,
take your time.
Errol Spence had to go all the way over. Errol Spence had to go all the way over to the UK and fight in front of 30,000 of his fans. And he was down with half of the fight left to go and made the guy quit. See, because if there's a good chance that if he didn't stop that man, he probably would not have won on the scorecards, being that he was over there.
Kwame,
you know, it may.
Kwame,
I can't call a close fight a robbery because it was It was close, but he took over. So I would have to give the edge to Errol Spence in that one.
Kwame, can I ask you a real question? A
What's
question
up?
real quick while you going. Was Gamboa up in round 5 against Terrence Crawford?
It's very possible. I can't remember if he was
Okay.
up, but I know he was doing well.
Okay.
I know he was doing well.
Go
But
ahead.
I know,
Hey,
Y'all
but
can
I
go ahead
also
next. Take
here's the
care of
thing.
this. Go
But
ahead.
I also know when they did the face-off, Gamboa was staring at Terrence Crawford's chin. I also know that. So when you and then I also know when Terrence Crawford rehydrated, he came into a fight, a 135 fight, close to 160 pounds. I also know that too.
why
So
is man, that why I said, I mean,
And
Kwame, man,
what
you got
Errol
me over here,
Spence fight are we
Kwame,
comparing it to?
Kwame,
uh-huh.
Kwame, you,
Kell Brooks win. Kell Brook,
Ohioans
Earl Spence,
boxing.
Earl Spence, Earl Spence win over Kell Brook, and Terrence Crawford win over Gamboa. Which one is better? And this was a debate match.
Oh shit! I'm not trying. The only reason I'm laughing, y'all, is because what Loyal said has me really laughing over here when you said
I
what.
said he was staring at his chin.
No, when you
Physically,
said when you said Gamboa clocked Terrence and he switched to lefty. You know what that reminded me of? You know when you get your ass whooped and you have to
Yeah,
revert back to
and
what you
you gotta
you
go
have to
back.
revert
That's it.
back.
That told me everything I needed to know. I said this thing is not really orthodox because when you
No,
get in
no, but
trouble,
like no,
when
no, no,
when,
no.
when you
But
get hurt, you go towards
loyal,
your
but
best.
no. This is why it's so funny though. It's like when you getting your ass whooped, so you have to revert back to what you know, or
Uh,
somebody's getting their ass whooped. You see they revert back to what they know to survive, or at least win the fight the best they can. That's what that reminded me of when you said that. When he got clocked and he switched to
mm,
left, like it's the
it's
same thing.
crazy.
It's a good question though, man.
so
It's a
what it
good.
reminded y'all of when he finished his head.
He was a great fighter.
True.
So let me touch on that. I think I don't like making those comparisons where who's better, the Gamboa and the Kell Brook. I think they both was good accomplishments. But I think Gamboa at that time was already a 3 division champion. I'm gonna look at it from the accomplishments perspective. He was a 3 division champion. He was undefeated, and even though he was sitting out for a minute, Gamboa was still, like I said, he was actually that. A lot of people had that a 50-50 fight. They didn't
Nigga
have
looked
it.
like he was fighting someone from Gilligan's Island. The plane, the plane. Look
But
how
look,
small this nigga Gamboa is.
Exactly.
hold
And
on, but you got
he'll
to think
have a
about it.
big physical advantage, but that don't
And here,
discredit Gamboa's
but here's
accomplishments
right, and here's the
versus
thing
Kell
too.
Brook coming off a loss.
Crawford wasn't a known name at that time. He wasn't just the guy everybody was just picking. When you go back and look at a lot of videos and predictions, they was picking Gamboa. A lot of people was picking Gamboa, but let me keep on speeding up and touch on this. Kell Brook was a good win for Earl Spence too. But when you look at what he had to go through going to the UK and stuff like that, yeah, that was a very, very good win on his career too. I just think Kell Brook, and I'm not going to hold the same thing with Gamboa, but just Kell Brook at that time he won one fight against Sean Porter, and it was a holding match. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not downplaying him. He beat Kell Brook. He was coming off, but Kell Brook is what the Buster Douglas of the welterweight division. He got one win. Um, so when it comes to the accomplishments, I would probably edge Crawford. When it comes to that, when it's the compliments, but I like both of their fights because they both accomplished something. So I don't like to even have those type of debates because it
Shit,
really.
nigga, I'm
Well, but
petty.
but
I'm
you just said
petty.
you
I
don't want
do.
you just said you don't like to have the debates, but I'm not sure who brought it up. But you brought it up, but I have to say something too. Well,
What?
I'm
Go,
not
go.
talking about who was more
That's a
accomplished
good debate,
and
though.
I'm saying I'm not saying who's more accomplished, who deserves that more accomplishment. Yeah, Gumbo is more accomplished than Kell Brook is, but
Yeah.
I'm taking
But
it from
that'll
the
have to be
angle of
considered
hold
in a
on, OT,
debate,
hold on.
Lenore.
I'm taking it from the angle of adversity when they both have to step up. The only adversity that Bud was going through is I think he was an underdog. I think if I was correct, and that he was a no name going into that fight. But Earl
And he was down.
and
Y'all
he
y'all
and
always talk
okay
about Robert.
and
Come on
I'm
now.
saying what I'm
Come
saying with
on.
Earl, he was going in a star in boxing in Kell Brook, going to his home country and was down the first half of that fight again, and he was facing a man who was just as big, if not bigger than him, who already fought at 154 and 160. So
UK.
that's my point.
We don't
That's my
give
point.
UK fighters. I get you. We don't give UK fighters that much.
Who went through more adversity that fight night and who had their star of fame? It was Earl Spence. Not
So do you think that Terrence Crawford, if he fought Kell Brook, Terrence Crawford lose to
No,
Kell Brook?
I think no, I don't think so. I think that he puts up a tremendous fight. I think Crawford would get him towards the end,
Yeah, yeah.
but but again, but they didn't fight. We're talking about Kell
No,
Brook
I got
when
you. I
Earl.
got you. You're right.
Okay, yeah, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about who's the better winner of accomplishments. I'm talking about who had more adversity.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially, what's so interesting about those fights too is those were when both stars were born. When Terrence Crawford really
Yep.
beat Gamboa, he got put on the map. When Earl beat Kell Brook, he really got put on the map. So all I'm
Was
saying is, but who went through more adversity during that whole fight? It was Earl.
wasn't Earl that favorite going into that fight though?
He was a favorite, yes.
Yeah, he was a favorite. I think he was a heavy favorite. A lot of people thought he was just gonna walk through Kell Brook, to be honest. I mean, we don't respect the UK fighters as much. They got some good fighters, but a lot of us didn't think it was gonna be as competitive.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
at
The
that
best
time though,
fight,
those
man. The
welterweights
best,
were in no hurry to fight Kell Brook though.
man. The best fighter I can think of that came from the UK is
and
Lennox
Kell
Lewis.
and listen, and Kell Brook wasn't in a hurry to fight anybody after he got that belt and defended it for 3 times.
Yep. He went and
Come
fought
on
a
now,
bunch of nobodies
come
over there
on
in the
now,
UK.
come on.
Uh,
And his resume is just trash. He
It
fought this
is.
guy that had over 80 losses, and he fought him 3 times. 3 times. Like, come on, man.
His only good win, A class win, is Sean Porter.
And that was an ugly win. He won. I give him. I'm not even turning that down. He won. He beat Sean 1-2 clinching. But if with Sean Broner tried to do the same thing and they took a point away, you can change the outcome of fight when the referee start taking those points away. If I think the fight would have been totally different if those points would have been taken away. That's just my
But,
opinion.
uh,
Not no hating or anything like
nah,
that.
but see, so basically, you're saying that Kell Brook had to hold on to for dear life to be able to
He
beat
was
Sean.
he was
No,
hitting
he
him
was
with one
much bigger,
twos.
man. He was
He was
grabbing him a
hitting him with
lot.
1-2s. He was hitting him with 1-2s, but they was making they was slow dancing. Come on
No,
now,
for sure. No,
come
for
on.
sure. I'm saying so.
Like, let's
Basically,
be real. Let's be real. That
Kell
wasn't
Brook
an
had to hold on to Sean Porter in
Kell
order to
Brook
beat
doesn't.
him. Hold on for dear life.
He had an ugly win. It was not impressive. We don't even go back and watch it. Let's just keep it real. We don't go back and
Okay.
watch that fight.
No, for
Like, that's
sure.
not a
For
fight
sure.
we go
No, for
back and
sure.
say, oh, let's watch Kell Brook and Sean. That was an ugly fight. He won, but I call him the Buster Douglas of the welterweight division. Which
Yeah.
why I say Sean Porter is the best win on Crawford and Earl Spence because of what Porter accomplished after his loss.
But this is my thing with Kell Brook, and this is what angers me with him. I don't know. I guess I don't know who coached him up in the amateurs, but the thing about Kell Brook, he has a very good defense. Not defense, but he has a very good
One,
his
two.
what's the word for it? He has very his level one is very good, but
Mm-hmm.
once you get past level one, it's like he falls apart. I mean, he has. I mean, when you look at Kell Brook, because I studied Kell Brook, he has a good jab, a good 1-2, and sometimes he throws in a sneaky uppercut, and that's really all he has.
Okay.
And good timing,
yeah,
But
he got a little sneaky
once
uppercut
you
too. Yeah.
peel him back, he's like soft on the inside, and he just falls apart.
Yeah, and then I'm not trying to say he's a weak welterweight. He just like I said, he had his moment. He beat Shine, but that was pretty much it. I mean, with Kell Brook, he had a good fight with Triple G.
Let's also
You know?
remember Kell Brook was the boogeyman for a long time too. Wasn't
Yeah,
nobody trying to see
that's what they
Kell
said.
Brook.
No, that's what he just said. That's
True.
what he said. He said, but as soon as Kell Brook got the
Yeah.
belt, he wasn't trying to see nobody. It was like, come on, he fighting JoJo Dan and like, come on, man, like.
These UK fans saying that, oh, if Kell Brook never fought Triple G, he beat everybody. That's not true.
No, no,
Kell Brook was what he was, and he's just a limited fighter. He was good at what he did, but he was limited. I mean,
mm-hmm.
I don't see. I'm sorry, no. People say that Kell Brook was.
Do y'all think
I'm
his
through
career
comment
is
section.
different if he don't fight Triple G?
No, his career.
No.
He still would
No,
have got beat. I
not at
think
Nope.
all.
he doesn't. He's
Nope.
still. I think that he might get a win over Danny Garcia. Maybe. I
I'm
think that he will get a win over Danny, but I
gonna
don't
tell
think
you
he beat.
this.
I don't think he beats Spence. I don't think he beats Crawford,
Yeah,
or I don't think he
I
beats
don't even
Thurman.
think he
I
gives
still.
Spence the fight if he don't lose to Triple
That's
G.
true. Listen, that might be, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say this. I still think, in my opinion, I still think Spence breaks his face even if he didn't fight Triple G. I still because of what he did to Ugas. I can say
Yes,
that. I'm gonna say that. He probably breaks his face without Triple G's help because of what he did to Ugas.
Trying to tell you
That's being
that.
fair. That's being fair.
Everyone became a
Yeah, I agree with
orthopedic
that.
surgeon Oh well, he broke one side, so the other 5 was
Exactly.
fragile.
No, that's
But
facts
nigga, a
though.
bunch of niggas
That's
went to
science.
a bunch of niggas
That's a
took their
fact,
board
bro.
exams after.
That's science, man.
And
Okay.
that's
That's a
true, but
fact.
look at the reason why he's doing so much damage to eye sockets is because that jab is always sticking your eye socket. Look at Danny. Look how his eye socket was 2 punches away from being broke his damn self.
Man, Danny
Lamar
get hit with
Lamar
the eye
Lamar,
socket
Lamar
by
Peterson
everybody. Come
Lamar
on,
Peterson
man.
too.
I think no, but my thing is, look, I think Earl, like I said, he broke 2 faces. Doesn't mean he break everybody damn face for God's sake.
Right.
But
Oh well,
I give him his
hold on.
props. I give him his
Wait,
props.
because Jamil just got on me for saying, "Oh, Earl Spence mouthpiece came out 2 times. It's a coincidence. You did the same thing."
Okay, hold
I
on. Let
got.
me say because hold on, I'm gonna get you because it was consistent. Those fights, he got gaps in between. How long ago was the Kell Brooks face breaking? Come on, man. What are you
But
talking about?
what?
That's not even
But
the
hold
same
on.
thing.
Does he not have evidence of fighters' eye swelling up
No,
right
you said
underneath
no,
that
no, no.
eye?
That's not the same thing. We talking about breaking.
Yeah, but he's
But I'm
broken.
saying
Breaking.
no.
He's
But I'm
broken other
saying
people. He's
That's not the
broken other
same
people's
thing.
ribs. He's broken jaws and ribs and
How
all
did
kinds of
Sean
stuff in
Porter
fight.
look? How did Sean Porter look?
We ain't talking about all of that. We talking about eyes.
Yeah, like how did Sean? Sean
I'm
didn't.
talking about
Sean could have
eye
fought on the
sockets and
next day.
the damage he does to people's eye sockets. You
I'm
could
just. I
tell. You
get
could
it.
Yeah,
tell.
I
but
get that.
He
I'm
do it
saying,
to
but that's
yeah,
not
everybody.
but to
consistent.
be, and you guys say I'm making an excuse, but I just call it how I see it. To be fair, and I mean, I'll pull up the footage when
Oh
he
my
fought
goodness.
Mikey Garcia and when he fought Sean Porter. This guy was not in the gym. This guy was doing fat camps. This guy was not. He was not. This was not the guy who fought Mikey Garcia and Sean Porter was not the same guy who fought Kell Brook and Lamont Peterson. It's not.
But here, hold on. But this is
It's not.
hold on. But see, this is why I slow you down on that with that because those 2 guys that you just named, Chris Algieri and Lamar Peterson, are not
I,
punchers.
I didn't
They're not
name Chris
punchers.
Facts.
Algieri.
He
I didn't
ain't
say
Okay,
fought
Chris
no
Algieri.
punchers.
they ain't no punchers.
I said Lamont. I said Kell Brook and Lamont Peterson.
Okay,
Those guys. Listen,
They ain't punchers neither,
when
bro.
Errol Spence fought those guys, he was accused of being on steroids.
I'm just
Yes.
Everyone accused that man of being on steroids. He was a huge welterweight. The guy was shredded and cut. When he fought Mikey Garcia, I got the footage. I mean, I could bring it up.
I know, I know. Listen,
The guy
I'm not even
wasn't in
trying to cut you
shape
off
and
on
all
that.
that.
Listen, you
So
always focus on Earl, but you don't never focus on his opponents. They never
I
been
do focus on
stopped.
I do
So
focus on the
I'm like,
opponents.
no, you. It's like you taking credit away from guys who never been stopped.
Uh,
If
I,
Mikey
what
ain't
I'm
never been stopped, Sean ain't never been stopped, Danny ain't never been stopped. Why are we talking about
Yeah,
what
but
Earl looked like?
Who he gonna
again,
stop?
what I'm saying again
He's
is what I'm saying again though. Like with Danny Garcia, the man
It's a
just came off
pattern.
a car accident.
I get
With
it,
those
but I
two
don't.
guys, with those other 2 guys, this guy was not focused in the gym at all, and
I
we all
get it,
know
but
that.
I'm
And he
listen.
was,
Based
and
on the style though with Danny, not to cut you off rudely, but based on the style with Danny, Danny had to still have enough respect. You have to give him respect with the left hook. Earl did that at times. He didn't get hit with that left hook a lot. So he respected Danny's left hook. So even without the car accident, I don't see Earl just going in there just trying to dog walk Danny, and he has to respect that sometimes. And
but there was
and
a point in the
hi-
fight. Hold on, but there was a point in the fight in the 6th round because I remember this. I remember this because first of all, it's so sad with Earl Spence. The only bets I ever am able to get what most guys will do all this shit talking is not if he's gonna win the fight, is if he's gonna get a knockout. And I had a group chat going on during the Danny Garcia fight, and it was if you know on Facebook, Dayton Weathers and Apostle Paul with him, that guy. And we was on the group chat, and I bet them that he would stop Danny, and I lost, of course. But in the 6th round, those guys thought Danny was getting ready to get stopped, and Earl Spence ran out of gas. The guy,
exactly. I was about to say that.
Danny Garcia, was in a lot of trouble, and Earl Spence again. The man was he came off a car accident. The man was at 40%. He dominated that man, but he
he
was
did.
not the same. He was not the same. He was not the same guy that fought Ugas. He was not.
But
He
you
was not.
Let's be
realize,
But
honest.
bro, in the sixth round, Danny only down 10 punches. By the ninth round, he down 50 punches. Hell
Earl
nah, he
gets
ain't ran
stronger as the
out of
And
fight
that
goes.
remember,
damn
and
gap.
hold on, and
He
Lola, you
outworked
brought up
the
a really,
fuck out of him.
really good point. The only reason why Danny didn't get stopped that fight was because Earl ran out of gas.
He
That's
ran
the
out of
only
gas.
reason. That's
I
the
sort
only
of,
reason why he
I
did
But
not
sort of
get.
you
You
looked
could
outworked me
tell.
by
I
50
The
I
punches.
only,
myself
the
listen.
only reason Danny even picked up a few rounds was because of Earl
Yep,
losing
he
gas.
ran out of.
But but
That
I
was
was
it.
in a group chat with guys who was
So he
betting
ran out of gas
against
in
the
round
knockout,
four,
and
five. Cause
these guys started to panic because they thought he was getting ready to get knocked out. And I
That
saw the
yeah.
look on Danny's face where he had a look that I never saw in his face before, where he was in a place that he had never been before in a fight. I
well,
saw it on
Yes.
Danny's
well
face,
and
here
that's
and
when
I was
Earl
like, "Damn,
started
Earl gonna
skipping
come
his
out."
way
And
over to him. I know
no,
the
here's
fight like I'm looking at it, man. That's when Earl
listen,
started skipping his ass over to him, walking him down. But
he didn't
before
walk.
that,
No, he
Danny
didn't. No, he
was
didn't
being
walk him
successful.
down. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The guy lost his steam, and he kept jabbing. He kept jabbing. He kept jabbing. He kept jabbing. Now, if the guy that fought Ugas who
But he
got
outworked him by
inside and
50
got,
punches, bro.
he outboxed Danny. I mean, Danny's doesn't throw a lot of punches. Danny waits for you to throw a punch, and he counter punches. So it's not hard. I mean, the way that Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia was off activity. Danny
Yes.
Garcia landed the cleaner shots, the harder shots. Sean Porter outworked him, and he threw more volume. It's not
That's
hard to
not
beat
the
up
fight
50
that Danny
punches
was
against Danny
fighting. That's
Garcia.
not the fight that Danny or Earl was fighting for the first 4 or 5 rounds of that fight.
No,
So
they were
that
feeling each other out.
But here, my thing is this though. When it comes to Earl, y'all talk about the body and what he look like, this and this. When it comes to Crawford, we don't do that. He just get it done. Y'all talking
Okay.
about y'all hold on. Y'all talk about the when it comes to Earl, he's allowed. Here's my thing. He's allowed to go the distance with elite guys. Y'all don't want to give him that. It's okay to go the distance with an elite guy. It's okay. My
Ohio,
thing
but
is, hold on.
we're
This is
not
the first.
Hey,
denying
This
that.
is
Lenore,
the
let him
hold
go,
on.
man. Let him go.
This is the first time in boxing history, and I know this. I've never heard, and I brought this up. A fighter being a strength and conditioning coach being the reason why he's not getting knockouts. Julius Jackson didn't go through that. Wilder, Tyson. It's like if he has his strength and conditioning coach, everything, he knocks everybody out. That's not being realistic. That's
Okay,
not being realistic.
and you know why I can debunk what you're saying right now is because the camp that he did have a nutritionist, the Ugas camp, he had a strength. Then they did do strength and conditioning. He got the knockout.
It was Styles. That's
No,
what I'm talking about. Ugas was right there to be
you
hit.
missed me,
I said that
no,
on
no,
my
no,
A170
no. That's
on
not
him.
what you said.
Danny
I
was
No,
said
right
no,
there to
no.
be
That's
hit
not. No,
too.
you didn't say that, Ohio.
no,
You
no,
said
no.
that
That's not
Earl
what.
Spence is the only one
No,
who's
Hit the
no,
allowed
no,
rewind,
to
no.
get a
Because
A170.
pass when he doesn't get a knockout because and then people blame it
hold
on
on. Let me
strength
ask
and
you a question.
conditioning.
Hold on, because we're gonna make it quick.
We
Does Earl knock everybody
ready.
out? 100%.
No,
No,
That's
no,
my
no,
point. That's
but
my
no.
point.
I'm not
That's my
disagreeing
point.
with your point. But all
That's
I'm
my
saying
point.
is there's
Does he knock everybody out? Julius
okay. Can
Jackson
I?
couldn't
I
knock
said
everybody
no. If
out.
you can
Foreman
if you
couldn't
can let
knock
me.
everybody out.
I said
Wilder
no.
couldn't
I
even
said
knock everybody out. Why does it? Why is Earl the superhero? Where he has
that's
this
we're
strength
not
and conditioning coach. He stops everybody.
That's
That's
not what.
we're not
But
foolishness.
saying that
that's not
Ohio.
what.
We're not
That's not what we
saying
were
that.
saying. That's not what we were saying. What my point was, the comparisons you're making with these guys. I hear what you're saying, but what you're making, the fights that you guys are constantly bringing up are fights that he wasn't at
I'm
We
just
100%.
could say
telling
that
you right
about
now.
Sean Porter,
I
about
I bet the house on it.
A170.
He doesn't stop Sean Porter 115%. He does not stop Sean.
Yeah, he would have shot.
Period.
He
I
would have stopped.
Ever,
He would have
Period.
ever,
stopped.
Period.
That's. Well,
ever,
I could. I know why you guys say that because y'all from the same place he's at. But the exact
ever.
reason. Hold on. I am one of the first people who picked Terrence Crawford to knock Sean Porter out, and the reason being that I picked Terrence Crawford to knock Sean Porter out is because I know that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are like at least one level above
We gonna
Sean
get you some
Porter as a
smoke, by the
fighter.
way.
I know he's at least one level above Sean Porter as a fighter. I picked Terrence Crawford to knock him out because I know that Terrence Crawford is dedicated and that he trains 24/7, and he was not going to come into the fight 70-80% of himself. He's going to come to the fight 100-120% of himself. And I picked Terrence Crawford to stop Sean Porter. The reason that and this is my opinion. The reason that
Damn,
Errol Spence
salute,
didn't
Chris. Y'all
stop
get the
Sean
uppercuts of Nation
the reason
Boxing too.
the reason that Sean Porter lasted against Errol Spence is because Errol Spence was not in great shape. The guy was fucking around. I listen. It's so crazy. I watched that fight in a movie theater with my
Me
wife.
too.
And the first thing my wife said, and I didn't even say nothing to her. When we got in the car, she said that looked like a guy who was in great shape against a guy who was half-assed. And I never even said nothing to her about it. That's the first thing my wife noticed it.
One thing about one thing when you fighting a guy that had the determination like Sean Porter, it's hard to knock out a guy like that. And I'm gonna tell you who his favorite fighter is, Marvin Hagler. When you fighting a
No,
guy, Sean
his
Porter, yes, that's his favorite
no, no,
fighter.
his no. I mean, no. This I heard him say it. I mean, you might have heard him say it, but he said his favorite fighter was Richard
Don't
Pryor.
take
Not
No,
Richard Pryor.
Marvin
Not,
Hagler. He
Richard
paid a
Pryor.
tribute to
not,
Marvin
not Richard Pryor.
Hagler.
Aaron Pryor.
This
Sorry,
nigga
Aaron
named
Pryor.
the comedian.
Aaron Pryor. Sorry. You know, but he said his favorite fighter was Aaron Pryor.
Man,
Bruh, let
Aaron
me
Pryor.
finish. Let me finish. You telling me, and I'm from Ohio. Let me finish,
I heard the nigga say it.
bruh. One of his
man.
favorite fighters.
No, it's
One of his
Aaron
Let
Pryor.
him finish,
Okay, whatever,
bro.
whatever,
Let
whatever,
him
whatever,
finish,
whatever, whatever.
Lamar.
My
Whatever.
point is, all due respect, my point is, it's hard to knock out a guy. This is why you get TKOs involved with referees. A guy that got dog in him and they just keep coming forward. Earl hit him with a shot that he knocks most welterweights out with. If he hit Chris Algieri, Lamont Peterson, Ugas, those guys go out with that shot. Sean did not go anywhere.
I disagree.
His
I
glove touched
disagree. I disagree.
his glove
Again,
touched the
Man.
ground. His
the
glove.
guy
Hold on.
was not in. You gonna sit here? So you gonna sit here until you? So this is what you gonna
Are
do?
you hold on? Are you comparing in shape with punching power?
No. What I?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm.
So I'm
Listen.
right.
I'm
This is what
definitely. Listen.
this is
Listen.
what I'm
I'm
talking
definitely.
about.
Listen. I'm definitely going
Or
to because some people. Listen. Some people have natural punching power, like a Julian Jackson, like a Deontay Wilder, and some people are volume. Some people get knockouts through volume and their strength. Now, Earl Spence has shown me, based on what I've seen from him being at his best and me seeing him at his worst, is that he's more of a volume punching knockout guy, not a one punch knockout guy like a Julian Jackson. And we haven't seen Earl Spence knock anyone out with one punch in his career, unless he hits you to the body. He has never
817.
hit anybody. Errol Spence, I have watched all his fights. He has never stopped anybody from hitting him with a headshot with one punch. From the fight
Maybe one.
from it ain't there's not one. Not
No, the
one.
only
I watched them all.
no,
Not
no, no,
one.
no. I mean, I'm not arguing with you, although I just want to say this. Only reason why I say maybe you can maybe count the Leonard Bundu.
Bundu's
Maybe.
not one punch. He hit Bundu with an uppercut, and Bundu went down first, and then he hit Bundu with a series of punches, and then knocked him out. He has never knocked
Oh,
a
okay.
person out with one punch. Not
No,
one.
never,
Never.
Lenore.
The knockouts that he has with one punch are to the body. If he hits you in that liver with one shot, he'll stop you to the body. But going straight to the chin, never. He has never
Well, that's
done
what,
that.
Sean Porter
yeah,
fight at low
that's
gravity.
what
He
that's what
fights
I
at
mean.
low.
Like,
Sean
like
fights low. I'm trying
when
to
he
tell
when he
you.
stops
You
guys,
got
the referee
Go ahead,
was.
go ahead.
I guess I worded it wrong. What I mean is usually when Earl Spence stops guys, the referee will wave it off. Kell Brook, Ugas, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that he was able to knock Bodo out with a one punch knockout.
and
Even
what
though
I'm saying is
that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
the shot he hit Porter with, the shot he hit Porter with, that first of all, Porter didn't even hit the ground. Number one, we seen
Right.
Adrian Boner hit Sean Porter,
A
and Sean
flash
Porter hit the
knockdown.
ground. Yeah, but
Flash
that wasn't even a
knockdown.
flat right.
He
But
put him on his
two,
ass though, bro.
there's two things that went into play with the Porter fight and the Spence fight. And I know it's tough for you Ohio guys to hear this, but I'm gonna give it to you real.
Oh.
Here you
Sean
go.
Porter, I'm just gonna give it to you real. Sean Porter was in the best shape of his life in his boxing career when he fought Errol Spence, and Errol Spence was possibly in the worst shape of his life when they fought. And that's a fact. That's a fact. We talking pre-accident.
Man,
Now, if you
here
could
we
tell me,
go.
no, hold
I
on a
don't
second.
never do
No,
that.
whoa. If you could sit up and tell me, we talking pre-accident, Earl Spence. If you could sit up and point out to any opponent that he fought before Sean Porter that he
I
was in
remember
worse
seeing
shape
Sean
for,
Porter in the
what If you could tell me a
Desert
fight, if you guys
before
could
that
point out
fight.
a fight that he
They
fought
took that camp to
an
the desert.
opponent, he
Hold on, let
fought
him
an
cut. Let
hold
me
on.
go ahead, Keith. Go ahead, Quan.
That if you could tell me, and we're talking pre-accident, if you could tell me an opponent that Errol Spence was in worse shape for than Sean Porter, let me know.
Worse shape than Sean Porter.
What I'm saying?
You just said he
the least. Listen to
obviously
what
it
I'm
would be
saying.
Danny Garcia. He was coming off the
I
car wreck
said
for Danny Garcia.
pre-accident. I need you to slow down. I said pre-accident. Pre-accident means before. I didn't say post. I said pre-accident. Danny's.
See,
Because my thing,
now we making
it's
too
kinda,
many excuses for
yeah,
this.
because it seems
And
It's
that.
like
not no
Nah, we not
excuses,
gonna
no,
do that.
because
It's not no excuses.
no, it's not. Listen, my thing is, you said even if styles make fights, man. At the end of the day, styles make fights, and what y'all trying to tell the people is that if Earl is 110, 15%, he stops a Sean Porter. He does not. Because if you get 100,
let me say this,
hold
Ohio.
on, hold on. Elite competition, 100% against 100% doesn't mean
I'm not
Earl's
saying
going to
it's
stop
anyone
him. Hold
else's
on.
fault. This is his fault.
Hold on. I get it. But Sean fights at low gravity. Y'all kept talking, and I ain't saying y'all, but people was talking about it's only going 5. He fights. It was hard to hit him low, so he was hitting him in the balls just to try to slow the man down because of the motor. But you fighting another dog. That's all I'm getting to. You fighting another dog, and I felt like people was trying to. Here's another thing they were using. Oh, Earl fight, Sean fight. No, Earl fights that way. Sean fights that. How are we gonna try to flip it and say Earl fights Sean's way
So
when y'all hold on, when y'all got the title man down for coming forward? So now all of a sudden you're fighting. Hold on, that's what you eat and live by. That's why you got the title man down. So how in the world you fighting Sean's fight when you fight that way?
I'm telling. I'm
can
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you
can
why, Ohio, real quick. I'm gonna tell you real quick. And this is what I'm gonna say. The reason Earl Spence fought Sean Porter the way he fought him is because he had to fight him like that. Because when you are in camp and you don't first of all, he didn't respect Sean Porter the way he should have.
Right.
When you're in camp and your camp is based on losing 40 pounds instead of working on your game plan, sometimes if you know that you just better than somebody, you just gonna go out there and beat them the best way you know how. There was no real game plan to me because they had no chance to even focus on game plan against Sean Porter. It was more about dropping the weight. And we all know with the IBF, sanctioned bodies are strict about weight, period. But we also know with the IBF, they're the one sanctioned body where you got to make weight and then have that 10 pounds off 20 and only go up 10 pounds within 24 hours of the weigh-in. So when he fought Sean Porter, he fought Sean Porter straight off of instinct. And we know that Earl likes rock'em sock'em robot, like that's where he's comfortable at. And he went to fight Sean Porter he had to fight Sean Porter like that. That's why he said after the fight, if I fought Porter Alpha next time, I could just easily outbox him. But you know what? You can
No one easy outbox.
part of outboxing, and I agree with you on that. I'm just saying what he said.
Yeah.
But excuse me. Part of boxing or outboxing a person comes with a lot of concentration and mental fortitude. And if your mind and your mental is not even right going into a fight because you got a bag, you went and partied and ate steaks, and you was partying and drinking for 6 or 7 months, and then you get a call, and then you go into the gym with a pot belly, and then you got to burn that shit off. You're not going into the fight with the same mental fortitude you had when you said, look, I'm a challenger, I'm hungry, Kell Brook got this belt, I gotta go over there, I know how serious shit is, and I gotta go in enemy territory and go get the shit.
Sounds like an excuse.
Those are two different minds. Well, it don't have to be an excuse because he won both of the fights. So it ain't really an excuse. What I'm saying is that Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, and Sean Porter caught Errol Spence at the right time to not get hurt. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Those guys caught him at those but again, you're right. Those 3 people, and
I'm just trying to make this shit make sense.
But,
okay,
I can make it make sense because when he fought those 2 guys, he was drinking and partying. When he fought Danny Garcia, he came straight off an accident. Once he got to heal, once Errol Spence got the time, the only thing that heals anything in life is time.
It's a
It's,
bird.
it's time.
It's a
It's
plane.
time. And once Earl Spence came back and he had the time to physically heal from that accident, and he had gave up the things where that were vices to him outside of the ring, and he got that ranch and he started to live, eat, and shit boxing. We got to see the guy we
got
saw
one question.
before that.
If I could say something, but I was going to say
One question though. I got one question right quick. What color is the cape that y'all put on Errol Spence? Is it black?
I'm gonna tell you. It's the same color. It's the same
color. Is it a Batman cape?
Yeah, it's the same color of the cape that y'all have for Bud, and the same color of the parachute y'all have for Bomax. And the bullshit even the same.
That's a big ass parachute.
Listen,
for Bomax, it's probably the size of a fucking curtain.
I know. Listen, I know on your end, OT in Ohio, it sounds like excuses. But at the end of the day, if you're a man who's logical and who has facts, it's a simple yes or no question. Was Earl, did he get into a car wreck, and was he coming off of a 14-month layoff when he fought Danny? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so he wasn't at his best, right?
We can say he wasn't at his best. He won the fight. So
okay. And I got another. Okay, that's it. I got another question for you. Was Earl on record as stating, "Hey, I was partying, I was drinking, I was not taking the fight camp serious"? Yes or no? Is it simple yes or no?
Hold on, it ain't no simple yes or no because fighters do that all the time. They say certain things. So yes, he said that. But
so you don't believe you don't believe him that he's telling the truth?
No, it's not that saying that because what you're doing is you're trying to justify the excuse. And
no. Ohio, but I'm asking you a question. Hold on, Ohio. Do you believe? Hold on, Ohio, because this is gonna put this to bed. Hold on, this is gonna put this to bed. Do you believe that Earl Spence Jr.? Yes or no? Do you believe he was telling the truth when he said he was drinking and partying and not focusing? Yes or no?
So we justify.
Yes or Ohio? Hold on. I said yes or no.
I'm gonna say this question, and you gonna ask me this question. Yes, he said it. Now, did you have him stopping Sean Porter before that fight?
No, I didn't say yes. Did he say? I said, did you believe him?
Did you have him stopping Sean Porter?
No, I didn't. No, I'm going to answer your question, but you didn't answer mine. I said, do you believe? It's a yes or no question. Do you believe that Earl Spence?
Yes. Everybody had Earl stopping Sean. Cut it out.
I did.
I'm not. I know. No. Listen, I asked you a question. You ignored it. You know what I'm saying?
He
see what you did?
He answered you, bro. He said yes.
I didn't hear. No, he said no.
Lenore?
No, he didn't.
He said
yes.
What did he say?
He said yes 3 times.
He said yes 3 times, bro.
I didn't hear that. I thought he didn't.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
Earl did say that.
Sorry. So what was your question?
I said, did you have Earl stopping Sean Porter before the fight?
I'm not sure.
I did.
I know. Loyal said yes. I said.
Not only did I lose money, I had to go run a mile on Facebook Live.
You sure did.
Greg Hackett.
And hold on, look, in Ohio, I'm not sure because Styles do make fights, and I do not know whether he would have stopped him just because stylistically. Not that he doesn't have the capability of doing so, just because stylistically. I'm not sure.
Listen, man, I'm not. Listen,
because I didn't have Earl Spence Jr. stopping Sean Porter.
Listen, I don't cape for my Ohio guys like that because at the end of the day, when it comes to Sean Porter, I didn't make an excuse. I didn't say nothing about his camp or anything when he lost to Crawford. You never heard me say that. You never heard me. He beat the best. He beat the best Porter because we never seen Porter decline in any fight.
The best Porter.
But now, hold on. Now, all of a sudden, when it came to Crawford, I'm just telling you why I stay consistent in my stand. Y'all the one talking about Earl not doing this and not looking. When it came to Porter, he never declined in fights. We never. So when it came to Crawford and him, I felt like it was danger for Porter because Crawford knows how to fight on the back foot. OTB, cook on this because you know I'm not lying. Crawford can fight on the back foot and throw that check hook for a pressure fighter coming in like Sean Porter, like he did Jeff Horn. Sean is 2 times better than Jeff Horn.
Sean did good though. He never got caught with that shit.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, and Sean switched up a lot too.
I was very impressed by. I'm gonna say this.
Like Sean fought a mental fight in that fight.
Yes, I was very impressed with his defense in that fight. I was very shocked because them shots that Crawford normally hit people with, he didn't hit Sean with until Sean fatigued at the end and started
Absolutely.
swinging
You nailed
wild
it.
and it was very similar to what Broly did with Tank.
Earl,
He ran into that shot. He ran into the shot.
you nailing it right on the head. That's perfect because that's exactly what happened. And here's the thing with Crawford, on the other hand, seeing what Crawford did great. Crawford got hit with hit with some good shots. He never engaged like he normally does. That showed maturity. And to me, when it came to Crawford, because Crawford loves to engage, so he had to. He showed patience because we thought we can bait. I was Team Porter. We thought we can bait Crawford into a dogfight because we knew that would be the best opportunity for Sean going against a guy that had different tools.
Yeah, I will say he did show some maturity, but he was also standing there a few times and not moving his legs when he was standing there. He did do that kind of didn't how Crawford would move his legs to set traps or get out of danger. At times
Yeah.
he did stand there a little bit too long because he was frustrated. You could tell he's a little frustrated, but no, he didn't trade with him like he usually does. I'll give him
Yeah.
that.
Well,
And
that's
I give
because
him
he
credit.
But
was he was
he did still
expecting
stand. He did
Shine to
still stand in the
jump
pocket
in.
though.
And
He
there's a
did still
part in
stand in
that
the pocket
fight where
though.
you could hear Bo Magnum say it like he not jumping in like we thought he was. You know what I mean? And that
Yep.
was just the credit to Sean
And
Porter.
and
That
soon
Sean
as he did
Porter
it,
wasn't doing.
I
They
was
tore
pissed
his
off,
ass
man.
up. Tore his
Soon as he
ass
did
up.
that shit,
So
man.
like he was saying when he said cook OTB. Now let me take y'all in boxing class
Right.
because it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You got an orchestrated pressure. I think we can all agree that it's easier for me to time that jab when I see it 60 to 70 times in a round.
Okay,
Tear
I
that
mean
ass up.
that's what most people say until they like they said until they actually in the ring. So
Right.
they actually in the ring with it. It looked like, oh, I could do this and I could do that. And then they get in the ring with it, and then what Danny said, man, the jab, I didn't know. I just couldn't get past it. So it sounds good and it
I
looks
agree to
great,
that.
Well, that's different, but
what I
who was the
but what I
bigger fighter between Errol and Danny?
shit, Danny
No.
Garcia was bigger than Errol Spence at that fight. Errol Spence looked small in that fight.
Yeah.
He rehydrated good, but
Shit.
Danny got. Let's be honest, and I know
Full of shit.
Marcus, you should remember this too. Didn't when Earl came back from the accident against Danny? Didn't he look small? Didn't Danny look a lot bigger than him at the weigh-in, at the
He looked
face-off, and
small,
all
but he
that
was
stuff?
still bigger than Danny.
Yeah, Earl got
No,
that
he was.
frame
No, he
though.
was not. He
He
was
got
No.
a
small. No,
slim frame, but he's big. Earl big. He got the
yeah,
slim
no, he
frame.
was smaller than he was smaller. He was smaller than Danny. Even when you looked at them, they was drained down. You could look at Danny's size of Danny's arms compared to Errol arms.
I have to look at that one, but
Yeah, you can
Hey,
go. I mean, I'll pull it up, but
yeah, he looked at
definitely, he
Earl
looks
looked a little
small.
frail. He
He
looked a
looks
little
small.
frail.
Yeah, he
Uh,
looks small.
Ohio. So I guess so. Since you said yes to both those questions, do you have
Patron
to give
Seven
Earl
Trico,
Spence?
chill out, man.
You have to give him Earl Spence credit to be able to perform at the level he's been performing at, not being 100%.
yeah, but
Even in the
I,
is that yes or no?
yeah, no, that is yes. But this is my thing. When
Okay.
you at elite, don't come telling me that you ain't 100. All fighters don't come 100%, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't try to
And I'm
take.
not.
Hold
And
on.
you bring up, and that's a good point. But I'm
Don't
saying
take
some
credit.
fighters,
All
some fighters have come far less than 100% than they
yeah,
could. Yes or no?
but yeah.
Okay,
But my
okay.
thing.
And so what's going to happen now? Because I'm going to assume Earl Spence Jr. is going to be the best version of himself. He's just coming off of a victory with Ugas, no injuries, no fat camps, no indiscipline, no car wrecks. No,
I
this is a hundred
listen. I
percent
get
version
that.
of Earl Spence.
I get that. But
I'm
this
not. No. Hold on. I'm asking you a question. I'm saying,
right.
what type of version is going to come into the Terrence Crawford fight, in your opinion? Even a better version?
It's he's at the top level. It ain't no about better version. He's gonna have to come here, bring his A game. He's gonna be at 100. We don't want no.
No. So you think he's going to come? So what is
Was he
that?
at a
What
hold
do you
on? Was
think of
he at
that?
100? Listen, he was at 100 when he got the stoppage against Ugas, and it's
No, he
proven.
wasn't.
And hold on, it's proven. Let's just go. It's proven that fighters can get stoppages being 40%, being 50%. That's proven. Mike Tyson was knocking plenty of people out, snorting cocaine, doing drugs. And the moment he lose, we talk about what he was doing in the goddamn street. Are you serious? Like
So
Yeah,
all
we
I'm
pick
saying
and
is
choose. My point is, hold on. My point is, we pick and choose when to have these type of excuses because what it make it sound like. That's why I asked you all these
Fact.
questions. Does Earl stop everybody at 147? If you say no, then stop talking about the version of him being 100 because the version of him that y'all saying stops everybody. That's not true. That's not how boxing
I didn't say that.
works.
I said I'm not
No, but
sure if he stopped Sean
that's where
Porter.
I was getting to. Because
Yeah.
when you say he ain't performing this and he ain't getting this stoppage, we ain't getting this version. I don't talk, man. Come on, like he's not stopping there. He's not Superman. I don't say that for everybody. I actually had Crawford going the distance with Benavidez. Jose.
and the
With
Vita.
Jose. Benavidez. I had that going the distance, and I like Crawford. I was 24 seconds off because I look at the film and I seen what he did, and his leg was even messed up. I didn't even know it was gonna be like that, but he was still able to keep Crawford distance and discipline with his shots. You know what I mean? So Crawford couldn't just go in there like he wanted to. He had to take his time with Jose. But I didn't even have Crawford who was stopping people, stopping Jose. Some people did, but I didn't. That's all I'm saying. I don't just sit there and say
I'm
100%
not.
Crawford stops
And
everybody. It
yeah,
depends on
and
the
I'm
style when it comes to me. That's all I'm saying.
no, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying at all, sir. I understand what you're saying. All I'm saying is I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna. So it doesn't sound too personal. I'm not even gonna put you in it. Just as a Crawford fan in general,
Yeah.
if this man has not been at his best, because we laid the facts out. You said yes, you agree. So if this man has not been at his best in any of his four fights, if they say to get this fight on this year, it's looking like they're going to. When they get this fight on, if I'm a Crawford fan, I would be a little shook because if he's doing doing this to these type of guys not at his best over years layoffs and these injuries, and he's doing this to these type of dudes, what type of version can we expect? Is that not a fair point to bring up? That's all I'm
I mean,
saying.
no. He's gonna bring the best, and there's gonna be no excuse because if
Yes,
Crawford
I
beats
agree.
him,
I
if
agree with that.
Crawford beats
Yes.
him, there's no, oh man, he ain't this or
Right,
he ain't that.
Yeah,
We ain't
right.
gonna
I
get no
agree.
excuse. So
100%.
I'm
hundred
happy that
percent. I
he's
agree.
coming.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I'm gonna tell you real quick a sequence that happened when they met each other, and y'all remember this. When Crawford met him face to face, I knew it was levels above training. They was above each other when Crawford grabbed Earl Spence. You remember, and Earl went back to grab him, and what happened? Crawford said, "Uh-huh, yeah, yeah."
Grab
He
it again. You said
felt him.
grab it again. Grab it
That
again.
he felt
Okay.
him, and he's so one guy was a little, fat camp, and then you had another
Yes.
one that stayed ready. So
Yes.
you showed the levels of discipline between the two fighters at that moment right there. So
Correct.
Yeah.
he has to.
Correct.
So
Correct.
the
So
And who?
Crawford
correct.
And I got a question for you. I got a question for you now. Right? Who did
And he
Errol
kept
Spence?
telling
Who
him,
did?
"You look a
Who
little
did?
heavy."
Who
yeah.
does? Who? Now I got a question. Who did Errol Spence fight next after that fight? After they met, who was Errol Spence's next fight?
Thank you.
Mikey. Mikey.
Okay,
And that's
and
my
it's a
and that's my point
Exactly. That
because
the point.
when
The
he
hold
point
on.
fought
is
Kell
proven.
Brook, hold on. When he fought Kell
It's
Brook,
not a point
he had a
proven.
long layoff for 9 months, Marcus,
Yeah,
because Kell Brook had to keep doing medical extensions. He was never in that type of shape. And we see what he did to Kell
but
Brook. He
no,
he
I
beat
get
the
what you're
man
saying.
until
But
he quit.
hold on. Here's the excuse though. See, this is why I catch y'all up right here. This is where I catch y'all up. He went the distance with Mikey, and y'all said he just wanted to show the world he can box. So regardless, if
I never said that.
Sound like an
regardless,
excuse to me.
I never said that.
Sound
A
like an
lot of the Earl
excuse to
fans,
me.
a lot of the Earl Smith fans said he wanted to show the world he boxed. Didn't Earl say that? Y'all quoting
You
Earl
know,
so
he
much.
said it, but
Okay,
I've always
hold
no.
on.
You're right.
So if Earl quote this, like y'all want to use his word as the gospel, then that's what we gonna stand on.
Yeah, well,
He
you can
proved.
stand on it,
I'm
but
going to
what I'm
stand
hold
on
on, hold on,
that.
hold on.
Ain't we
What
been
I'm
using
going to stand
Errol's
on,
words all day
What I'm going to stand,
this whole show?
but the thing I'm going to stand on over
This
Earl's
shit
word. Hold
crazy,
on.
man.
The thing I'm going to stand on over Earl word is my own words, and I know for a fact what I said because I was at the fight live, and I'm quoted many times on social media saying the same thing. At the Mikey Garcia fight, I was there live. I was on the floor. I
Okay,
was basically standing right where the press was at. In the ninth round, I saw that Earl Spence tried to stop him, and he
okay,
couldn't. And
okay.
his own father, after the fight, said that Earl's punches didn't look the same. I remember, and now this is and my stories stay consistent. At the Mikey Garcia fight, at the weigh-in, uh, I went to the stadium. It just so happened that that's where I met Blu-ray, and I met the guy who trained. Earl Spence got all those dogs. He got a guy down there in Texas that trains all his dogs. And Earl Spence came out to the weigh-in because I was at the Ocampo fight too in Texas. And I remember when Earl Spence was at the Ocampo weigh-in, I ain't gonna lie, the motherfucker looked like he was so ripped. It looked like he was on something. I'm not saying he was on something. What I'm saying was the type of shape he was in when he fought Ocampo. I was like, God damn! I was like, he could kill this motherfucker. The shit looked crazy. When I seen him at the Mikey Garcia weigh-in, I see, and you could go ask Blu-rays. It's no cap. I said, hey, what's up? I said, hey, so what's up? You Blu-ray? He said, yeah. I said, I'm Kwame, blah, 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 blah. On social media. He said, oh, okay, what's up? And we was talking. When Earl came out to the weigh-in with Mikey Garcia, I looked at Blu-ray in his face. I said, Blu-ray, you didn't work with him this camp. What happened? He said, he looked at me and laughed. He said, why you say that? I said, look at him. And Blu-ray looked at me and just started laughing and grinning. I swear to God, because I remember this exactly. Before that, Errol Spence, for the Mike Garcia, that shit with Terrence Crawford happened. And then he took pictures before the Mikey Garcia fight. He took a picture with his IBF belt for Fox. Right before camp started, he looked fat and he looked flabby. They have pictures of it. He looked flabby as fuck in those pictures. And then I also remember he was at that boxing expo down in Vegas where he was selling t-shirts and merch and all that stuff. And he had on a white beater. And that was the first time people saw Earl Spence with a gut and a pot belly. That was the first time we ever saw that.
So pretty much what you're saying that if he was in shape, top shape, 100%, he stops Mikey?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
You said 100%, right?
100%.
Yes.
Hold on, real quick, Marcus. No. I'm gonna just explain to you why, and then just say your point. I'm gonna tell you 100% because you tell me what the difference of the volume and the amount of punches he put on Mikey and the volume and the amount of punches he put on Ugas. You tell me the difference, and you tell me the difference of the damage.
Because you still had one guy still lateral movement and still moving. He said
Mikey wasn't moving.
Ugas was still man. You can look at those two fights and see the difference. Ugas was standing there, but here's my thing with that: you're still facing the guy who never been stopped. Y'all can't take credit away from guys who never been stopped.
Was Ugas stopped? Was Ugas stopped before?
Hold on.
Was Ugas stopped before?
Hold on, it gets better. Mikey been dropped at a smaller weight class.
Facts.
Huh?
That's my point. You're proving my point for me.
Ding, ding, ding. He been dropped at a smaller weight class. So he's up. Hold on. My thing was he's still never been stopped. Sean been dropped. He's still never been stopped. You have to give credit to the opponents who's never been stopped, period. Because when you go to the distance with them, most people don't have excuses. Earl Spence's his fan base is the only fan base that I've dealt with when they don't get the stoppages. They talk about the.
It's a reason why.
But hold on, Ohio, we can't. Ohio,
we
can't. Ohio, we can't.
He was 40% for a fight.
Listen.
40%.
The difference is we have facts to prove it. Hold on, we have facts to prove it. We're not lying.
Hold on.
We bring up all these examples, and we're not making excuses for it. And you still don't want to believe it.
No, it ain't about me believing nothing. It's just at the end of the day, when Keith Thurman,
bro, that's not factual.
No, when Keith Thurman stepped up in competition, y'all was like, "What happened to one time?" Y'all didn't mention his strength and condition. Y'all wasn't talking about his body. Y'all only became these bodies experts and started paying it when it came to
was Keith Thurman doing okay? Was when Keith Thurman stepped up in competition? Was Keith Thurman doing fat camps?
We don't know.
Okay, second question. When Earl Spence stepped up in competition, hold on. When Earl Spence stepped up in competition, the way Keith Thurman stepped up in competition, because did Earl Spence continue to get?
Now we justifying a fat camp?
It's elite competition, guys. That's at the end of the day.
Keith Thurman stopped getting stoppages before he faced elite competition.
Hold on.
On who? Robert Guerrero?
One dude.
Earl was never ever considered a guy that was just getting a knockout. Like you said, he wasn't a knockout puncher. He has his moments where he get guys out of there in stoppages, but we knew once he fought somebody that's going to fight him back, it can be competitive. When he
like Kell Brook.
Okay, Kell Brook. Yes, and Sean Porter. But like I said, at the end of the day, he's not going to stop everybody. Y'all do the capping for
I
him.
don't listen. I don't
Hold on.
believe he's
I don't
gonna
do that.
stop
I
every.
just like I said, I don't do that
He's
with all. When they come to
not
Ohio
even
guys,
stopping 50% of the people he fight.
no.
Bro, what are
Oh
you
my
talking about?
lord.
His
Oh
knockout
my.
percentage is in
It's
the 80s.
80%.
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Don't go on BFTB shit with this, bro. Don't do
Man,
that.
not the fights that not in his career. He not gonna stop no half
Bro,
of
you
the
said he
people
don't
he
I'm
stop
not.
fighting.
any.
You
You
Listen, I'm
talking
said
not
that
about
even.
he's at
you
an
But
talking
I
80.
would
about
not.
fighters, but we can admit that he just stepped up in elite competition. So
I'm.
amongst
Bro,
I'm
elite
saying
competition,
he
he ain't
no.
stopping
I'm.
half of the
I'm.
fighters he
Listen.
fight. Man,
No.
quit
I'm
playing with
saying.
me, man.
That's what.
What's
I
up,
don't
Tom Ross?
get it.
What's up, Tom Ross TV? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, yes, did he step up in competition? No, yes, he did. But at the end of the day, the reason why he didn't get most of these stoppages was because of Earl, not the competition.
No, and here's my thing. Also got to look at the guys that's
Oh
never been
my
stopped. Stop
gosh,
playing
The
man.
Superman.
only, the
Fight the
only,
tape
the
for me.
only, the
Then,
That's
only
all.
fight, and
man,
I'm on record
what
as stating
color
this:
is
the
the
only
cake?
fight.
That's what
Okay,
I
the
want to
only
know. What
fight, the
color is
only
the
fight, like
cake?
I said, that he
Pay
may or may not
attention.
have got a stoppage in is Sean Porter, but he would
not
have
me.
stopped Danny,
That's
and
being
he would
Not
have,
real.
me.
he
That's
would
being
have stopped
real.
Mikey.
Because that's
He would have
y'all
stopped both
caping.
those
Y'all
dudes.
caping for these fighters, and I want you stay consistent. Because if
That's not
Earl is the
accurate,
only
bro.
The
guy,
only the only person that I believe that he would not have probably stopped, but going into a fight probably would have been Danny because I never even seen Danny on the ground before. But based on what I saw in the fight, Danny would have gotten stopped.
Yeah,
Based on what I saw in the fight, if Spence was the version of Spence that
Spence.
fought Lamont Peterson, Danny Garcia would have got stopped
But even with
because
the
and
there,
style, hold on.
and
Even
let
with the
me
style,
and
hold on.
loyal.
Even with the style
It's
of
so funny.
Spence,
It's so
even with the
funny you
style,
say that. It's
even
so
with
funny you
style
say that,
Spence.
loyal, because I'm in the opposite camp. Going into the fight, I never had Sean getting stopped by Earl because I just stylistically. But it's just funny how we're on two opposing sides. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, because Sean was coming forward. Earl was not throwing check hooks and just you know what I'm saying, fighting on his back. He was coming forward. It was a pit bull type of fight, and it's hard to not fight Sean's fight. It's really really
It's
hard
very
to
hard.
not fight his fight.
But with that being said,
He
Ohad,
made.
I didn't
Hold on.
say that he would not have stopped him. I'm just saying I don't know. It would have been a good one to see whether he would
No,
have
okay,
stopped him.
no, I
That's all I'm
got you.
saying.
No,
He
I got
wasn't
you. I get
stopping
that.
him,
Okay, but
man.
I think at the end of the day, I think we come down to the conclusion: Earl Spence is not Superman. Even if he's 115%, he does not stop every guy he's in the ring with. That's never been done in boxing. Period. So we have to get
Never
back to
said
where
that.
we got. Oh no,
Ne-
I've never
Never
said.
I'm
said that. I'm
Hey,
saying
No,
his
no.
last
I'm just saying.
opponents he would
y'all
have
just brought
stopped.
up that
No,
punk
I'm.
ass 80% ratio like it means something.
well,
If
when you cap it and saying it's 50%, we got to correct that.
yeah,
Man, come on, man. Against credible fighters, it is 50%. Kell Brook,
Look,
you guys. That's it. That's
look,
it.
hey, look,
Yep.
you win, brother.
That ain't
I mean, that's when
50%
you win.
to it, folks.
If that's when you got to go with it, you got
Come
that.
on, man. Too.
And listen, and listen,
Stop with
and
this
Crawford.
shit, man. Stop
And
with this
listen,
shit,
and
man.
Crawford
Dun,
moving
dun, dun,
up in different
dun.
weight classes.
What
You
color
know what
is
I'm
the
saying? So
cake?
that's the thing. Crawford moving up in different weight classes, man. So that's the thing, man. He's getting these knockouts, and they was saying Sean Porter didn't have this type of camp. Y'all was doing that. I didn't do that. I don't care for my guy. I said no. Sean was 100%. Sean was. You never seen Sean decline in any fight, but when it came to Crawford, guess what? He declined. That sounds like an excuse. Not coming from
I don't
Ohio.
think
he
he
didn't.
declined. I
He
don't
didn't
think he
Coming from
decline at
declined.
all.
Ohio.
He didn't
I
decline
don't
at
think he
all.
declined. I
No, I'm
don't
just
think
saying
that
people
Sean
said
Porter is
that.
on the level of a
They
Terrence
both
Crawford,
did.
I don't
and I
either. I
don't
don't
think
either.
Sean Porter's on the level of a Earl Spence. The difference between him fighting both of those guys is that, like what happened in Oklahoma, Terrence
Styles May.
Crawford to
That's
go.
what
No,
Styles May.
no. Terrence Crawford goes to Earl Spence goes to grab Terrence Crawford. He's in shape. Terrence Crawford goes to grab Earl Spence. He's not. But now
Perfect.
you have levels of fight. You have levels of fighters, and those two guys are levels above Sean Porter. But
I wouldn't say
but
levels above John
you know,
Porter.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
levels above
they're
say
Sean. I'm
levels above
sorry.
Sean
levels.
Porter.
No,
Man, quick,
absolutely not.
stop the
I'd say let's just
cap,
say a level.
man.
I understand you guys. Let's just say a
After
level.
levels is Hall of
I'll
Fame.
say Sean Porter is a
Thank
really
you,
good
man.
fighter. I'll say Sean Porter is
No
a really good
damn
fighter, and
levels, though.
those two guys are elite fighters in their weight class. Sean Porter's a really good fighter. Sean Porter had a close fight with Keith Thurman, right? He had a close fight with Danny Garcia. He's a really good fight. He's a really
Earl
good fighter.
Spence too.
Those two
Fight of the
guys,
year.
those
Fight of
two,
the
yeah,
year.
and that's correct. Those two guys are, but those two guys, Spence and Crawford, is clear that those two guys are on a different level than Sean
Here's
Porter. And I mean, it just is what it is.
well,
It just is
I
what it
got one
is.
more question for you, and I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna get up out of here in a minute, but I got one more question, man. You an expert at looking at his body and what he eat
Pause.
and
Don't
all this.
say it like that. Pause.
No,
Don't say it
I
like that.
got you. But come on, you
You
grown.
know
All
what
right,
I'm
I
saying?
got you, though. I got you.
All right.
But here, you've been an expert. But here it is. You lose your sight when it comes to Sean Porter fight. You all of a sudden want to bet the house on Earl after you be talking about the standard these weigh-ins, how this and this. All of a sudden you betting the house. I don't know what you saw in that weigh-in, but that wasn't the results that you got, and you ran that lap. So
No, I didn't see. No. First of all, I didn't see shit. I didn't see shit in the weigh-in. First of all, I didn't see shit in the weigh-in with Sean Porter. I was praying that Earl Spence cleaned up his act from the Mikey Garcia fight.
Okay.
But that's where I'm coming from with that. But it just got worse. It got worse. See, it started with Mikey Garcia, and then when it's like this, you take time off for 6 months, you partying, you doing everything that you're doing, and then you go into a fight, and then you don't show the same power and stuff like that, but you show great boxing skill, and you got away with it, and you won. And because it was a dominant win in the sense of outboxing him, you are still believing that you are the person you were before, and then you take another 6 months off and do the same shit, and then you hop in there with Sean Porter. So he was in, to me, he was in the worst shape. He was in the worst shape that I've ever seen him to be in with Sean Porter. It started with Mikey. It ended with OTB. I don't do that when you talk, my brother. Do I?
Cut that damn violin off.
Man,
Cut that fucking
cut
violin
that
off.
shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all I'm saying is,
Cut that
all I'm
damn
saying is,
violin off, brother.
6 months, Marcus, 6 months,
I'm
and
listening.
6 months and 6 months is a year. A motherfucker, it take you forever, and we all know this. It take you forever to build yourself up to the pinnacle, and it could take you 2 to 3 months to fall the fuck off, all the way off.
True.
And Errol Spence, one of the things that I dislike the most about Errol Spence when he met up with Terrence Crawford is when he said, "I am the boogeyman," because then I knew that he was believing his own shit and he was drinking his own Kool-Aid. See, when he was hungry and coming up to fight Kell Brook, that was something he would have never said. And when you come out and you start saying, "I am the boogeyman" and all this, now you don't believe you got to train the way you have to train. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened with him. And then I wish
Hey,
I
but
wish it did. Hold on one second, OTB. I wish it didn't happen through the
Go
accident,
ahead.
but something, he was so deep into his shit that something drastic had to happen in his life. And I thought, and I said this myself. The version of Errol Spence that fought Mikey Garcia and Sean Porter could have possibly lose or would have lost to Terrence Crawford. I said that myself. This is something that
Man,
came out.
cut the
This is
fucking
something I said.
violin off. Adrian
That's something I
Broner
said
more
myself.
accomplished than EJ. Y'all
Ain't
ain't
nobody
pulled
trying
for
to hear
no
no
shit,
goofy shit about no.
drastic shit
We
to
got-
happen for
we
Broner.
don't talk about somebody who.
Come
Don't talk
on,
about
man.
somebody.
This shit
Adrian
crazy.
Broner's over there. Adrian Broner over there
Man.
falling apart and begging Floyd for paydays.
Yes,
So let's not even
man.
talk about Adrian Broner. Let's talk about real boxers. Now my thing is when you start believing your shit, you don't train the same way. And I'm one of the people who I'm real because I'm one of the guys who's known to be in the Earl Spence brigade and all this stuff. The shit that the fan base say, a lot of people throw that shit on me, and that's not the shit I say. I don't say that shit. I say what I see.
Yeah. I will say that.
Yeah, I say what I see.
Yeah, I will say you
and
are
I said,
one of the more factual.
Yeah, I'll say,
Errol
Bud.
Spence fans.
Me personally, I'd have said,
But you still full of shit.
A guy, because this shit stuck out to me. What Andre Ward said one day. He said, "Those miles you didn't run, it's going to show up in the ring. The times you didn't train, it's going to show up in the ring." And the difference with Terrence Crawford was that Terrence Crawford never stopped doing any of that stuff. And I felt like at that time, if him and Earl Spence would have met, Earl Spence would have had some problems because that shit showed up in the ring against Sean Porter. It showed up against Porter. It showed up. He got hit with shit he never normally got hit with, and to me he was sloppy. To me, that was his worst performance I ever seen. And
No,
I know people are gonna say, and I
and
know people
listen,
are gonna say
no, I'm not.
it's Porter, but when you
No,
have
I get
it's
what
like
you.
this. Hold on,
Right,
let me just say this and I'll let you go. It's like this. You fuck with Porter, right? And you
mm-hmm.
fuck with your people from Ohio. If you know your fighter, you study your fighter. That's like your fighting dog, your pit bull. If you know that fighter, you can look at that fighter, you know what they're capable of, and you see that they not doing the right shit and then they doing shit that's off, then you gonna say that's not my guy. The only reason, and I just want to make this clear to you because we had went back and forth back on Facebook about the whole Blu-ray thing. The reason I was so keen on him having Blu-ray is because I knew that if the way Earl Spence was living fast like that, he needed to offset that lifestyle. He needed Blu-ray to be working out with him 3 times a week because once he stopped, then his body started to acquiesce to what he was doing. When he had Blu-ray and he was you tell me this. If you with a motherfucker who got your warm up to be 750 push-ups before you go into your workout, and y'all seen each other 3 times a week, but you
Which
still
one of
running
the
out.
Animaniacs
But
played the
you,
violin?
and you seen a person. We see people in the hood all the time. I'm from Brooklyn. We
Right.
see people all the time in the hood that grab a 40 or drink some bullshit, but every day they out there in the calisthenics park and they ripped. Every day they out there doing chin-ups and push-ups and dips and all that shit and they rip. And they may not be taking the best care of their body by what they're putting into it. But as soon as they stop doing those calisthenics, their whole shit is going to change. And that's what happened to Earl Spence. That's why I lobbied for Blu-ray. Because
Okay.
I
No.
knew what Earl Spence was doing outside the ring was catching
I,
up to him. And with Blu-ray was what what Blu-ray kind of was the bandage for it not to get completely out of control.
No, I know, and I understand that. Listen, I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree when it comes to, like I said, I respect that when it comes to him, him, having this fat camp. I'm not gonna sit there and say that don't have an effect, but I'm a real strong believer, man. On, you're just not going to be able to knock out everybody, no matter if you're 115 to 160%. When it comes to boxing, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Well, yeah, and I've never seen it. And we also got, like I said, we got guys who's never been stopped, and sometimes they end their careers like that. And you also got to give credit to those type of guys. I'm just not, I'm not gonna always point it, but I'm not saying y'all not having no legitimate excuses when it comes to Earl. You have some stuff where y'all talked about his, and him drinking and stuff like
No,
that. That does have an effect on the body. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to dismiss that, but sometimes it comes off, and it's a lot of fans it's a lot of casual fans that take some of the things that y'all say and say,
Right.
"Oh man, he stops everybody if he's this way," and
I know.
that's just not,
Yeah,
and that's
Ohio.
not realistic. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying, guys.
no, we're not saying he stops everybody because nobody's ever done that. We're just saying the opponents he's fought as of last he would have stopped. We believe he would have stopped him. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, I believe he would have stopped Sean Porter if someone would have said I had to bet money that he was going to stop one or the other. I would have picked Sean Porter over Danny only because I'd never seen Danny like the only time I ever seen Danny hurt was like the first round against Keith Thurman. He took a hard shot, but Danny his knees. I've never seen Danny's knees buckle. Never, not once. I've never seen him on the floor, not once. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone says to me he ain't stopping Danny Garcia, I would have to because I think Danny got one of the best chins in the entire sport. Period.
Yeah,
So if they said that, yeah. If they said Sean Porter, I could see where y'all was coming from. But I picked Terrence Crawford to knock Sean Porter out just
yeah.
because.
Let me ask y'all a question, though. Let me ask you a question, not to cut you off real quick. If Earl moves up 160 and 164, is y'all gonna still have this
Nah,
man down
nah,
stopping?
No,
Now he's stopping
nah,
everybody.
nah,
He's
nah.
no,
That's,
no.
he's
nah. These niggas is
110%.
Nah,
Okay,
no,
I just
No,
want to
no,
make
no,
sure.
no,
no,
All
no, no.
no,
I don't
no.
know about 160% and 60
right.
pounds. I don't know about 160 pounds, and also, I mean, at 154 is going to be a lot tougher, guys. There's a weight there. This is boxing and weight classes for a reason. They're weight
Absolutely.
classes for a reason. Guys are bigger. Guys have more of a punch resistance in higher weight classes, and then you got to be able to take the heat that's coming too. So and that's why I picked Jamel Charlo over Terrence Crawford. It ain't because I feel like he's a better boxer. I just feel like you moving up in that weight class. Can you take the heat that's coming at you? Because a lot of times you start out slow and you get hit with clean shit, and Jamel ain't the nigga to be getting hit with clean shit with. It
I think
just
honestly, why? I can't say why. But I think that if Jamel catches him with a good enough shot, I think he has a possibility to knock him out in one shot,
Oh yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Jamel
or at
Charlo,
least give him a standing eight. At
right?
least give him a standing eight.
What? No, but Jamel. See, that's the difference between Jamel Charlo and Errol Spence. Jamel Charlo has one punch knockout power. He
Yeah,
could he could knock you out with one punch.
yeah,
Opposed
yeah,
to Spence is more of a volume guy,
yeah.
and that's all I'm saying. That's what's scary because with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence being a 50-50 fight, the way I see it is like this: if Terrence Crawford wins, it's because Errol Spence runs into something, he's stunned, and Terrence Crawford goes after him and takes
Takes
him
him
out.
out. Yeah.
I don't
But
see, and here's my thing, guys. I don't see Earl when it comes OTV. We might disagree on this, so this is a good one. Based on how I look at things, I stay consistent in my stands. I don't never get caught in double standards. I'm gonna stand on this. But based on Earl's history, him being able to take good shots and facing Danny Garcia, puncher, I don't see Crawford stopping him. I see Crawford beating him. I just don't see Crawford doing enough to
Yeah, we disagree,
wobble that
Brody.
in. I don't see
I
I
that.
think it's
just
the
So
only way.
dropped my phone fucking with bro.
oh man,
I think
but
that's
yeah,
the only way Crawford can beat him is he
I
has to
think I think
do that.
Crawford can beat Earl, but I just don't see him stopping Earl. I don't see that. Now, OTB, go ahead, man. Go ahead. You disagree, but I just don't see that. I think Crawford beats Earl. I just cannot see. It would be impressive on my end if he's able to do that. That's really, really, really tough to me.
And that's why I said with Spence though, on the other side of the 50-50 spectrum, is that if he beats Crawford, he's not a one punch knockout guy either. So Crawford is gonna sustain a lot of damage to
Yeah.
lose that fight.
And that
That's what I'm nervous. That's what I'm nervous about when I say
The
I
the
don't
the
think there's
one
gonna be a
thing ain't
rematch.
nobody saying is
Okay, we
and
wait.
and
his
Look,
and
ability. You can't discredit dude's ability to finish, and that's what make
and,
me say that.
and you know what I
I ain't
want to
I ain't never seen him hurt, but I don't say that he hurt him. I say that it's a multitude of punches, and I wouldn't
do,
doubt if it happened twice before
do
it's
you
really stop.
I'm gonna drop a nugget on you guys, and I want you guys to really think about this because why not Kwame but Jamil brought up a point that was he kind of brought it up, but I want to dive a little deeper, and this is something you guys can go to bed with and think on your mind. What if Earl Spence, if we see an opposite in this fight, we see because each fighter prepares for a different style, right? What if we see Earl as a boxer, and then we see Bud as a come forward brawler? That could happen. We based on off of styles.
No, it
Because
can't.
Nah,
I don't think that
No,
would
it
be fair.
can't.
I don't think that would be
but I know,
feasible.
but the reason why I say it could happen,
And it wouldn't
oh,
be smart.
and no, and I'm not saying I'm saying just because the way these
Don't
guys
outbox
can
a
prepare,
boxer.
might the way these guys might prepare, because there I think Derrick James is on record as stating him out. I forgot exactly what he said, but basically something to the effect of going into the fight outboxing Crawford or something like the thing he said during an interview
no.
that he could be
I,
outboxed and
No,
I
count
he
hear.
with a
said we
1-2.
gotta go in the matrix. He said
No,
we gotta be the best.
right? No.
We
He
gotta
said
be
that. He
our
said
best
that. But I'm saying
versions.
no. He said that. But I'm saying
Yeah.
he also said something to the effect of how Crawford can get outboxed, and he kind of alluding to the fact that we can beat him with a 1-2, or kind of like what Crawford also was doing the Bud, and Crawford's alluded to the fact that I'm just gonna stand there and come forward. We're gonna see who's more macho. All I'm saying, I'm not saying it's gonna happen. All I'm saying is don't be surprised and
And I'm
shocked
gonna
if you
tell
see
you where
if
I
you see
see it
if
at,
you don't hold
Lennar.
on. Let me say this last point.
I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
tell
OT. Let
you
me say this last
where
point.
I see it
OT,
at.
hold on. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say that thing. I said, do not be surprised if you guys see an opposite. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I would not be surprised in this fight if you see an opposite.
Nah,
I,
Nah, I
because
tell you where I do see it at. Bud like taking that outside foot dominance, and EJ one of the few fighters that can win with inside foot dominance. So if it happened, I see it happening due to him overextending, or Bud might sell out, and he do sell out a lot when he get that outside foot dominance. Because for the most of the part, when he get it, he win. You know what I'm saying? And he night your ass. I ain't even gonna hold you, but he sell out a lot. You understand, doing that shit. So if EJ win, that's where he win at. But I don't see that happening because eventually Lenars, I think a fight break out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a
A
fight's
fight
gonna
I
break
break
out
agree.
out.
too.
I agree. I'm just saying you might see a game plan from Derek James coming in for Earl to keep kind of on the outside. You might see a game plan for Bomac to say gain his respect. So that's what I'm saying. It would be interesting to see it. That's all I'm saying. You
Well, I
might see
think
that
OTB.
at
that
one
that's
point.
likely. That's why I said you don't see the same pressure that Earl used to
OTB.
give him. I
Yeah.
don't think you
You know
see. What up, bro?
What do you think? What do you think, Ohio?
No. I was going back because me and him got a disagreement going on right now. So
Yeah. We always get it. What up, Key?
yeah, we cook. So because I don't think Earl's going to get stopped in this fight. But here you said accumulation of punches. Now here's my thing: why I don't think that's going to happen, because Crawford respects the opponent if they have never been wobbled before. He got hurt by Gamboa going in crazy. Remember that. To finish him. And he learned from that. And I think we talked about this before with the Victor Postal when he clipped Postal twice. He never went in for the kill because Victor Postal had a quick recovery rate where he was okay. So he didn't want to go in and try to go for that kill and then probably get hit with a shot. So I think that's always in the back of his head. He has to, in order for him to get a stoppage against Earl like you're predicting, he has to really hurt Earl what we never seen Earl hurt before, where it's
Yeah,
wobbly type of legs. I do not
right.
think Crawford is bold enough to be throwing accumulation of punches on somebody that's not showing no type
Yeah,
of
he
fast.
is. No,
You
he
get,
is. He is.
but
Oh,
that's
it
just
happened
my
after
that.
the wobbly legs. It ain't gonna be the
He is.
wobbly legs. It's
Because
gonna be the teeth on the canvas. Put your money
Terrence
on the
Crawford,
mouthpiece on
Terrence
the
Crawford has
ground.
ego.
Bet your
Terrence
money
Crawford,
right now. I'm
Terrence
informed,
Crawford.
Key.
I'm gonna tell you two things, right? Where I know this is gonna be an issue. First of all, Terrence Crawford fights with ego, so he's gonna try to hurt Errol Spence. That's just who
he's
he
he's
is.
disciplined though. You gotta give him his
Yeah,
credit
he's
though.
well, he's disciplined until he's hit. The second thing is the corners
Hold
again.
up. You think EJ
When
don't be
you
trying to get them licks
when
back?
you when you put look when you
Right.
put look when you put Bo Mack in front of the camera, they said see, listen to the difference. Derek James says we got to be the best, Matrix, this and that. You put Bo Mack in front of the camera, and he says Errol Spence hasn't gotten better since the Olympics. So what
Mm.
kind of prep? So what kind of preparation is this man? This is what I'm saying. You guys really don't understand how much the corners are going to play a
Has he
big
Man,
part in
fixed
this
the
it's
fight.
problem that
Exactly.
he had
it's
in the Olympics?
Cambosos,
Has he
man.
fixed the
I don't
Cambosos
problem
think.
that he had in the
I don't.
Olympics? Has that
I,
problem
Cambosos
been
mine.
fixed?
I don't know. I don't know how much of a problem he has because the only fight that we've ever seen Earl Spence take any damage in was against Sean Porter. Every other fight, he could
Oh,
go to the club right
stop it.
after the fight.
Stop it. Stop it.
Every other fight,
Stop it,
I,
man.
I
You
mean,
hear this?
I mean,
What
I
color
mean,
is
what
his
what fight? What fight did he
cape?
take damage
That's
in
what no,
besides
that's what
what?
y'all
What
hit
fight did he
OTB
take?
boxing
What fight
class
did he take
1-on-1 and let me
damage
know
in?
what color
That
is the
sound. I
Errol
mean,
Spence
that
cape
all.
that
That,
y'all
that,
put
that all
on him.
sounds. It sounds like you've gotten some tutoring from Drico on how to debate because that's what he do, right? With the whole cape stuff, right?
Man, I
So
told y'all
let's
I'm
stay on top.
informed,
Let's stay on
man. I'm
topic.
ready.
Let's stay on topic.
I'm ready.
There's no other fight. There's no other fight where you could pull up and show damage on Errol Spence
Hold on,
besides
hold
the
on, hold
Sean
on, hold
Porter
on.
fight.
Shout out to
You crazy as
everything
oh
boxing,
my
man.
god.
Everything
He don't
boxing.
fight big punchers. What do you mean?
Shout out to
Okay,
Go
everything
ahead,
you're
boxing.
bro.
right.
Get Key a shout out.
You you're right. You're right. He
Fact.
don't
Shout out
fight
to
big punch.
everything boxing. Pretty
He don't
sure
fight
all of
big
y'all
puncher.
subscribe.
He
If you
don't. He
ain't
don't
get the
fight big.
Key Network, he don't fight fucking
Trust
big
me.
punchers. They
If they ain't
hiding
here,
from him.
if they ain't
And
here, they
get to the
subscribe to
debate
Keon.
on Thursday. I'm gonna tell you why and how they hide them from him. Don't even worry about it. That's how I
I'm
know.
gonna say for him not fighting a big puncher after 3 rounds,
Man,
2 rounds, Kell Brook almost had Bud eyes shut, and after 11
Kell
rounds,
Brook ain't no big
after
puncher.
after
Man, cut
after
that
11
shit
rounds,
out. Man, cut that shit
after
out.
11 rounds with Earl went to go have fish and chips in Sheffield after the fight and went to the club.
Man,
So that's so
he was
we
fighting a pastrami. What do you mean?
I
Listen,
know it.
listen,
You fighting
man.
a
Y'all, I mean,
toaster
you
oven,
guys
a toaster strudel.
man,
That
Man,
y'all,
come on, man.
man.
That
Give me
nigga,
a break.
that nigga Bud Eye looked like he had a fucking pistachio on his
Stop
eyelid.
it, man.
Listen,
Stop
and
it,
this is
man.
this is you know what's so crazy is you guys are just what Kwame just said went over y'all's head.
Yep.
You have one corner who just said right now we're going to take it to the next level because they know the task at hand, and we have another corner who's saying, man, this guy ain't shit. He hasn't changed since the Olympics.
Right. Yeah,
What what?
y'all on man, y'all
What
just don't
color is
know.
the cape, Lennar?
I don't
Well,
know.
no, I'm just
Lennar,
saying. You just
what color is the
look.
cape, bro?
Listen, do you listen? Going into a
Man,
fight, do you
stop.
want somebody to say
Did he fix the problem that Bomac is referring to?
well? First off, Ball
No,
Mac is
he didn't.
lying.
Well,
And
wait
I'm
a
No,
sorry
minute,
to
no,
wait
tell
a
he
you
minute,
Bomac is
about
he
this.
lying.
didn't.
Hold on, hold
wait a
on,
second.
Lennar. Hold on.
Wait a
Don't
goddamn
tell me
minute,
about this
Trico.
punk ass because I'm tired of people bringing this shit up too. Because we could go back to the Lamont Peter, rest in peace, Batman. Because you was the first person to hit me with this shit. Don't pull up this old ass Lamont Peterson film of him slipping and getting off the line and using head movement because you don't see that shit in the you guys fight. You don't see it when Sean Porter cracking his ass with right hands, and you don't see it when Danny Garcia cracking his ass with right hands because he taking away the left hand of Danny Garcia. No, we
This
not
shit
gonna do
funny.
that.
This
Take the
shit
cape
funny.
off
What?
of him. Take the
Listen,
cape off of him.
hey man, you know you
From
right.
all facts.
You talk about EJ been staying away from big punches. What big punches bought for? Mean Machine? The nigga
Oh
who
my
had a draw.
gosh,
He's
that's
a
not
hard
what we
puncher.
talking
The nigga
about.
who had a
Hey,
We not
draw.
talking about Bud.
he's
We
a
not
hard
talking
puncher
about
though.
Bud. We
No,
talking about
I'm
his
talking to
ass not
Drico.
fighting no big
No, I'm
punches.
talking to
And
I'm
just
talking
so
to
you know,
Drico.
Kavalauskas was known as a big puncher, bro.
Because Velasquez had a draw with Ray
Yeah.
Robinson, a nigga who got knocked out by Ugas, who has 12 knockouts. And that was his 12-1. That was his 12-1.
Hey,
Fuck out of here.
Did he get knocked out by Ugas after or before?
Before,
Before.
before,
Before.
yeah.
And he won a draw with fucking
hold on,
green
Kwame.
beans,
But hold on,
potatoes.
hold on, Kwame. But you talking about Ray? Who got Ugas got knocked out by Ray Robinson?
No, Ray Robinson knocked out Ugas. I
But
no,
Ugas,
Ugas
hold on,
knocked out
but
Ray Robinson. My
Ugas
bad.
knocked out Ray
Ugas,
Robinson.
hold on, but Ugas had fat camp. I seen his body. I remember that way, and I was right there.
Oh, you talking about Ray Robinson had fat camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he
Oh,
trained in Philly for that fight.
But
well,
my
okay.
point,
Well, then if you say Ray Robinson had fat cap, give Earl his credit that he had his fat camps too.
Ah, you
no,
got him,
that's no,
Lenard.
no, no.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's what I was setting you up
Uh,
for. Y'all talking about a knockout? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna say that Ugas got knocked out or he knocked out Ray Robinson. Is that who y'all say? I think Ugas knocked out Ray Robinson. That's
Yeah,
who it
he
was.
stopped him. Yeah, he stopped him.
Yeah, he stopped him, and I said Ray
Man, bro,
Robinson
we
had
ain't
fat
making
cap
no fucking
being funny.
excuses for him
That's what
not
I'm saying,
stopping
being
people.
funny. No,
We
that's what
ain't
I'm saying.
making
I
no
was being
excuses
funny.
for
I
that
was
shit.
being
He
funny.
ain't Superman. Take
Nah.
the
well,
cape
all
off
you
of him.
listen. You almost tried to get me, but you didn't
Yeah.
get me.
Yo, yo, yo,
Man, we
Marcus.
I'm
got
very
y'all
Yo,
ass when
yo,
successful.
y'all put
Marcus.
the cape on him.
You didn't get me.
Marcus. OTB having PTSD thinking about a BFTB debate. He in here practicing his
Man,
ass
take
off
the
of that
cape
shit.
off of him.
I know.
Hey, Kwame,
Listen,
Kwame could hear him in
Ohio,
Florida.
you already catch Ohio. You try to catch me slipping, man.
Are
Hey
you
man,
not
this is good. Hey,
entertained?
that's why I say, hey, that's why you gotta stay
You try to
consistent
catch
because
me
we
The
slipping.
gonna use it
gladiator
on you.
mode, man.
Hey, you gotta stay consistent because we gonna use them on you. Oh, he got knocked
I
out.
know.
That's
I
because he
know.
had fat cam. That's
Hell
why.
yeah,
I know what you was doing. I'm very on point. I know what you was doing. Nuh-uh.
Drigo. You know what you
We
and
gonna come
Bomac,
back to home plate.
Drigo. You know what you and Bomac have in common? Y'all niggas just say anything when the mic get in front of y'all face. Nigga,
So,
Bomac.
but what is
First,
that?
cause
What
first
is it?
Bomac, first Bomac was like, "Oh, we gonna tear him a new ass. He don't do it, and this and that." And then it was like, "Well, what's the thing with? Well, he ain't got better than from the Olympics. Nigga, is that the best you could come up with? He didn't get better from the Olympics. So you telling me? So basically, what you telling me was Earl Spence was in the Olympics was already a 3-belt welterweight champion when he fought in the Olympics, but he didn't medal in the Olympics. But he was a 3-belt.
Ugas did medal in the Olympics.
No. I'm talking about Spence. Ugas did medal. What I'm saying is, he said no. Bomac said that Spence hasn't improved since the Olympics. So by his own logic, that means that Earl Spence was already a 3-belt world champion in the Olympics if he didn't improve since the Olympics.
Well, it depends.
Bomac say anything. It just don't make sense.
Exactly.
No,
unless Bomac's trying to say that Olympic version of Earl would have beat these champions. So this is what he's trying to say, which is unlikely.
And that's my point.
That's asinine.
They just, you put the camera in his face or Drico face, them niggas would just say anything. They would say, I mean, when he said that shit, I was like, is he serious?
Y'all didn't even hey, listen, y'all didn't even ask the question of who did he lose to in the Olympics for them to even say that since the Olympics. I mean, he lost in the Olympics to a good fighter.
Yeah, I mean, initially
they robbed him initially, and then they overturned it.
Yeah, the Indian fighter. We ain't talking about him. We talking about what's his name? Savicki, the dude from Argentina. That boy is a beast. Kakistan. He's from Kakistan.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he had some of the best feet work in up there with the Lomachinkos when it comes to the Olympics. That was a bad.
Yeah, and he had very fast hands too.
Yeah, man. But I don't hold that against him because that was back. Like I said, it was years ago, man. It was amateurs. You know, people pick and choose when to talk about amateur fights. But again, you know what I'm saying? It was what it was. That dude, I don't think he has a better pro career than Earl anyway, but he was good. He retired. He didn't even go into the pro ranks. They don't pan out like us.
Drake, you done lost seriously, you done lost so many damn debates to me, bro. It's sad. It's fucking sad, bro. The shit you say is like Drico, you know what Drico needs? He needs the Travion Crawfords and the Dundadas. He needs them niggas to entertain because the shit he say makes zero sense. I noticed he been camping out in Bushido shit because the cult, he got the Earl Spence hater cult going over there. So
he been going over to Bushido.
Yeah. Now Drico's one of their new high priests over there with his shit. He go over there and say his shit, and he gets all that energy, and then he comes into a same place like here and thinks it works. That shit don't work here, Drico. Niggas in here got common sense, Drico. Okay?
Silly, man. Hey guys, I'm gonna get off, man. I gotta get up in the morning, man.
Salute you, man. Salute you. I gotta go. I gotta go to bed too, man. I'm missing my wife, man. I'm going to bed. But salute to you guys, man. Salute to the panel. Salute
bro. Appreciate you coming up, bro.
Always. You know, I always appreciate you, OTB. My brothers
always
in the chat.
A pleasure, man. Always.
My brothers in the chat.
Appreciate you back, Kwame.
Of course, man. You already know, man. You already know. And Drico,
boxing needs you, Kwame.
I know. But Drico, we still on your motherfucking helmet, Drico. We're gonna have a show about your shit with your fake contact list of Bud Crawford in your phone. We ain't forgot. We know. So you're gonna have to answer to that shit on the show. So you better come prepared because I'm gonna put you in the hot seat. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat like Johnny Cochran.
I walk you to the goal line.
Don't help him with this one.
I get a 99 yard to the 1 yard line, and you still kick a field goal like that, man.
Man, he ain't kick a field goal. He fucking he laid an egg. He was at the goal line and he ran towards the other end zone.
He fumbled. Yep. And it was a Mark Sanchez butt fumble.
It was a butt fumble.
Pause, man. You just Drake, man. You Mark Sanchez butt fumble, bro.
It's all good. Man. The Bud Protection Committee, is falling apart. The closer we get to the fight, the more we see the layers and layers of bullshit is starting to fall apart. With that, stay low to the game, and we out of here.